Also, guys, it's about Stormy and Yums by his side to enable this Sky Prince to take the throne once more.
I like that you're highlighting Yums here, man. The only player with 4 MPL Malaysia titles under his belt. On paper, he is easily the most decorated Malaysian player that's active right now, and this is also his 3rd M Series. Can he better his best rank at 5th to 6th at M3? I just want to say I'm surprised. I didn't know that Innocent had that name. Did you? Is this the first time you heard that? Half man, half beast?
That is actually the first time I heard that, and I like it. I like it a lot. Are we going to see him go beast mode, though? Do we think this is just easy GG's, Husky?
If the Roger is in meta, then yes, right? He got the moniker half man, half beast because of his Roger performance in Season 13, where it was a perma-ban against Innocent. He gets Roger, the game is over in under 15 minutes.
Yeah, but we gotta admit, it's a different meta now.
It's a different meta now.
Yeah, it's very different. So we're giving away some great stuff for you for the MLBB Rising Open. You know what? Just go ahead and don't scan it yet. Don't scan it yet. We're not done scanning it. Now you can scan it. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead, please. That's the redeem code as well. It can only be redeemed one time per person. M6 World Championship, of course, we're going to be giving away goodies. We're about to start your draft, so let's talk about the meta. Let's start off with you, Husky. What's 1 or 2 picks that you're looking out for here that might be prioritized?
Prioritized, I think, first of all, it's definitely the Tusin. Tusin is going to be prioritized for sure. Nolan Suyo.
Nolan Suyo. What about you, Trex?
I don't think the Juicin's going to make it onto the pick table. I don't think the Juicin's going to make it on the pick table. I think Cho may be a big pick, but he might also not make it. Yves, another possibility, but that's another one always getting banned out. Some things that might actually slip through. Hilda's been a big one. Suyo might actually slip through because it's something that hasn't been getting picked up as much, but we are in Swiss stage right now. This is not wild card. These are the big dogs, and as we see in every M series, the meta changes as we move forward.
Because he has been getting more and more popular. We have seen in wild cards that Chip sometimes kind of slip through the draft as well, and he has been utilized by a couple of teams. But so far, I mean, we're seeing that Hilda ban, the Fanny ban is a lot of respect from S2G to SRG Sakai's. I do wonder if they are going to trade that Khalid for Phovis, though. The Phovis hasn't had the best win rate during wildcards.
Yeah, with Alpha out, Phovius Rush on the side of S2G might actually sound good. But you definitely should take the Matilda away from SRG, right?
Right, one of the few pioneers, the Matilda Meister 5-star Yums Express with that hero. Back in Season 9, when he pulled that out, he instantly became known for it, and people have been really keeping a lot of eyes on that Matilda.
So Cho's still open, Nolan's still open, plenty of... I like the idea of EXP or Rome, Matilda being open, but I feel like S2G maybe, or SRG, want to be a bit more aggressive here. It is a best of one. You want to try to catch them off guard, and that's where I think the Cho could come in clutch. They go for the Suyo though, so they do prio jungle right up front.
I feel like that's a rough trade to take against SRG because you're giving away the Cho to Yums, and Suyo has fallen out of the grape based off of what the grapevine has said, that he's been falling out of priority. But even SRG's going, you know what, we don't need the Cho right away. Let's get a Gata Gacha and get Stormy on his signature Valentina.
Yeah, signature Valentina. We're going to get a Valentina merch next season as well because he did pick it as his hero to go to. But I do like the Gata Gacha. Very durable against physical damage dealers, and at the same time has very reliable crowd control, right? Suyo gets in front of his face, he's gonna get crowd control, and the follow-up will be there.
Okay, so they gotta pick up the gold lane here, right? The Bruno's smart, and that forces the side of SRG to possibly pick up a gold lane next as well, or they get banned out, right? You start taking out gold laners in this second phase of bans, but still, on the side of S2G, with the Matilda now, with the Suyo, you have speed, you have a movement, you have rotations, you have an aggressive mid-game right there, a big power spike around third turtle that can definitely cause some damage. So how does SRG try to counteract that?
You know what? Harith is still open. Put it in the hands of Innocent. Get that other gold laner who scales up super freaking fast.
Yeah, there's the Harith, there's the Nathan, I believe that's how you call him. We call him Nathan here. Either way, he had that late game insurance.
Natan's the right way.
Natan's the right way.
It's
All right.
just dumb. It's just the PH casters that say Nathan.
So Natan's the right way. He always has Claude as well for Innocent if they really want to play it safe. So they take the Joy. This is, I don't think we've seen Sakai's play Joy ever. Not in recent times, right? Not in recent times, no. Not in the previous season, not during MSC for sure. not during season 13. So it's been a long time. So it's something that I don't think we have seen before.
Okay, so let's be real. How deep does SRG's gold lane pool go here? Is it even actually worth for S2G to ban like maybe the Harith? But what after that? Beatrix, we've seen a little bit of that in the wild card. Could be options. Claude also got the recent buff. We didn't see a lot in wild card, but I still think in the hands of some of the more veteran players, it can definitely show. Phoveus ban on the side of SRG, back over to S2G now.
Good ban there on the Harith, taking it away. So now, little by little, SRG might think about the two marksmen that can handle the map a little bit more, the Moskov and the Claude, considering that, as you mentioned, Trex, it is super aggressive, the lineup of S2G. This is a best of one Swiss stage draft priority. So if SRG decides to go for the more macro slower route, do you think that's going to come back to bite them, Husky?
Letting the macro route is what SRG is very comfortable with, but I do feel like it's not going to completely come back and bite them in the backside. There are some merits to how SRG can kind of drag the game out, then push them in a comfortable position. I'm more worried about what's going to happen in that goal lane, right? Because SRG with the Phoveus ban and followed by the Vexana, it kind of feels like that this Gatot might go into XP, but because it's a big flex, S2G now have to really decide how do they shut SRG's kind of flex down. The Cho is still open.
Cho is still open. I think that's a big pick for SRG. Very possible here. S2G looking for this next ban. And like I said, do we just hammer in? Cho actually could be a really solid ban here.
I'm
taking it out. Because Beatrix, are you really that worried? There's the Cho ban. So now first pick for SRG. I think they save gold lane here. They push gold lane into last pick and they go into Rome or EXP lane.
A part of me is thinking that maybe SRG might go the other way around, because picking Gatot first phase, you don't actually see the XP matchup yet. As an outsider, you get time.
When I give the word.
Oh, but you know what? Nah. Yeah, let's go with what Trex said. You go gold lane into the last, and then you go Khalid now. Well, not a lot can actually beat the Khalid.
I think we get an Aurora on the side of S2G here.
Oh, that would be perfect. I agree.
Aurora would help round things out. It's going to be hard, though, to catch some of the fast pacing, to catch a Khalid, to catch the jungler of SRG, but still, it's solid.
Yeah, as much as S2G's draft, at least the first 3 picks is about going fast and going into your face. SRG have a good draft to kind of create this vacuum, right? You want to come right in, we can shut you down with good backline dives, with very great crowd control. So that's something I think S2G needs to think about as well with this mid pick. Now that Vexana isn't there, I think I agree with Trex. Aurora feels like a solid one.
Aurora and anyone who can catch or anyone who can front. A Ruby EXP might not be the best, but
I like it. I like it.
We actually called it.
I like it.
Well, we're on a roll today.
Here's the thing with the Ruby, though. We haven't seen it a whole lot in Wildcard, but I think it goes so well against some of the current meta. The Joy, you stop her for just a second. The Khalid, you stop it for just a second. These big divey compositions, it can counter the Chow, anything that wants to get in your face. It buys you just that split second of time to counterplay.
Yeah, split second crowd control.
Yes.
The Ruby pick. I have my slight doubts about it because historically in the PH, when you see a Ruby going up against a Valentina, Valentina's so happy because suddenly you have 3 set of heroes on the side of SRG.
That's true.
Yeah. I think it has to be a physical damage dealer. Natan doesn't look too good because they already have Joy, right? They need some big physical damage for that lane. And the Granger! First ever Granger pick for Innocent too. I mean, not only the Joy, but the Granger as well.
I like it.
Big lane bully.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. It's definitely different. You mentioned cheese picks. You mentioned new picks.
Yep.
Is this it?
Here we go. The very first Swiss stage match. Let's toss it over to the casters.
Thank you so much to our amazing panelists. And the much anticipated first round of the Swiss stage is about to commence. To bring you the action, it's me, Brigitte, alongside Mirko. And off the top of your head, how are you feeling? Because we're about to witness all 16 teams played out as early as day 1.
Hey, it's crazy. The Swiss stage, we've been talking about this. We've been hyping it up. And to have a big match like this, to start off the day, to start off Swiss stage, this will set the momentum. It's a best of 1 too. And that's why I feel like we can see the Granger here. We can see a lot of these cheese picks actually pop up.
Yep, honestly, this was really on script for SRG at least. We know that S2G, led by Sigiboom, usually really doesn't go that much off meta, and he's sticking with the Bruno. But for Innocent, he's immediately showing us the Granger as early as the first game. So we'll see how this goes for both of these teams, because if you were to ask me, looking at their draft as early as now, I think SRG were able to plan things out really well. They were able to set up a lot of gap closers in their lineup, and if ever they do be successful enough to overwhelm S2G with all those gap closers, Innocent from afar, he could just do all the free hits and he could just damage the members of S2G from afar.
Absolutely, man. So much poke, really, with the Sonata, with the Rhapsody, the new changes here. And as a gold lane, we've actually had a lot of discussions on the Granger pick itself. You know, does it do better in the jungle? Does it do better in the gold lane? And I think most of us actually agree that it does do better in the gold lane. You get free farm, you get a lot of gold in the start, and it helps with the stacks. But Innocent, he actually goes for Purify. So this is also, I think, something that we can talk about for the Granger. You are pretty elusive with it. You're actually quite slippery with the new Granger. You actually dash quite well. So the Purify is a really good choice for Innocent to just escape from the CC that S2G can provide towards them.
Yep, and I'm eager to know and how he decided to go for his emblem builds. We're seeing the Impure Rage as well, and all you know is that if you don't really rely on mana, you get that additional passive returned on your HP instead. So you get to see an additional layer of sustainability perhaps for Innocent by the time he really wants to, or if S2G even attempts to go for him in the early stages of the game. But Selangor Red Giants, it does seem like they're actually preventing this brute force playstyle come out from S2G. We know for a fact that it's one of their specialties. They really want to force things out early on, but it's SRG.
Sky's really dashing forward. That's a good Terrify and a talk down onto Begin. Cram walks up with the Terrify as well. Oh, Cram still able to get some damage down, but Begin still escapes with the Flicker. Great setup though for SRG. Stormy dives in the mid lane, gets the first blood under the tier 1, and that should be turtle number 1 for free.
Seriously, he didn't let him go. They needed to get that pick off. So S2G, right now, they're absolutely unable to contest for this turtle. And we're expecting that this is more of a rotation received from their side. It's an XP lane, which is more active in the early stages. But Hagu, he keeps to be the next target. And Stormy, though, he gets traded as well.
That's an I'm offended over to Yums too. I don't know about that trade now. Cram's gonna be walking forward. Kazoo dashes forward, gets the kill in. Cram going with the Blaze round, gets frozen up, and gets CC down. SRG overextending after the turtle fight.
And I think that's one thing you really need to consider if you are SRG, because early on, I wouldn't doubt that they were already taking hold of the lead. They couldn't even, or S2G couldn't even pay much attention to Innocent or the other lanes. Cram, he could just freely rotate out of the XP lane and actively participate in the first few skirmishes we've seen. But this might actually backfire if they do not manage things well. S2G, if we were talking about SRG's ability to close the gap, S2G can't do the same. They have high mobility heroes, and speaking of closing gaps, that's the Flicker forced out for Karam.
Yep, already a big resource burned out there. 50 seconds for the turtle, so they have that resource already burned out. It's great to deny those crazy engages. Lunar walks up, gets the I'm offended. It's a bit more poke over to Cram, who will just sustain back up on the Khalid. Here though for S2G, it really seems like early on, maybe they didn't have those ultimates to fight with, but turtle number 2 onwards, they should have these big ults that you were talking about.
Yep.
Bridge Glacier for Begin. There's also a risk that Stormy takes it though. He's in the bush, gets the I'm offended over to Lunar. Now also Raging Sandstorm, great flicker from Lunar. Skies walks in, Bridge Glacier will be able to stun him up. Skies brought back into the turret, poke down as well by Begin. And both teams will decide to disengage. 18 seconds for the turtle to spawn in the game.
There's a team fight that happened once again right before this turtle that we were talking about. And S2G Esports, it seemed like they really were able to adjust on the fly. They're taking things a little bit more slow because they know that either way, the most important aspects of their lineup, it's not really being noticed here by SRG as of now. Really, Sigiboom, he's just able to take his farm, and it might be this time that we see him also take part in the action.
Good red tree from Kazoo, good disengage from S2G. They know that SRG have a lot of CC, so they just go for the objective and bounce.
Yep. Right now, though, this might be the point where S2G gradually focus on the things they want to build up on, which is really Sigiboom, because at this point, if they really want to be more active in terms of the team fights and they really want to be more confident, then it might just be time that they really need to include their damage dealers. Because even though SRG, they've been really aggressive in the first few portions of the game, we saw how S2G is able to deny them of that. They're able to interrupt these aggressive plays coming in from Selangor Red Giants whenever Lunar is part, whenever Begin uses a beautiful timing of the Frigid Glacier. So they really just need to complement it with enough damage and they get higher chances of turning things around.
There's just so much stakes here, you know, at play in the land of Dawn currently. SRG playing in their hometown, trying to complete that golden road for S2G, trying to prove the world wrong that them winning MTC was a fluke. I think a lot of people still have that in their minds, you know, thinking that Ulfednar is the better team from Turkey. So far, they're going toe-to-toe against probably one of the world's best here, and it's all with, like you said, Siggy Boom, getting the boom in him. Once he gets those item power spikes, it's going to be massive. This Bruno, there's a reason it was so heavily prioed in the in the wildcard, and all the way, I would say, even in ranked games, right? So easy to execute, and you can see the S2G at this point, they're really just stopping SRG's way to try to take turrets and snowball.
I agree, because this is the usual kind of Bruno gameplay you really witness, right? But wait, before that, speaking of the Bruno, Siggy Boom.
Yep, this is all good for Siggy Boom. He wants to go for those fights there. Has the Haas Claws, I believe. That's why he's able to sustain back up. And Turtle is going to be spawning up top. SRG tried to get Prio in the bottom lane, and now they're rotating.
Yep, but Pagu, you know, this roamer for S2G, the moment he came in, he really brought a lot of changes to S2G in the way they play their games, in the way they really adjust and explore some new strategies. We know them to only stick for the 4 Protect 1 strategy before, but now we're seeing how they can really just adjust on the fly, but Begin!
Massive, already procced in. Begin will be able to flicker out, but again, big resource spent already. Cram will have to flicker too. That's an auto from Innocent, just trying to read out some of the positions from S2G. Cram heals back up.
Now Lunar, though, he goes in and wants some more!
Right, I'm offended, and that's Raging Sandstorm that captures Begin in the back. Will be caught. Pops in Frigid Glacier earlier. Lunar's still there, and it's going to be free hitting for Siggy Boom into there. Kazoo with a dive. Sky's taken down. Innocent still catting away as Kazoo goes in. Yom's isolated from the rest of the team, and Kazoo will double kill his way into a Turtle Prio. Stormy with a Terrify onto the midst of it all. Going for the guiding whip, but gets boomed down by Mr. Siggy Boom. And Pagu, Innocent will be forced back on this Granger, and it's a win for S2G.
You would think that would have already worked for the Selangor Red Giants, but S2G, Lunar decided to pick a fight at the exact same time. They also had the resources, they had proper counter engage. Yums was also there, he was able to zone out enough members here from S2G Esports, but they seemed like they were just prepared to take on the fight that sustained. You can actually feel it from S2G, and it's not just that, it seems like they're able to capitalize a lot more on their innate mobility.
It's so crazy. We were talking about the range for Innocent too, but what he makes up for in range, I think he lacks damage. Innocent hasn't really been able to put on the damage onto S2G. Maybe this Granger pick was just not that good against healing. I feel like the Mathilda has really been able to help them out in these sticky situations, and we do have a pause, and we get to dissect the game even more. So let's talk about what's been happening here. I think for SRG, they really need to look for a snowball early. They had to. Unfortunately, they didn't get it, and their mid-game power spike, it's kind of already fallen off. Like, this mid-game is getting controlled by S2G.
I think there was a clear attempt to do this, to do just that. We felt that there was a slight overextension towards that early game when we saw them really force the fights, even when they already got the pick-off against the mid laner, and then before transitioning to the Turtle. So it was somewhat of a very expensive mistake that happened, I feel, for SRG. It's really, they need to show a little bit more discipline this time around. I think a lot of teams have to be a lot more mindful of that, since again we're only seeing a best of ones happen all throughout the day, and they decided to go for this lineup, which is really, on paper you see it, you expect it to be more aggressive. You expect them to hit their power spikes early on. This is a Joy that we're talking about. Husky mentioned it's one of the few times we're seeing Sekai's on the Joy, so you would probably expect somewhat of a unique approach from him, but then S2G seems like they're able to read through these plans from S2G or from SRG all along.
I agree with you completely. You know, it just feels like S2G have to read on SRG. They have to read on the aggression of SRG too. And maybe this is because, you know, they're scrim partners with Ulfednar. I don't know, but Ulfednar has had many encounters with SRG. MSC, they were knocked out by SRG. ISF, they were knocked out by Malaysia. So it almost seems like, you know, that could be something that they've told S2G, and right now they're capitalizing on all the aggressive movements. Well, maybe not the first one. Stormy got that first blood. Cheeky little Stormy play, as usual, as we expect from Stormy. But after that, the circling ego forward, the raging sandstorms very aggressively onto Siggy Boom even. I think the targeting has been kind of off too for SRG, you know? usually we see them very, very clean. I mean, for their engages and their discipline, this is still MSC SRG, I feel. You know, when it comes down to it, they're not a full discipline team. They are a team that is willing to take risks, but their targeting and team fighting is always just crisp clean.
I agree.
And I don't know if it's because of the pressure of playing in front of the home crowd or what, but the targeting hasn't been that clean.
Yep, we are seeing more of a one-track mind from S2G, I feel, in terms of like the targeting, who they want to prioritize first, heading into the team fights, or even just reacting to the team fights being set up. Just use the Dex Sonata from afar and even scout the enemies, but then could we see a more coordinated approach from SRG later on, knowing that they're already this behind in terms of like reaching their power spikes? And again, we've also mentioned this isn't the typical Bruno early playstyle that you would really expect for the most part. Whenever we see the Bruno, you would expect the brute force playstyle come into play. Like they're just really gonna force and focus on a particular lane, taking out the energy shields, taking out the turrets, and then eventually transitioning from there. But now they're taking it really slow. They're just so patient. And it doesn't change the fact that Bruno's still a late game hero anyway. So by the time they just consistently be able to do these punishes, they can eventually get the upper hand if SRG doesn't do something.
That's why it's a fun topic to talk about here. You know, the Bruno being a mid to late game pick. Early game, you're also kind of a bully, right? That's what makes him such a prio pick right now. But when we're talking about gold lane and late game, Granger's technically late game too now, right? I mean, he stacks up, he gets way more ways to poke with Rhapsody and the Death Sonata as he stacks up later on, but it does seem like we're just going to get back into the game again. S2G are in the lead. SRG, do they have the late game power to actually play through these team fights?
Yep, they have a lot of AoE, if it's just that. But then you really have to see some extra work come in here from Sekais as well as Innocent. So would Sekais be reliable enough to deal with those heroes from S2G, which may be a little bit more hard to reach? And could Innocent deal enough damage for those heroes from S2G who are within reach, who will be like covered here and, I don't know, being like in the front lines whenever there's a team fight that happens later on? Because as we're seeing it right now, SRG, they're still able to take the trades nonetheless, and maybe it's this point in time where Sekai begins saying that, oh, maybe we should be a little bit more careful and look for the trades for the meantime.
Yeah, that's the advantage that SRG definitely have with the Joy compared to the Suyo, who's really, I would say, better than neutral objectives, but when it comes to split pushing, it's going to be tough for SCG to actually send people down below. Pagu, you can see that poke damage from Innocent, and that's why we asked the question, is Granger a mid-game pick or a late-game pick? Because you can see that damage already build up. Pagu, still able to heal up. Winner goes to I'm offended over to Yums. The freeze as well, poking him down. Cram trying to shot a bit more damage over to S2G, but both teams are just poking each other.
Yeah, definitely for SRG, this is the time they need to capitalize on their poking capabilities up against S2G Esports. We don't see as much sustain or in terms of like the tanky heroes from S2G as compared to SRG, so they definitely can take advantage of that. But once S2G decides for a commit, though that's the I am offended already used here, then SRG, they really need to be careful. But as we're seeing it right now, they're slowly getting hold of what to do during this Lord Dance. You can see the poking game that we were mentioning in the early game for Innocent. It's happening here in the mid game. It's Yasumai the Stormy gets an I'm offended over to 2. Innocent guns him down. The combo in the back. It's a raging sandstorm and an AOG. That's a double. And Selangor Red Giants, they are finally online in the 10th minute of the game. They have enough ways to scout for the members of S2G, and it seems like the plan is to take them by surprise. What a play from Stormy there, catching 2 members, 2 crucial members. And once you take out all of the frontliners, then that's easier access for Sekais and for the rest of the members to just take out the remaining members of S2G. Let's check out that instant replay right there. Look at Stormy. Ooh. Look at Stormy. And even when there was a beautiful usage of the Frigid Glacier, it was a bit too late. They had no other resources to prevent the aggression from the other members of SRG.
There you go. That's SRG. Or was that the first few minutes? Man, SRG, we were talking about it, the targeting was not it, and then they just had to adapt in on the go, right? They just had to, I would say, yeah, adapt and get used to the pressure they are feeling here in as the hosts, and they're here with it. It's a Lord in the mid lane charging down as a holy defense already procced in. SRG utilizing Innocent's range.
Wow.
Poke them down, Lunar's half HP. The defense is still good. They are able to get rid of it. Innocent though, is cutting them down. He has a Detonata, one more shot, Lunar low! The photo saves Pagu and Lunar, and they're forced back in their own base.
That was so aggressive from Innocent. I mean, they had an idea. There's still no flicker for Lunar, so there won't be any surprise setups just yet. But there's the circling eagle.
So Pagu is trying to run away. The Detonata hits, but he still is able to escape with the guiding win, and S2G defend. No base turrets taken down.
All right, so S2G, they're still able to defend this in some ways, but SRG, it seems like this was the moment they've been waiting for. Now that S2G might just be gradually trapped in a certain area in the map, SRG, they can play around things a lot more. They have, again, I kept mentioning the Avatar of the Guardians, but they also had the Raging Sandstorm. And as long as they are able to prevent Lunar from doing his job of being the first one to take SRG by surprise, or even preventing and interrupting these attempts from SRG, then there seems to be no problem anymore. They just need to force out the necessary skills that S2G keep on capitalizing for the counter engages, and then there's nothing stopping them from being too aggressive against S2G.
And at this point, I think for S2G, the game plan is we're just going to try to out-sustain you in the fights or get a massive combo. But SRG are never, or should never actually commit to a full fight unless Innocent gets some trades, right? He shoots them from afar, gets them really low, or there's a neutral objective to fight for, then they would go in. But here, they're just going to utilize that range that we were talking about, and man, Innocent, Pagu, now he's feeling it. Now he's feeling that damage.
Yep, I'm pretty sure SRG, they're just trying to be disciplined at this point, but at the same time, still putting themselves out there, trying to make their dominance felt here against S2G. And even in terms of gold, the gold laners, you can already see just how ahead Innocent is. He's already full build on this Ranger, which explains the damage that Pagu himself cannot even sustain.
Now, it gets really concerning for S2G because they do not have catch that can actually go for Innocent. And if you do dive in, you're going to be caught by all the sustain. Lunar's low again. Every single time you walk on a base, that's a circling eagle. This very aggressive Pagu. He goes away, Cram Raging Sandstorm, and the flicker to read him out. Pagu in the skies, doesn't even matter.
He was able to set up for an anticipated guiding wind dash towards that area. But even then, he flickered towards Pagu, taking out that sure pickoff, and now S2G Esports, this might just be an attempt from SRG to again commit a team fight, but they walk safely towards their tier 3 and force out the Frigid Glacier as well from Lunar.
It's a bait, or a trade rather, Innocent with the flicker, or sorry, Purify, baited out by the Frigid Glacier there. Still think for SRG though, they're just going to take it slow, right? There's no reason for them to actually push in, and even though Innocent uses Purify, it's a safety net that you lose out. But when it comes to the siege, you're never really going to be in a position where you should be caught, right? You have so much range, and they're just going to use this with Innocent on it. Let's see how they manipulate these waves. Is it going to be a 3-wave push, or are they going to take it slow? It seems like it will just be a 3-wave push. They're looking for possibly the end.
Yep, and this mid lane turret won't last for long. S2G Esports, they might have a difficulty trying to defend this. I don't know if they want to look for a play still, given this much of a gold lead in the hands of SRG. But they're only able to take out one inhibitor turret so far, and there are other waves coming in, but they will have time to defend these incoming waves from SRG. So it seems like even for SRG, they're not trying to force things just yet. They're actually quite scattered around the map, and they're probably waiting for more information regarding S2G. They do not want to force team fights in areas where S2G might have higher chances of turning things around, but uses the Avatar of the Guardians to get away, and no!
Yeah, Sky is overextending, but it becomes a pretty good trade, in my opinion, right? Despite Sky's getting taken down, he did get a few hits there, and it's a base turret in the bottom lane, which is a far lane. There are no objectives for the next 30 seconds, so S2G getting the kill, trading it for a turret is actually worth it for SRG.
Yep. They're now becoming a little more aggressive. They get out of their base, and Kazoo might gradually be able to get hold of his buffs once again. But that doesn't mean that SRG will be backing out anytime soon. Scram still shows himself out there. Oh, Kazoo gets caught!
That's a runner crown. Stormy gonna be caught in time offended too, able to flicker out to safety as a Frigid Glacier gets placed down. Stormy! Boom down! Sigiboo still doing some damage, dodging away for the Detonata as Kazoo dives in onto Yums. 40 seconds still. There are no objectives for S2G to take. So SRG losing out some of these members is still okay, unless They go for these turrets and siege it down. That's a tier 1, almost falling. Sigiboo needs a few more shots in. Innocent can't walk up. Oh! If that was a crit, it could have been different. Innocent surviving just barely, will walk away. 27 seconds for the Lord.
And it seems like they're gradually evening out the map. Mirko, this wasn't the scenario we've seen earlier. Even Crab, he's being the recipient of the damage from Sigiboom. And they take him out 13 seconds right before this next Lord, this level 2 Lord, this enhanced Lord. Or maybe we could wait, they could take the evolved Lord even.
Now that's gonna hurt. SRG losing Skies, losing Stormy. It was all still in the time frame of the Lord not spawning yet. But losing Cram, that's your main initiator. Sky's gonna be stunned up now as Pagu walks up. Skies, no more dashes. Once you get cancelled, it's gonna be tough. It's Skies dying. Pagu gets the final hit as he fade away, takes the kill. And Kazoo dealt with the Lord. Now he's occupying this bush. SRG, good read with Innocent popping into that Sonata. But now it's an enhanced Lord for S2G.
Why did it feel like, even though SRG had the range, they really found it difficult to commit the team fights when S2G were being extra careful under their base. And now that they're outside, they're being more aggressive than ever. One another! I'm offended!
And a Frigid Glacier too. Good disengage from Yomes. Innocent still in the midst of it all. Popping a Death Sonata. Trying to poke them away, but up top, how low is it? That's a base turret. Taken down. STG still have the Lord, by the way. That siege was only just the minions. They are slowly pushing the wave in the bottom lane, and the reason they can actually slowly build this way. Oh, Lunar goes in for the big play. Doesn't connect. Raging Sandstorm! A flank. Lunar caught in the midst of it all. Kazoo thrown in the back line away as Pagu was able to get the circuit. Eager to actually peel for Sigibum, who's so free hitting. Kazoo gets the unstoppable. The Frigid Glacier comes in. Sigibum going for the crits. Innocent still using that range, dashing away from the arrow. S2G wants to continue the siege.
That was a beautiful attempt from Crown, but S2G, they were prepared. Kazoo blocking the other members of SRG from joining the team fight, and now they're still together with their Lord. They will be able to take out all the remaining inhibitor turrets, and could this be it for SRG?
Oh, the snipe down from Kazoo! Innocent forced back into the base! A massive...
Our panel was mentioning the possibility of an upset, and who would have thought we're seeing it as soon as game number 1? This is S2G, this is SRG, and we knew we were starting the day strong, but this strong?
You really put the boom in Siggy Boom. S2G, the team that was touted.
What an adjustment from S2G. We gotta ask our panel to break things down for us.
Okay, well, if you are doubting our nomination at the Game Awards, this is Mobile Legends Bang Bang Esports. This is the drama of our scene. Husky, Breathe, Brother, as S2G, led by the Turkish trigger man, Siggy Boom. They've done it. They've opened up Swiss by upsetting SRG.
You know what, as much as I'm heartbroken with this loss, it is just the best of one. It's still first round Swiss stage, but I did mention the possibility, right, that S2G can be SRG. And as much as I don't want to happen, you know, the crowd is watching me right now, but it has happened. And everything that that Trek State came through, we talk about the Bruno, we talk about Siggy Boom, and Siggy Boom really just blasted a hole through SRG.
The Bruno.
Not only the Bruno, but Lunar as well was playing that Ruby like a roamer, and just overall, all the way, making plays happen and consistently splitting them up, making space where Siggy Boom could actually pop off.
And everything that you've laid down here, the conditions for S2G Trex when we popped up the lineup, begin on that Aurora. The Frigid Glacier, the counter engage that he would set up was on point for S2G. Husky, what went wrong here for SRG?
I think it's just, first of all, as much as SRG has this big combo, they cannot get close to Siggy Boom.
Oh my goodness, and now we're gonna get closer to a member of S2G on stage for an interview for their upset over SRG.
Hello everybody, my name is Rose, and taking the first ever win in the Swiss round. First match, an amazing game by S2G, and can I just say, Siggy Boom was amazing. First of all, congratulations on winning your match against the hometown favorites. How are you feeling right now?
Valla şimdi kazandınız. Ülkenin favori takımını yendiniz. Şu an nasıl hissediyorsun?
Yani buraya gelmeden önce kazanacağımızı biliyordum zaten. Hatta bizim koça oyun içinden bize oynamasını söyledim. Tahmin yerinden. Oynamadı, dinlemedi beni. Oynasaydı çok şey kazanırdı. Çok heyecanlıyım. Ayağım hala titriyor. Mutluyum.
He said that they're gonna win actually. Right now he already even talked with the coach, but right now he's so happy that he's shaking right now.
Oh, he's shaking. And did you just say you predicted the win against Selangor Red Giants? Maybe you can share a bit more. How did you guys actually prepare for your opening match up against Selangor Red Giants for you guys to say that you guys actually predicted such a win?
Şimdi tahmin ettiniz ya, bu açılış maçı için nasıl hazırlandınız?
Yani güçlü bir takım. Kazanacağımızı biliyorduk diyeyim.
Well, we know that they're really a strong team, so we actually and then we thought we're gonna
Çok
win,
çalıştık.
but we really prepare a lot for it.
Okay, now I think we could see the
Last year wild card in M5. He was kind of the guy, he went on Hilda, one of the few guys that play Hilda, and just cleaved SMG in half and kind of took that game from them. And coming into this, I do expect him to kind of take on that role again, like the Gatot Kacha as well. He had an insane, like, godlike legendary streak Gatot Kacha game in the wildcard stage.
So we mentioned there earlier, there's the Hilda that you brought up, that these two teams would love to control the river. So the bans right now are some of the best picks in terms of controlling the center of the map and the jungle.
Yeah, but if Osprey, I mean, if Ulfandar does not pan out this Cho, could be a definite first pick for the side of BTK here. Suyo also open. It's been something that MOBA Zane has been definitely liking. On the other hand, they go for the Hylos. This is a pick that, honestly, I could be a little worried about.
Oh yeah, he did mention the white horse meme that came out of NECT, and of course with Ulfandar having it available for them. I feel like this is an alien Cho more than it is an Apex 47 Cho.
I feel like it could go both ways still.
Oh, still, it's not a sure thing. Okay.
I feel like it's more towards Apex 47. I know Alien has shown it a bit, but not much, right? It's a definite flex for Ulfandar. So it's a very, very strong pick for them. The Suyo again, like Trex mentioned, still on the table. They could go for that Valentina for Rosa. It's also one of the few first phase picks for Ulfandar on red side.
Don't forget though that Ulfandar has shown that they are comfortable with playing with a Pharsa in this current metagame that is filled with assassins. The Bruno is the rush for Ulfandar. He has risen to be the most dependable marksman, it seems like, in this current metagame.
So two very dependable picks on the side of Ulfandar already, but Moon's gonna take the Luyi, make sure that Rosa doesn't get it, but not only that, do you see what we're looking at right here? Fredrin is back, BTK is back. How do we feel about it? I've been hearing rumors, I've been hearing possibilities, but I don't know.
I don't really know I don't really know as well. Like looking at this Joy pick, we've seen how you can deal with Joy, right? She's no longer invincible in the ultimate. You can't be immune to crowd control anymore. Plenty of ways for BTK to kind of stop TNZ in his tracks. You got the knockout from Fredrin, you got the Law and Order from the High Laws, you got this Yin Yang reaction, you got a dash right through. It is a bit of a different twist from Ulfandar. I wonder what they want.
The interesting thing about that is that, remember during the tank fighter meta days, when you're Fredrin in the jungle, you love seeing a Joy in the opposing jungle because you control the heck out of that Joy. So for Ulfandar to pick the Joy into the Fredrin, if it is a Fredrin jungle, it's a ballsy move.
Oh, I think it's definitely a Fredrin jungle. I think we go Concussion Blast on this bad boy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we just start outputting. This is already a comfort pick from Zane. The question is does it still hold up in the meta? You do have some big burst damage possibly coming from this Bruno. You have some possibility still for Ulfandar. We're on the second phase of bans though. Ulfandar taking out the Moskov. There is still a Beatrix open for Zia here. It's something that he has fallen back to for comfort before. On the side of BTK, I think we go into another possible EXP lane ban here.
Yeah, I agree. I think the choices for marksman, at least for the side of Ulfandar, there is still the Natan that Sunshine has shown, and it has been one of the hot commodities during the wildcard stage when you want to go that late game. But again, well, I forgot the Bruno is there, so Natan is out of the question. So there's still Rosa's pick, right? The Pantheon doesn't look that
Lilia?
good anymore. Lilia,
Back to the Lilia?
we could go back down that
against
route,
the
right?
tank jungle, it
Yeah.
used to work, and
Yeah.
it's a favorite pick for Rosa. I know it's
It
not
is.
meta right now, but
It might help, again, because if BTK decides to go into... Definitely Harith is still an option for them. And if there's a Lilia on the other side, the Lilia will give the high loss to Fredrin and the Harith a lot of difficulty. And then that'll force BTK to switch into a different magic damage jungler. The lineup of BTK to me screams like they definitely need magic damage in the jungle. So instead of going for the Lilia, they still go for the control and the still relatively good amount of burst in the Aurora. And that is still good for slow front to back style of lineups.
and I mean the Aurora overall I think is one of the top tiers right now outside of the Eve and the Jushin, and what it supplies against some of the other fighter junglers, it will still supply against the Fredrin. It will still a supply against enemies that just want to walk up to you, right? So a decent answer. Here comes the Granger. All right, so do we actually think the swap could come? I do not. I think it's going to be Zia Granger, but I know the fans are hoping maybe for something different.
Yeah. No. Zia Granger.
Yeah, Granger, for sure.
There's no way that they
other
put
choice,
anyone else.
right?
Yeah.
There's no other gold laner.
Yeah, up against the Bruno. So, okay. So we are going to be seeing the return of Fredrin in the jungle. Well, 100% on Arlott EXP. Yes?
Yes,
Is it Rome Hylos?
I
And
do
then Rome
prefer the
Hylos.
Rome Hylos to a certain degree. For sure, you can match the Cho. Well, you can't really match the Cho in terms of mobility, but you definitely have this guaranteed control that stops the Cho from moving, stops the Joy in place.
Yeah, look at that. Glue is the last pick. Up against a slow trotting lineup. That's actually great. Can't hear what we think, but Mirko, bring it up. What do you guys think about the draft?
Thank you so much to our panelists. And again, we're heading into the second series of the day between the Turkish All-Star and the returning BTK. What do we think about the draft? I mean, we're seeing the Joy for the second time, but we're seeing the Fredrin as well for today. That's a bit surprising for me, if you would ask.
I agree, man. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, is it really surprising? If you know MOBA Zane, the biggest criticism from everybody, a lot of his haters, they say he can't play Assassins. And yeah, that might be true. That's why he's called MOBA Fred. So we'll see how good MOBA Fred is here on the Fredrin in the Land of Dawn for a best of one.
Yep, definitely they had to force out a response here from Ulfenar. We're seeing the glue being picked up even as a way to respond to all this. And yeah, it's MOBA Fred coming back here, and he's facing off against Tianzi, both junglers who I think we really need to watch out for because they're very keen on getting that jungle control and advantage in terms of the farming. But how efficient will our XP laners be in the early game, in the early skirmishes? Because if you were to look at the glue up against an Arlo, what are your thoughts about this matchup?
I mean, the glue against the Arlet is a matchup where, I think for the Arlet, mainly, you don't really want to go for any trades here. All you want to do is farm up, wait for level 4, and then participate in the fights.
Yep.
I think most of the fights we're going to see in the mid lane, this is a very aggressive Loyi Hylos against a very aggressive Cho and Aurora too. So it's all about the mid lane here, and you can already see that Lethal Ignition and Bargain Hunter. Man, Hoon is going for that snowball for sure. He's doubling down on the early game power of the Loyi.
Yeah, and how will Hoon create all this space, especially with the Lui, one of the best mages who you could rely on in terms of doing that. So they can really take Ulfenar by surprise every now and then whenever they want to. But then another thing I think we have to really watch out for is Zia once again showing us another Granger gold. Earlier, it wasn't as successful, but all things considered, the lineup right now that Bloodthirsty Kings have decided to field for this game, it seems like it could be a little bit more coordinated in terms of whenever they want to pick the team fights.
It's also much better as a front-to-back composition. Well, Tech's good read on that. It's a Chunpu out here. And I do want to talk a bit more of the Arlet pick, right? Because the Arlet is something we don't really see too often nowadays, but with the Fredrin in the jungle, it does make sense for you to go for the Arlet. You get so many resets. Especially because pops in Revitalize, goes over the Sun, the final slash will connect to the Tianzi. Full lock up there, first blood for Hoon.
That was unfortunate. The sustain was still there for Shark. He had his Revitalize ready. And now Ulfenar, they lost one member just right before this turtle. But it seems like they're still staying aggressive as ever, trying to disrupt Moazine from getting his purple buff, but still he'll be able to get it either way. So we may potentially see that once Tianzi gets hold of his purple buff, will they try to still attempt for this turtle contest?
I guess we'll see. Apex is walking up, no level 4 just yet, so no way of the dragon. Goes in for a bit of damage. Diversion into the back right now. Full flank with the glorious pathway down. Who to be able to put up some damage as Alien goes in for split. Zayn still looking for the Retry. TNZ walking up as well. It's a 50-50. Jikundo over Retry. MOBA Zayn wins it up. The split onto him, now mounting MOBA Zayn. Shark in the midst of it all, still caught there. Just get away to Dragon to bring him back, and that's going to be TNZ picking up the kill now as Hoon goes in for the Yin reaction. But Apex 47 dives in, and Chicken will be able to flicker out for now. Alien gets the immobilized, forcing Chicken to go for the vengeance, and Apex takes him down.
Bloodthirsty Kings, they get hold of the turtle, but I believe Ulfidnar, they're really happy with the trades that they got. Bloodthirsty Kings, they were able to create that proper zoning. They were able to look for the members. They were able to zone out Rosa, but they gave Ulfidnar enough time to actually regroup and for TNZ to even catch up to that team fight. He didn't go straight to the turtle right after securing his purple buff. He was also trying to get his orange buff, but even then he left it. He said, alright, I'm just gonna join, and that rewarded Ulfidnar a lot.
Definitely did. They just played it super slow. They wanted to get the mount before going in. That's the thing, right? When you're up against a Spreadgen on the Joy, you want to come in as the assassin. You need to come in last. If you come in early in the fight, there's so much CC from BTK, and you can already see it over to Apex. TNZ walking up now over to Hoon. That's a Frigid Glacier to set up for the electrifying beats. Onto Zia now. Apex getting a good kick over, but the Purify gets him out. Zia still kiting away. Apex very low. Shark unable to go and march in forward. Zayn will be able to get some damage down onto Alien, but that's about it.
I feel like this entire situation is becoming something Ulfidnar really consistently takes advantage of. Their early rotations coming in from their XP lane and the information that they're able to get immediately, but that's a trade. They take Apex 47, so I don't think they'll be as aggressive towards this bottom lane anymore.
Like, it's a kill, right? It's good for Zia, but it was also great for Sunshine. He got almost the entirety of the turret gold there down below. And we saw how the Bruno matchup against the Granger played out just earlier, so... Again, that's going to be quite concerning, you know, giving Bruno gold in the early game once he gets the Milfic gun. Oh, I don't know, man. Sunshine, he might actually be able to rival Mr. Siggy Boom as, you know, the Turkish Trigger Man.
I mean, earlier we saw towards the late game, at least 3 basic attacks being enough to take out the late game Granger, and I think we're seeing Zia going for the exact same emblem combinations even, but who will be able to take hold of this turtle? Both teams are able to see each other right now.
Double advantage, that's a Jikundo, MOBA Zayn gets it. The last hit over with skill 1 in the Retry. Chicken walks in with vengeance, and Alien will just disengage. Neutral objective control for BTK.
I think MOBA Zayn's here to remind us of how reliable the Fredrin is when it comes to getting these objectives. That's a second consecutive turtle that MOBA Zayn was able to secure for his team. So I think regardless of the more successful engagement, hold on, Rosa, will he be able to get out of this? Whoa!
Close, very close. Has to use the flicker. And Apex will be able to grant him some safety up top. Chicken could be able to survive this. There's no real kill threat here. Bottom lane, that's a diversion. Sunshine going to be caught. Hoon missing out the reaction, but Zia gets the last hit. Apex with the way to drag, but Revitalize gets popped in by Shark, and now Apex is forced back. They have essentially already shut down Sunshine. Now they're going to get a shove down, and what, are they going to look to group?
That was a really quick response from BTK though. Like, the moment they knew there were 2 members trying to actually get some of White Chicken's attention, an immediate diversion towards the bottom lane, and a very great or a rewarding kill that they could secure up against the Sunshine, who earlier we mentioned, he's just getting all the farm. He's going unnoticed, but now Bloodthirsty Kings, they're paying attention as well, so they want to shut down these winning conditions for Ulfidnar. And we also haven't paid much attention to how Bloodthirsty Kings, they're actually showing some slightly better control in terms of taking the conversions and objectives of the turrets.
I think they're doing a much better job so far here. Only the turret gold really going to Ulfidnar, right? But in the mid-game, late game, getting these turrets, that's what's important here. Not just that turret gold, and Zia is already being swapped up top. Let's see how they get this. Zia is getting 3 hits down. Doesn't look like Ulfidnar want to walk, and MOBA Zayn doing a good job on this Fred. That's MOBA Fred for you.
I can imagine how hyped up those former Fredrin users are right now, or do we really call them former? Because either way, I think we're gradually seeing a increase the number of Fredrin appearances. Who knows? This might not be the first or the last time we'll see the Fredrin here in M6, and this is the 3rd and last turtle that, compared to the first 2, Ulfidnar won't be contesting anymore.
Perfect turtle for the Bloodthirsty Kings. 3 for 3, and now they play the slow game. They're just waiting for Zia, I would say, right, to get to those item power spikes. It does seem like for Hoon, he should be already on it. So I don't know, man. It's just a slow game at this point, right? They just want to outrange Ulfednar and they want to peel for Zia.
Yeah, and it's
Protect
nice.
Mr. President.
It's nice to see like Bloodthirsty Kings gradually adapting to this kind of a playstyle. We know for one that if it was Fried Chicken we're talking about, the eager one to make the plays, the one who wants to go for those really aggressive XP laners, but it seems like they're adjusting really well to this high loss XP gameplay that they're showing us. They're really able to protect the key members we are actually watching out for here in BTK and pick the right team fight. It's speaking of... Alright, that's another diversion play. They do up top. So right now, the problem for Ulfednar definitely is how could they expect all these team fights that will come from BTK? And now that they're struggling to get the pickoffs, they're struggling to get the way of the dragons towards Zia. But speaking of, that's at the tip though.
Great final slash to Voiker. Now Rose is going to be caught. Fried Chicken just staying on him. The way to Dragon appeal, but now the vengeance and the last shot. Rosa is down. Sunshine gets a trade in the bottom lane. That's a tier 1, but still, Bloodthirsty Kings definitely leading here. And I don't know, Brigitte, but BTK, this team finally coming back on stage.
Yep.
The color scheme, the stage. It really, I don't know, this tournament feels a whole lot like M3, man. You can see Chicken walk up again, get in the final slash, baiting out the Purify as well. Hoon going to be targeted down by TNZ, but he's still able to get the yin-yang reaction and get some shielding, and he will be able to escape for a bit. Hoon get the shielding again. Oh, the stun coming in, TNZ! Outplayed by Hoon and Shark with the Revitalize, and now it's a full dive. Appraiser's Rat from MOBA Zane. Chicken going for the kill, and that's a stab from MOBA Zane. He will be taken down. Chicken gets out though, and it becomes a great trade for BTK. That's a 2 for 1, and they only lose their tank jungler.
And they immediately convert and take out some of the remaining resources from Ulfednar as well. BTK, they're that much ahead that Hoon has the liberty to just throw out all those combos to get those shields and sustain these attempts from TNZ. It's not something you would typically see for a Joy who's able to isolate his key targets. But just with Shark beside Hoon, he was able to sustain everything. And this might be a very difficult situation for Ulfednar if they do want to go after this Lord. TNZ though, he's one level, oh no. He is one level ahead of MOBA Zane.
You still have the clear speed, right? Way better clear speed compared to Fredrin. The only reason Zane is able to actually be just one level down is because he got 3 turtles.
Yep.
If we didn't get the 3 turtles, maybe we would see like a 3-level dip for TNZ here. But hey, now he's equal actually to TNZ. He will be on the Lord. They're actually playing with the MOBA Zane, walking up. Gotta go for a bit of a trade here. The Lord has been taken very low. A quarter of its HP. Zia still holding on to it. The Lord Dance is a bit tricky nowadays.
Oh.
The diversion into the top. Alien's gonna be caught. A full dive into TNZ. Has the damage. Electrifying beat. Zia. That's a bad spot to be in. Zia assassinated. Now Shark mounted on as well. MOBA Zane, unfortunately, unable to survive. Sunshine go for the free hits now as he is free hitting the entire fight. Shark will fall as well. Sunshine with a double. Hoon. Purify now. Sunshine with the chase. TNZ very low. Fried Chicken waiting in the bush again as Ulfednar take control of the game through Sunshine on the Bruno.
That might have not been the best target here for Bloodthirsty Kings, or probably if we were to like rewind it a bit, it seems like they were really trying to go after TNZ, but they did not have as much idea that Alien was also there, that Ulfednar, they were already all around that area trying to position themselves prior to this Lord, and unexpectedly they will be able to take hold of it instead. So it's Bloodthirsty Kings who will be having to defend for this first Lord, but definitely they will have the resources, they have the range to do so, but Ulfednar, they wouldn't want to miss this opportunity to at least attempt and even out the map.
Definitely, Ulfednar, you know, the way that they have been able to utilize the Bruno and the wild card. We've seen how brutal Sunshine can be on this Bruno, and so far he's been farming, waiting for that item power spike. I wonder if he has the Melfic gun already. I'm gonna have to check real quick, and he does so. Melfic gun power spike online now for Ulfednar. It's a battle of the front to back, honestly, at this point, right? TNZ will have more ways to actually try to assassinate some of the members from BTK. But Ulfednar's front to back, it's kind of a different version. BTK plays a front to back with a lot of frontliners. Ulfednar played a front to back with a lot of assassin backline threats.
Yep.
So TNZ essentially becomes kind of a distraction.
Yeah.
So that Sunshine can free hit like we saw earlier.
Yeah, and for Avens 47 to actually find the right targets this time around. I mean, they can be slightly more aggressive compared to earlier, but they decide to go for the diversion towards the purple buff.
Rosa gets caught, Apex gets away with Dragon now, and Sunshine is completely zoned away. Apex with a flicker out, Alien split to escape, and it will just be a 1-for-0. The Lord advantage from Ulfednar, they were able to get some turrets, but BTK fend off the tier 2 in the mid lane.
Honestly, those those very decisive diversion plays can either go like really good or really bad for BTK, and that was an example of a really good diversion play. In as much as they probably had an idea that majority of the members of Ulfednar were there, it's also probably Ulfednar not expecting that they'd actually teleport there and pick a fight.
It's a tough plan to go for. Like Bloodthirsty, we saw the gold lead immediately just disappear with one wrong diversion. But one good diversion can turn the entire game around. For BTK though, they don't actually need to rely on the diversion that much. They can actually just play the normal front to backs as long as they keep Zia intact and as long as they actually save some of their CC abilities for Tianzi. This Joy is going to have a tough time diving into BTK.
Yep, and honestly, that's the play that has continuously punished these attempts from Ulfednar. The proper timings of the final slash, but they find Alien!
Alien just got disintegrated. Sunshine sniped down. That's another! Oh! Almost threading the needle. Apex 47 able to body block. But we're getting to a point in the game where the range is starting to play a big factor. Just like in game 1 with Innocent on the Granger, now it's Zia on that Granger.
Yeah, and I mean, even if they decide to like take on these fights head on and right in front of these members, that's like increased accuracy for those skill shot based skills from BTK to actually connect towards Ulfednar, and as we've seen it earlier, that's Alien, one of the tankiest heroes from Ulfednar, but he surprisingly just disappeared in the blink of an eye. So BTK, they may take control of this Lord Pit, and could this be a much more successful attempt at taking the Lord compared to earlier?
They gotta play with the poke. I think, you know, they have all the tools to make it better than before. They just gotta play with Zia and Hoon. They have so many ways to chunk Ulfednar low before the fight even happens. Because for Ulfednar, it's really all about engaging. It's really all about destroying that front to back. If you poke them out of these fights, they might not even be able to do that. And you can see with the advantage they have in the side lane, yeah, Ulfednar will have to deal with the mid lane, will have to constantly rotate into the bottom lane later on as well. BTK have the control.
3 members are just hiding here in the left mid bush, but it seems like they have a different plan in mind. Sunshine!
Oh, gonna be caught in the flanks. Hoon with a diversion that might have just won them the game. Tianzi in the midst of it all, Tain CC'd. It is the mount on Shark, but you do not mount a horse without getting tapped down by the man who plays the horse. White Chicken takes him off. Alien is down. Apex will be forced to recall, and BTK get the 2-for-1.
And that clearly is a win for BTK here. Will they proceed with taking the Lord? Because some members seem to be running after Tianzi right over here, but Tianzi will still take him on.
Great electrifying beats and the winner crown too. Now it's Rosa who walks in forward. Tianzi again taken down before he can go for the kill. Now Apex looking for the play, goes over to Ji Kundo, just buying a bit more time, and BTK will be forced back because of the damage that Tianzi has done.
And you said it, they bought time. They bought enough time. Sunshine is now back in the game, but that's a quick diversion once again. Will they find Apex 47? They do, but he gets to Ji Kundo out. So they regain control of this Lord, and now that Tianzi's gone, they will clearly take it for themselves. Not unless Ulfednar, they still want to attempt and take on a team fight.
No, way too dangerous. Good glorious pathway, and BTK take the enhanced Lord in the 16th minute of the game. That's MOBA Fred for you, getting the neutral objective. And now it's back to where they started when they had that gold lead. 2.6k gold lead over the BTK as they build this Lord advantage.
We're seeing a very systematic gameplay once again from Bloodthirsty Kings, but in some parts, a slightly experimental approach towards playing the game as well. We're looking at really good gold in the hands of key members of BTK right here. Hoon, you mentioned it, he's already completed all of his items compared to Rosa. Clearly struggling right now and trying to position himself as the Aurora. It seems like he's been a consistent target for BTK ever since the beginning of this game, but Hoon, wow!
Wow, that was a crazy diversion take from Hoon. I didn't think he would take it, but you know, he does. He knows that there were a lot of people there to help him out. Oh, Tianzi was looking for a flank, gets caught out and spotted out. He will just go to the purple buff. I don't know if BTK will No, they won't chase TNZ. They're just going to play with the Lord and maybe look for the Lord charge. But no, they're actually taking it super slow. Won't play for the Lord. The Lord gets taken down. Sunshine deals with it. They'll steal the purple buff away. Oh, now Apex is chain CC, but he does have the Shun Poo. So, yeah, it becomes a kind of just... It's an equalizer. Now they are on the same amount of turrets.
Yep, honestly, I feel like we're seeing some, or BTK having some second thoughts as to whether or not should they be reacting to the pressure that TNZ is trying to create in this kind of situation against BTK, where they're clearly trying to catch up. But that's one of the strengths that you'd probably consider for this kind of assassin jungler, for the Joy. Like the mobility it has, the ability to close gaps or even just run away from these members of BTK and create or control the macro all by himself. It's one thing that could probably distract BTK from doing whatever they want to do, doing whatever by the book attempt they want to proceed with in closing this game. But Apex 47 and even TNC, he comes in from behind.
Alien trying to split them up. Zia still kiting away. MOBA Zayn able to sustain back up, but Alien won't be able to do the same. Oh, it's a battle of the frontliners, and Zayn is on that Fredrin. So tanky and sustainable.
It seems like those sandwich plays aren't really working for the matches we've seen today, at least. That's a 3-man knockup though, but the immediate burst down!
For Chicken with the final slash finding, and the Appraiser's Wrath to combo it in. Tenzi's in the midst of it all as a Joy gets the electrifying beats, the winner crown and the immortality buy. But now Tenzi able to escape. MOBA Zayn walks back up, trying to go for the kill, and it's Sunshine with a triple to save Ulfednar in game number 1 in this best of 1.
And this is no joke. I just want to say, I lost track. We were already 19 minutes into this game, so the death timers, they're actually quite long. They're actually extending the game to this point, and Tienzi with the high electrifying beats, will he be able to catch Shark? Not just yet, but still dashes in. Fortunately, there's the glorious pathway, but man, this is already an almost a 20-minute game.
It's coming to a point where we're gonna see one big fight, and then we're gonna see the end here. Ulfednar defending it, and now they're gonna go for the Lord. This is an Evolved Lord, so it's gonna be a bit tougher for BTK to deal with, and there's absolutely no chance they get to contest this. That's a free Evolved Lord over to Ulfednar.
This is actually devastating. Bloodthirsty Kings for the entire 18 minutes or so, having complete control, actually making Ulfednar kind of become so unsure of whether or not they actually want to position themselves in certain areas, because Bloodthirsty Kings, they have this tendency to really be first in terms of taking control of these brushes, but then in the blink of an eye, Ulfednar just relying on Sunshine's late game capability. Now we're seeing them being the more aggressive team. Bloodthirsty Kings, they have to defend this, but how reliable is their wave clear exactly when it comes to this point in time?
Good question. That's a really good question to ask. Is the Granger going to be able to actually poke down the Lord enough for it to stop the siege? Because Ulfednar, they should have ways to actually zone BTK away and for Sunshine to just get some free hits onto the turret. If he does get those free hits. Oh, Tienzi's melting MOBA Zayn down. Oh, with just a quarter of HP left, forced to use the Appraiser's Wrath, and the Evolved Lord will be able to charge down. That's a base turret taken down up top. MOBA Zayn's going to be very careful with this Fredrin. BTK, they're able to fend off for now. They will be able to defend, but there are going to be some more waves in the mid lane. Ulfednar will not push forward. They will be happy with the base turret taken down up top.
If Tienzi hurts that much against MOBA Zayn, how much more if he gains access to Zia, to Hoon, to the other less tanked members of BTK at this point? Because if we were to look at the item builds, this pretty much explains why Tienzi is starting to hurt so much.
Yep.
He's full build. He also picked up both the Holy Crystal and the Divine Blade, and if ever he wants to create some crazy plays, some surprising plays, he can go for it. He has the Winter Crown in his arsenal as well.
The Winter Crown is such a good tool to have on the Joy, because the electrifying beast, I mean, with the new Winter Crown, it still comes out, right? So you're dealing damage with no risk at all while you're in the middle of the fight. And BTK, I think they've been kind of overconfident a lot of times, just sitting on the electrifying beats. I know you got the Athenas, I know you got that Radiant armor, but hey man, it's better not to take that damage when he's on you. Better to actually move back again. I understand though, they want to try to just go for him right as he gets out of the Winter Crown. Unfortunately, Sunshine's there too, right? Tienzi's not the only damage dealer. If you stick like that, Sunshine's going to get that worldie down. He's going to be able to get those free hits. And that's why we've seen Sunshine be the assassin, funnily enough, right? He's not the main damage dealer. Tianzi's been the one chunking them low, but Sunshine's been getting the balls down.
Yep, I'm really glad you mentioned that, because for the first, or for at least the entire game almost that we've been seeing, it's this teaming up together. It's this 5-man rotations that have been really benefiting Bloodthirsty Kings. But at this point in time where Ulfidnar, they can also do the same. They can rely on their team fight capabilities to its fullest. Will it still be the same story for BTK this time around? Because if they decide to stick together, Tianzi, he can just reach more targets. He can just dash through more targets. And Sunshine with the Worldy, he can just look for the free hits indefinitely. But Tianzi waits when...
No! BTK get the diversion, and Tianzi evaporates. 22 minutes in, that might be the play to win the game. Apex trying to open up the map now as Rosa goes in for the zone. Lord should be free. Tianzi down for 47 seconds.
That's no joke. We're 23 minutes in. The death timers are no joke. But it seems like Ulfidnar, they still want to take on this fight. Apex 47 poked very low. But that's a flicker from Alien. And he's isolated. He's alone. And Fight Chicken though.
Trying to escape, will be able to flicker out there. Does seem like Ulfidnar is doing a great job right now, holding on to it. The Glorious Pathway popped down already. Apex 47 going for the stun right now onto MOBA Zane. Will he be able to get it with the Way of the Dragon as well? MOBA Zane still with the Retribution. Apex Immortality down. Sunshine with a Purify. The final slash brings him into Zia's gunshots. The yin-yang reaction will get Hoon a double. And now Ulfidnar will have to defend against the Evil Lord of BTK.
While Sunshine is yet to return for nearly a minute. So Bloodthirsty Kings, they're really picking up the pacing. They want to make as much use of this Lord that they've secured for themselves. This is an evolved Lord, and definitely you'd want to stick together this time. This is the moment you'd want to stick together and really stay by the Lord's side. But wait a minute!
Winter Crown into Winter Crown into the Immortality. Tianzi buying some items, but is it going to be enough? Tianzi down. Who gets a killing spree? Apex with the conceal. Zia with the Sky Piercer. It's a diversion again to flank Ulfidnar. Rosa pops into Frigid Glacier, trying to survive the Sky Piercer. That's one stack on the board. Apex buying a lot of time, but it is not going to be enough as Chicken gets rid of him. Bloodthirsty Kings. BTK is back on the world stage.
A wipeout before securing the game. The return of BTK. MOBA Fred! He's just proving us so much things on the first day!
He never fails to do it. Every single time. Able to just shatter expectations on stage.
You know what?
There's something with this team.
I'm just so glad we don't have to do those series predictions. We're kind of safe from doing all that, but how about the panel? They're not safe from doing all that, so let's ask them about their thoughts regarding this game.
The goal to make America bang again, and they came out with a banger against Ulfidnar. And the funny thing is, we did say the question, or pose the question, are we gonna see a throwback to an old style? Yes, we did, and it's the Fredrin for MOBA Zane. The tank fighter jungler has returned, and that's what BTK is rolling with.
Yeah, the concussive Fredrin, MOBA Fred, back at it. I am 100% positive that when he picked that up, the memes were going on in chat. The YouTube chat was, oh, only knows one hero. Well, that one hero just won their game against Ulfidnar, and it was well played. I mean, that was a great game. We won, what, 22 minutes?
25.
How much? 25?
Close to 25.
Minutes. 25 minutes back and forth, edge of my seat. Couldn't ask for anything else.
Oh man, I bet NA is going to be very proud of this win, right? We did say that upsets are what makes up Swiss stage. We've seen it in Series 1, and now it happened again.
Let's hear now from BTK as they start off the Swiss stage with a victory.
An amazing win from BTK. Right now, I am over with Hoon, and when he got the mic, when he got beside me, he was like, I'm still shaking. Okay, now Hoon, why are you shaking? What's happening? Why with the adrenaline rush?
It's mostly because the characteristic of the hero that I'm playing. Louis is either hit or miss, right? You're ulting in a bush, you don't know if it's gonna work or it's gonna work, but sometimes we just have to think like, we just gotta do it and then see what happens. That's why the adrenaline rush.
All right, now Hoon, let's talk about your M Series run. Now, we know that Hoon has actually played in multiple M Series before. However, it is the first time that you are actually going up against Turkey. Now,
Yes.
how is this matchup like in your opinion? Do you feel like the region has improved tremendously, and how difficult it is going up against them actually?
Turkey has always been performing like consistently, like really good in the international stage. During M4, Rosa was getting a lot of spotlight, so I always wanted to like go up against Rosa. Yeah.
Now that you've gone up against Rosa, how do you think he does? Do you think he's amazing still and it was just a luck on your side, or do you think that you guys actually managed to out micro and macro them?
Definitely macro played in part, but I think draft played a lot in the game.
All right, Hoon, you mentioned draft. Now, we know Fredrin is not really a common pick right now, especially in this patch. Now, was your Fredrin pick more of a vitality pick for you guys, or is it just a very BTK specialty to bring an unorthodox jungle to the main stage?
I think teams will ban it now. Yeah, they'll start banning Fredrin against us for sure.
So it's very viable in this patch, actually. Okay, now Hoon, maybe a final question. Okay, going up, probably you guys have, we will have a draw tonight, right? Who do you want to meet tomorrow, potentially after this win?
S2G.
S2G! Oh, the casters are hyped. So you want to go up against the brothers. You just went up against Apex 47. You want to go up against City Boom.
Yeah, it's Thanksgiving. We need some turkey.
All right. All right. Thank you very much, Hoon. Let us throw it back to the panel to break down what happened in this game.
Well, BTK is back. It's nice to hear from the second greatest Korean modern day athlete, second only to Hyungmin's son. That is Hoon on the stage, hearing from him. And I gotta agree with the man. By the way, my name is NACT Meme 1. I'm joined by NACT Meme 2 and of course, Trex. The draft really played a big part into it, even though it really looked like they would lack the damage. They didn't need it. They had all the tankiness and time in the world.
We were talking about it at one point that for the most part of the game, MOBA Zane was doing a lot more damage than Sunshine, right? And Sunshine, at that point of time, has already started popping off, defended the base. But special mention to Hoon, shout out the Luoyi play, right? Like he had early game, the Trex was saying that he was a bit stingy with that diversion, but that late game diversion, he made some big brain plays that really allowed BTK to take the lead.
Yeah, I think there's two major things, right? Hoon didn't just stay in the mid lane. He was all over the place. He was being aggressive.
Yeah.
And Fried Chicken being very aggressive. And that's what gave that that tanky lineup the viability. And even though Zia didn't really have the chance to pop off, Hoon had enough space that he could output an insane amount of damage. And MOBA Zane as well. Almost every objective he was able to get in those 50-50 retries.
He was winning it. TNZ had a difficult time. And again, I will die on the hill of, if you see a Fred on the other side, Joy is a pick that you can go for when you're going up against the Fredrin. And it's unfortunate also for Ulfidnar that their priority in the Bruno ended up coming back to bite them, because one of the reasons why Bruno fell out in the tank meta is because everyone was way too tanky. At the end of this game, he pulled off 53,240 damage. MOBA Zane did 500 points worth of damage more. That's a full-built Bruno. And his damage came in just like the last 7 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, and speaking of full damage, even TNZ, as you spoke about, I mean, he was maxed out. And look at the gold, almost 19,000 gold, way outputting. He was rotating so much faster than MOBA Zane, but it just goes to show that it was not enough, right? And it goes to your point of, it doesn't matter what TNZ built on that Joy, the only person he was able to really get to was Zia. And when he did, they won the fights. But as long as they created that box around Hoon and Zia, TNZ would just go into, it was essentially a suicide play.
Yeah, and it was pretty tough for TNZ to hit that backline that late game, because at one point Zia started biting Athena's shoe. Hoon even has a Rose Gold Meteor, Winter Crown. You go through your rotation of electrifying beast, you just run out of gas instantly, right? After that, it's easy for BTK to take him down. And I feel like this Joy pick, we've seen it 2 times already, into a draft with a lot of crowd control. It's just so hard to maneuver.
Yeah, Zia, one of the main points here for BTK that we were talking about, about. He was juggling items, as you pointed out. He had Athena Shield at one point. Sky Piercer was sold to get into the Athena Shield, and then eventually he bought it back there near the end, even getting the War Axe. And this is a Granger that went Fighter instead of Assassin Emblem. So in terms of what BTK wanted to do, it's very safe.
Yeah, and another big emblem point here. You know, a lot of mid laners would go the Wilderness Blessing, right? You get the movement. Hoon goes for the bargain, goes for damage, just full damage, because I already have the macro. I can already get around the map. I don't need to be a little bit faster. And with that, I think that's what gave him that advantage in the early game. Really outputting. We saw him pushing back Apex 47 in the river. So I think a nice emblem play by the side of Hoon here.
Yeah. And they also had a lot of ways to kind of stall out the game to gain advantage, right? Like there were certain moments where Ofenar started making a comeback, they got the lore and they were pushing down lanes, but every single time BTK, they recomposed, and Hoon, he did mention in a post-game interview that when you use Diversion, you don't really know who's in that bush, you just have to go for it, and so many of these individual catches stall out the game for them to kind of get back into shape.
Yeah, and that ended up turning around in favor of BTK in the sense that now it was Ofenar doesn't know how many members of BTK is going to come through. At one point, there was a play around the lower portion of the map. I was wondering, why did Alien not leave? He saw there were members of BTK coming in through the portal. He didn't expect the entire city council to come in and just take him down.
And normally 5 people don't show up through that portal, but literally the whole crew was there ready to take him out.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why Ofenar eventually lost the game. Surprise was the major theme here, from the draft and to how BTK executed in the game.
Yeah, I mean, it is Thanksgiving, alright, so we brought the whole North America to feast on Alien. I mean, when you see your tank, your glue frontline get blown up in 3 seconds, you know you're in a bit of a trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I do have to give up to Rosa, though? Rosa was way behind in items, way behind in gold, but still matching Hoon in terms of damage. And I think
you're right.
One thing about Rosa, though, is Rosa likes to be an aggressive mid laner, and I think taking away that Lu Yi, Rosa, you know, the Aurora is good, but it's not an in-your-face mid laner, right? It's not a Valentina, it's not a Louis, it's not a Lilia, right? It's not something that we normally like to see Rosa on, and that could be a reason to, you know, like Hoon said, the draft.
Yeah.
BTK just kind of had advantage in certain points.
Yeah, to put it into even more simpler terms for the newer viewers of the M6 or the MLBB esports scene there, BTK went into this, it seems like, with the idea of, let's pick a lineup that is difficult to pick off one by one, because who are you going to pick off? And with Hoon raising his fist with pride and being the centerpiece of the lineup alongside the very tanky front line, Detective Fredrin, the dude really knew how to rotate and play with that hero. I wonder if you're going up against a team that's known to go loco, what if you pull a BTK and just pull the safest guy in the jungle as your pick?
I would definitely consider that, but then again, remember the whole Fredrin Martis thing? Cortese does play Martis mid lane. We've seen that come up before. That could be kind of the wildest matchup that you can expect if we go down the Detective Fredrin route. We just have to kind of see, I think, for CFU, on that blue side, they always love to secure that first pick for themselves. It's very important for CFU on that blue side to get that advantage.
Speaking of blue side, so far the past 2 games, blue side has won.
Yes.
S2G was blue side, BTK was blue side. I wonder if we're going to start seeing a trend as these games move forward. If there is an advantage to it, whether you say it's 55% or so, that could be huge for CFU.
Yeah, I think for NIP Flash here, and one thing I've learned is that the first 2 picks on the red side now aren't as assured of win anymore.
Oh yeah.
That if you rush big time winning picks in the red side as your first 2, the next 2 picks in the blue side to round out the first phase could actually beat those already. So I think maybe that's why we're starting to see blue side starting to rise yet again.
Yeah, and for CFU, they always love to get that flex pick for first pick on blue side. It is sort of the trend right now for every other team out there, but for CFU, it has been their identity.
Yeah, I think to back up that statement, Renmars, it's the fact that the meta is just so wide right now.
Yeah.
There's what we're seeing on the ban table, like the Jushin, the Yves, some of those things. Yes, those are kind of pick or ban, but everything else is still kind of up in the air as we see the Alpha coming in this time. The Lu Yi getting played, to pick that we only saw from a few teams in Wildcard, and we saw for a while just completely drop off the map.
Yeah, and now it's actually getting prioritized by NIP Flash in the very first phase of Red Side. By the way, at M2, OP of Impunity back then battled JPL of EVOS SG in a play-in match where EVOS won 2-0 and secured a playoff spot. So a little bit of a revenge storyline for OP up against the roamer of NIP Flash in JPL.
Yeah, I mean, some vendetta carry through generations, and the fact that Oppie, when he joined CFU, kind of brought him to that trophy after so long, and being able to face up against JPL makes up a storyline on its own. But like, I think we kind of went through how CFU might want to just go for the safest approach. This Valentina is also one of the few picks that you can just take the diversion and play the Loi into the Loi.
Yeah, not to mention they also have to worry about what they're going to pick in response as well and give over the Valentina. Nip Flash, on the other hand, do we take the... do we pick up a marksman here? Do we save it for later? A lot of teams have been willing. We saw it in some of the previous games. They'll let the marksman fall back into the second phase. Once the Bruno's gone, there's still plenty of options, and it's not an easy role to just completely ban out and make them useless.
That's true. Loi Harith is a usual combo alongside an Alpha for really quick snowballing if they want to match that. But yeah, I could also see them not going into the second phase with a gold laner. They show up a Granger, which... No way. No
way he goes jungle, yeah.
No way it goes jungle or anything. Who knows? Who knows with NIP Flash? But as
maybe it'll go mid and they'll put Luigi in the gold or something. Who knows?
No way.
Diablo Granger, right? Who knows?
Or Diablo Granger? EXP? Granger?
Yeah, why not? You know?
Yeah, they can play whatever they want.
Yeah, okay. But let's go into it with a mindset of Alpha Jungle, Mid Low Yi, Gold Granger. So EXP and Roamer is what they're going to be needing.
I think on that red side, high chance NIP Flash just keeps Diablo pick for last, right? He is kind of that X factor. You still have the tank Nadeda if NIP Flash wants to go for that. They're gonna start banning out the junglers to just give Hades a better time, but at the same time, you also don't want that backline dive to threaten
when the body suffers.
So I think CFU, ban out EXP, maybe ban out the Cho here. I like the Benedetta, especially, it makes me think that they want to put this Hylos into EXP, so maybe slow down anything that can really out-rotate that EXP laner. But still, CFU with options, able to flex here on the side of NIP Flash. Do we keep on going into the jungle? They take out the Joy. CFU last ban. Do we take out the Cho here?
Cho or Gatot Gacha, I think, right?
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like taking on the Gatot makes a lot more sense than the Cho. It's a lot more easier to manage, I think, if the Cho goes over to JPL than the Gatot. I don't think Diablo plays the Cho XP either.
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
So if ever, I'd want to see maybe the Roamer for...
Matilda still, good ban.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get Matilda still.
Matilda and Alpha scary. Pair that up as well with the Granger. It's a lot of movement and it's pretty aggressive. So covering their bases. NIP Flash, do they go for something flexible here as well? Like a Gatot that maybe they can still flex and make CFU show their cards first?
Yeah, maybe. That would be a good approach. But there's one pick that my head goes to, and it's a Jawhead for JPL.
That too.
I don't see enough right now to warrant it being picked fourth. If ever they're going to go Jawhead, again, that used to be one of his iconic pickups back in the M3 days, even M2. So if they want to consider that, that's going to really facilitate a snowballing, aggressive style of composition. But they show the Tigreal. Okay, so they go for stability, but giving away a big ticket ultimate to the Valentina of CFU.
Incredibly big ticket. So they do keep Diablo's pick for last. There really isn't too many options left. If they want to go for the Cho, there is still sort of that hero too. You could kind of play this double roam composition.
Need a jungler.
Gacha.
Yeah.
Suyo?
Oh, so,
Suyo's open, right?
Suyo made it all the way to the
Suyo's
last.
still open. Definitely viable. Definitely possible.
Chose me to vanquish the
and I think they go for it. There we go.
And they take the Cho away.
Ooh, they really hammered down. I'm loving the draft of CFU right now, by the way. However, it's my old concern of not enough magic. Hylos and a Valentina together, that's not going to be enough magic damage.
Magic is might.
Yeah, magic is might.
Magic is might.
Yeah, especially we saw it in the last one. I mean, the Low Yi of Hoon was like the highest damage dealer.
Yeah. Rosa as well.
Yeah, Aurora for Rosa. I don't know why. Maybe it's NIP Flash. I'm forced to overthink. I'm thinking they're going to do something crazy with either the Alpha or the TIG.
They have done Loi Paquito before. I'm not sure if Paquito is still a thing in the XP, but it was an NIP Flash special. They go for the CC, so it's a way safer approach.
CC solid. You get to kite against the Hylo. You can kite against the Suyo. You definitely have that possibility. What you lack with that is crowd control, but they make up with that with the Lu Yi and the Tigreal. So I think overall a solid pick.
Oh, I feel like a solid drafts all around. Yes, yeah. All right, cool. NIP Flash versus CFU, best of one. Bring it on, Mirko. What do you guys think?
Welcome back to the caster's desk. I think NIP Flash. I think they're still NIP Flash at the end of the day, so they're sticking with at least bringing in one surprise before we end the draft.
I agree. You know, NIP Flash are amazing.
I mean, you can use or say anything you want. I think.
Hey, I met their owner at MSC. He said it's okay. He said if Mirko says it's okay. Just once though.
He has a pass. I don't think I have that, and I do not want to use that. So I'm going with NIP Flash as we head into the third series of the day. The day has been filled with surprises, upsets even for this match. We've seen our 3 panelists vote for NIP Flash, so let's see how this goes, because CFU, it seems like they're going to stick with that really early game snowball reliant and objective conversion mindset when it comes to playing, especially with the Bruno in their hands for this game.
Oh yeah, I really like CFU Gaming's draft here. I personally would actually go for CFU Gaming's draft here in the way that they actually can control neutral objectives with the Cho, right? Going up against the Alpha, Cho is such a massive pick, and honestly, the Valentina, we didn't expect the Tigreal to come out for NIP Flash with the Valentina already picked up by CFU, but it does seem like here, Lethal's going to go towards CFU. Emblem-wise, it's the weapon mastery for the Bruno. Full tankiness for Wadu here, just wants to be the main frontliner up against NIP Flash.
And I'm only thinking about, like, how will NIP Flash even approach what we already all are expecting from CFU in terms of how they're going to play the early stages of the game? Are they still going to stick with those unexpected rotations and whatnot? Because we also know that at the helm, or with JPL and Curtisi at the helm, they typically really go for the more aggressive rotations. But this is a Cho and a Valentina that we're talking about. You mentioned it earlier. This is a really great mid duo if you're talking about controlling the mid lane.
You can see Detective rotating over again. This is how impressive the Loi is. This is why it's always usually actually contested a lot in the first phase. Didn't really expect CFU to let this go, knowing that CFU really likes the teleports. Back in the day, the chip, the Loi, they actually doubled down on that in their own meta before. In Season 13 of MPLs, we saw the whole chip Loi combo.
Yeah.
LP. Ooh. Shove back. Great Shunpu to escape from that shove.
Yep. So now NIP Flash, they'll be able to set up for this Lord, and this is something we'd probably really expect from them. They're going to play around Hades, really allow him to lead the early stages of the game, but now that Curtisi, he got poked low. Still they get the turtle though, but then...
Yep, Hades going to be caught. Detective finds first blood. JPL locked in with the curtain call, still able to flicker out for now, but OP goes in. Great yin yang reaction. OP with the body block. Diablo walking forward, finding the kill. That's a double for Detective. It's a 2-for-1 trade for now, but remember, NIP Flash did get that turtle.
Yes, they did get that turtle, and they were able to go for what they wanted to after. This is something you'd really expect from NIP Flash, considering the lineup that they have. But here in the top lane, Vanix, he seems to be having a really good time in playing the lane matchup up against Zing. He nearly has to reset after the damage that he's been able to throw out.
Yeah, once you get the ultimate, it's definitely way easier for you to actually win out on the lane, get that poke in with the Dead Sonata. It does seem like, I mean, for Sing, he has to use a slide tackle forward to actually deal out some damage onto the Granger, right? So we haven't seen this a whole lot. Whenever you see the Bruno, apparently the Granger is the pick. It's currently 1-1. We've seen a Bruno win, we've seen a Granger win.
Yep.
Let's see what NIP Flash can do with it, right? Yeah. JPL so far, that's the big problem that we were talking about. When you go for the Tigreal against the Valentina, it was a great ult for Z to take.
And so far, we've been so focused on the mid lane, Mirko. Like, we haven't seen some rotations heading towards the gold lane or the XP lane even. It's more of the gold laners, the XP laners, actually rotating out of their lanes and joining the fights we're seeing in the mid lane. And now there might be another one happening soon, especially as Diablo also finds himself nearby the next upcoming turtle. But OP
Whoa, get in the way and Dragon down. But it's only on the JPL. The burst is there though. Detective makes quick work out of JPL. Was kicked over. 15 seconds for the turtle. So JPL should still be able to spawn in again. He already used the implosion earlier. MLBB Flash, do they want to still contest? That's a diversion. They do want to ride again.
Oh, wait, they detected. Oh, they find him!
And the Spear of Alpha straight into the Yang reaction. Diablo able to get that shut down. Now Sing caught in the Yang reaction again. Hades walking forward, doing some damage, and Sing goes into the Purify. Diablo knocked up by the Jeet Kune Do of Oppi. Great Terrify to combo it down. And MLBB Flash, it looked good, but then CFU recovered.
Yep, the Revitalize was there. It was too much to handle for MLBB Flash, who seemingly really had to commit since they found themselves in a position where they were surrounded by members from CFU Gaming. So instead of supposedly converting that into a turtle, it seems like they'll have to play safe for now. And Curteezy, C finds him in the middle lane.
It's a solo kill in the mid lane, C! Getting that kill over, even with the Purify, Curteezy unable to escape, and with the turtle, this puts CFU in a great position. Let's see, they walk up, Vanix will be able to clear out the wave, C. They stole the implosion, they know Vanix doesn't have the Purify, let's see. Waiting Dragon over to JPL, the implosion catches him, and that's gonna be Zeke looking for it, Vanix, body blocked by Sing! The bullets won't go through, C's able to escape Hades. Now the Spear of Alpha trying to gap close, Wadu will be the sacrificial lamb, but they keep their carries alive.
The body block, you mentioned it! The way CFU Gaming constantly is able to protect their crucial members. They might have to give up this first tier turret in the top lane, but still there's a great trade provided to us here by Detective. That's the mid lane turret we're talking about. And CFU, they'll gain better access towards the map of MLBB Flash. They could potentially scout the members a lot more better. And in terms of scouting, that's something you definitely could rely OP on for. He could just get the information as much as he wants.
Then Shunpu's out, way the Dragon, and so far, I have to give it to OP, man. He's been able to play the Cho really well. We saw the combo almost to get Hades away from the first turtle. Unfortunately, they didn't time it as well, but it's still, I mean, it was a great idea, great execution. Hades is just crazy on the retribution, but then Turtle 2 onwards, you saw the change of prio. OP started to just go onto JPL so that there were no sets available for MLBB Flash to look for onto CFU, and that has created kind of a safe haven, or a safety net rather, for Z and Sing, and yeah, Z always on that implosion. OP.
Okay.
He again goes into the back, finds the way the Dragon. Purify baited out. Now C has it. It's going to be implosion over to two members. Spear of Alpha to actually peel out. C will be able to get the implosion down, but it's only on to JPL. Caught in the midst of it all. Will be taken down by Curteezy. Diablo with vengeance, baiting him into the yin yang reaction. Vanix unable to get the Death Sonata down, and now JPL goes able to shove the diversion to the back line. And Sing goes in with a slide tackle, but now gets caught by the yin yang reaction again. Diablo kiting away. That's the gun down from Vanix as Hades just slashes through them, but Detective walks forward. Now has to dodge away. They gotta play it clean. OP, can he run away? No. Vanix chases him down. Death Sonata, one last shot. Detective walks away.
We saw the sustain from CFU one time, but in terms of these really tricky positions and in moments where they're not exactly at an advantage, it might not be the best idea to pursue these team fights. MLBB Flash, they were able to somewhat kite them towards their farm and their jungle, and they were just able to buy enough time. They were the ones who were able to sustain that team fight and surround CFU Gaming, even using the diversion last minute to actually continue that team fight, which was clearly a win for MLBB Flash. Now they're ahead in terms of gold against CFU Gaming, and they'll probably start to try and engage in more team fights from this point onwards so that they too could actually get some conversions, they could get some objectives, and they definitely want to secure this first Lord for themselves.
I just want to say, you know, for MLBB Flash for Vanix, it just feels like the Granger revamp fits him so well. This pick fits him so well. The old reliable Vanix in the lane who just wants to play safe as well. In this composition, it's so hard to get to Vanix. You bait out the Purify, sure, but you bait out your own Flicker for OP. And then at that time, Z doesn't really have a gap closer to get in. Usually we see maybe a Flicker for the Valentina, but Z has gone for Purify, which is safer, but you can't make those plays. You can't actually dive onto Vanix that easily. There's so much peel for MLBB Flash, and you can see the items building up. Hades just walks in, will be able to Spear of Alpha out of there, knows that there is the reaction and the Death Sonata, the poke that we've seen just last game too. Lo Yi Granger seems to be the combination. Diversion, let's see if they catch him.
Oh.
He's still up top. For the siege onto the turret. They will be able to get the turret.
That's 4 members though. Still CZ.
Oh, good spot out. The yin-yang reaction catches them. The Spirit of Alpha punishes them, and now Hades is caught in the midst of an all-implosion from JPL. Finds 2. Opie can only just run away. Vanix needs one last shot. Opie, 1 HP, gets away. The sole member of CFU who survived the onslaught of NIP Flash.
Nearly a wipeout there for CFU Gaming. And as you mentioned, this is the moment where NIP Flash, instead of playing around Hades, they'll start to make some setups for Vanix, and that's exactly what we've seen. A beautiful rotation dispersion combo followed up by a precise Spear of Alpha. Let's check it out in this instant replay. Catching 2 members immediately. So in as much as Wadu and the rest of the members of NIP Flash tried to go for a counter engage up against CFU Gaming, that was just too much for CFU. They were able to allow Vanix to just really throw all those bullets towards key targets, and they now are actually taking control of this game with the Lord.
It's so much of an advantage with the Lord. The siege potential. You can see the range technically already for Vanix. Another diversion.
Another diversion.
Catch. Sing, you gotta be real careful here. But it's Spear of Alpha from Hades. Oh, he gets the Purify out of time. JPL finds the implosion, and Sing will fall. A yin-yang reaction brings them back. Now without Sing, without Wadu, no frontliner, no main damage dealer, Hades is free to do whatever he wants. Z goes for an implosion, finds Curtizi, but now gets slashed down by Hades. Diablo and Hades, the double D combo is online.
Could this potentially be the fastest game we're about to see this day? They still have 1 minion wave, but Detective and OP, they might still be able to defend this. So they prolong the game a little longer. But this is a difficult spot for CFU Gaming. We know them to be a team who could really hold on to their advantages, but eventually get some slip-ups or some mistakes towards the late game whenever they already have the advantage in their hands. But this is a different scenario. They're actually behind. They weren't able to capitalize as much on their early game. They were able to for a moment, but NIP Flash just immediately turned things around.
It's the fastest level 15, apparently. There you go. We got some fun facts for you guys. Hades gets it. Another implosion. Red out. JPL gets the implosion again. Brings him all the way back. Sing. So able to slide tackle forward. Now Hades can be kicked in by the way to Dragon. And it's a full combo onto Hades. Somehow he's still alive though. What? The Worldie will finally bounce onto him. And Sing gets the shutdown. Hades 4Z.
There's a minute left before the next Lord, and I doubt that it would be that felt for NIP Flash, but still we see how they cannot afford to still make some mistakes up against this lineup of CFU Gaming. At that moment, Wadu was well prepared to actually block the members of NIP Flash, and he saw the attempt coming in from NIP Flash. So we've seen consistent diversion plays here for Curtizi. Majority of them were really successful, but at this point in time where you're this much ahead, you really cannot afford to make those mistakes, which would give those opportunities to CFU Gaming.
CFU are just trying to look for trades at this point of the game, right? And NIP Flash, any sort of trade, whenever they want to walk off their base, they got to think of diversions. Right. Where is the diversion gonna go? Where's Curtizi gonna go? Oh, it's just so tough at this point. They have frontliners who can engage. They have Diablo as a secondary damage dealer who is very tanky.
Yeah.
Anti-Chris Winter Crown.
Yeah, actually earlier I was thinking there were so many sources of engage for NIP Flash. Like there are a lot of members who could go in first, but now that they were able to take hold of some Winter Crowns, I'm expecting a lot more playmaking here for NIP Flash, but who will be the ones to make the play? Because CFU, they take control of the Lord pit!
Oh, Z went for the implosion, but Hades goes in for the fight. They get the Lord, but now they're going to lose out. JPL, that's an implosion. Not able to connect now, but it's going to be Wadu caught in the bad spot. Vanix almost taken out by Sing. He wants to go back in. Sing, you mad lad! Oh my goodness! Slide tackles forward, gets the kill! Almost kites away! Detective, he needs one last shot. Vanix and Diablo are so low, but they managed to get away.
Okay, that was a series of unexpected events for both sides. The implosion did not necessarily connect onto Sing, or at least he was able to purify out of it, so he was able to reposition himself and find key targets from NIP Flash. And that very brave play we saw from him potentially could have been a really huge game changer if not for that evil queller from Detective, which really did not connect to those members of NIP Flash who were really low on HP. So now they'll have at least a complete 5-man lineup to defend this incoming Lord, and CFU Gaming may not be able to take an inhibitor turret out of this.
It was a greedy play, man. It was a gamble to play. Sing wanted to go for the slide tackle, perhaps. If he got one last shot onto Vanix, or if Detective got that arrow shot, it would have changed a lot of things, but the gamble so far hasn't paid off. And NIP Flash, they're forced back again. The Lord Advantage will get them a few turrets here and there. It'll be a tier 2 in the bottom lane, so at least the gold lead won't be as big, right? We're getting into that equilibrium point for both these teams. I think it's back to what we saw in game 1. Yeah. It's a scaling battle, and then in that case, who actually scales better? I'm confused, right? The Bruno and the Granger. Technically, you have more bullets with the Granger, but you do a bit more damage with the crits. OP finding the way to Dragon, baiting on the Purify now. As C walks up, Cortese's gonna fall. Sing's able to cut away, but the guns comes down. Good body block from Detective. Sing almost slashed down by Hades. That's what revitalizes. Vadu goes in. Z is able to shut some damage. Implosion, catching Vanix, but it's a good Purify, and JPL will do the same. Now one last step Sonata is what Vanix needs. He comes in with a Rhapsody to take 2 down. Sing going in, baited in by the winner crown. Vanix with the win of nature and a triple to end the fight on. Detective running away, and NIP Flash should be happy with the fight.
I don't know if that answers our question, because in some ways it did seem like it was an unexpected team fight here, which just suddenly happened out of the blue for our teams. There wasn't really an accurate setup coming in from CFU Gaming, and it seemed like even the IMU, or the implosion that was copied here by Z, was just used to actually prevent the members of NIP Flash from chasing down the other members of CFU Gaming. So it was a really reactive team fight that we've seen from both sides. And could this be a question that we really have to ask ourselves? Like, who will be, or who should be more careful at this point? Because there has been a lot of little mistakes that both teams have been able to really capitalize on from each other.
It's all about the punishments, and this time NIP Flash read into that, right? We saw CFU Gaming, they were able to sneak out a Lord earlier by just having more control around the Lord pit. NIP Flash got a bit too comfortable with the diversion. Now though, Mardo's walking up with the glorious pathway. JPL catches 2. The Spear of Alpha gets them out. OP though. In the back is going to be Detective doing a lot of damage onto the back line. JPL low. Vanix able to get the godlike down. Detective with a dive. Gets caught by the in-air reaction, and Sing takes him down. It's a big shutdown. That was an 8-kill bounty.
JPL
Z is hunting for JPL. That's a shove, that's a conceal, and an escape, but they will concede the Lord to CFU.
It seems like we've been asking who could actually take advantage of these really close team fights, these 5-on-5 team fights a lot more. And you would think immediately, probably Cortese, probably all those yin-yang reactions, but CFU Gaming at that moment, even though they also lost Detective, even though they lost Wadu, they were able to force NIP Flash out of that Lord pit. They now have the Lord in their hands, and they just have to be really extra careful this time, because CFU Gaming, they cannot afford to make mistakes. This is the second opportunity that they've had to actually crack NIP Flash's base open.
And now we question the siege, or maybe the defense even from NIP Flash. They have what it takes to actually defend this. The vengeance will be up for Diablo. Cortese should have to Purify back up, but if CFU Gaming just try to push in the pace, it's gonna be real tough. Z steals away the implosion. JPL doesn't have that big playmaking tool, but you can see the poke already from Vanix. That's a charge into the bottom lane. That base switch should be falling down. Sing very low, the OP! Finding the way to Dragon! Cortese is down. Vanix on the back line. Z gets an implosion! That was 3 members caught in it, but Vanix is free. Now hitting onto OP with a Rhapsody. That's a double Detective. Gets the Soul Sever. NIP Flash fighting for dear life. Sing able to kite away. It's a wipeout! NIP Flash have fallen, and CFU Gaming continues the upset route.
This day has been insane! Surprises, upsets here and there, and CFU Gaming, they've shown us their growth, just how prepared they are coming into this match against a team who you could not really know how to prepare against, who you would supposedly expect endless surprises from, but they just take them out and take the series.
3 matches, 3 upsets. This is the Swiss stage. This is the best of one.
I cannot believe this is how we're starting day number 1. Let's head it over back to our panel and let them break this down for us.
Like we told you, it's a much better story, isn't it? With a lot of us predicting that NIP Flash would take the win here. Here comes CFU of Cambodia, showing that they deserve to be in this spot and getting that victory. Husky, you mentioned something to me. You said it really looked like CFU did their homework.
Oh yeah, they definitely did. I think CFU, in that drafting phase, you look at the first phase ban, right? They banned the Khalid, which is the cornerstone for NIP Flash. You know, Diablo loves playing the Khalid. We've seen JPL do that every once in a while, but JPL prefers a more pick-off style, right?
Yeah.
Then they take the Cho away from JPL. And then they also take out the Benedetta, which is a pick usually you don't really ban against much teams, but Diablo in particular is great on that hero. So CFU not only came prepared, they also forced NIP Flash into a draft where NIP Flash are forced to play more as a team instead of those pick-up comps and allow CFU to be on the aggressive end.
Real quick reaction from you, Trex. Surprised? How do you feel?
I mean, I've learned my lesson. Whatever you guys vote for, don't vote for.
Come on.
Rule number 1 of casting with these two. And you've now tarnished my record. But hey, we're still here.
All right, let's go on over to the stage with a quick word from a member of CFU.
A day filled with surprises. Just the third round of our Swiss stage, and teams are already getting to each other left and right. Games are getting very, very intense. Now with me here, we have OP from CFU. First of all, how are you? We could see that it was a comeback game. NIP Flash was literally leading. They were near your base. How are you? How did you guys manage to fight back and push back to win that game?
I'm good. I'm confident with my goal laner. He led game, he must fire.
So the fire was there for Bruno just now.
Yeah, I trust him so much.
You trust him so much. I think that's very important because we need to trust our teammate, right, OP? Okay, now OP. The last time you were in the M series, it was M2, and now it's M6. How do you feel to be back on the world stage?
I'm thinking feel good because M2 I never win. I think in M2 I got 0 point.
Oh, in M2 you got 0 points.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that you're back, what do you have to say to the Cambodian fans? Maybe a promise on how CFU will be doing this time around in this M series?
ជាដំបូងមកខ្ញុំអរគុណទៅដល់ fan នៅខ្មែរទាំងអស់ខ្ញុំអរគុណខ្លាំងមែនតើអ្នកទស្សនាតាមការ live stream ហើយអ្នកមើលផ្ទាល់អរគុណច្រើនមែនតើហើយខ្ញុំសង្ឃឹមថាអ្នកនរគ្នានឹងគ្រប់គ្រងពួកខ្ញុំបន្តទៀតពួកខ្ញុំនឹងខំប្រឹងអស់ពីសមត្ថភាពអ្វីដែលពួកខ្ញុំធ្វើបានខ្ញុំនឹងធ្វើជូនខ្មែរទាំងអស់
So he said that he thankful for all the fans that keep supporting him or watching live or watching over here, and also yes, he will keep doing their best and try the hardest for the national.
All right, thank you very much to OP. An amazing game. I think we could see how intense it was. It is now time to throw it back to the panel to break down what happened in this game. Can a panel take it away?
Thank you, Rose, and of course, congratulations again to CFU. A lot to break down here because it was a big back and forth. It looked like it was gonna be on the road to being a little bit more one-sided with CFU having a better early game, but then suddenly here comes NIP Flash, and then it just became a big back and forth of. I think the word that we use here is brawl, and that's not me undermining their performance. It was just a very fight-heavy game. And I think the lineups actually called for it because of the drafts that we had with, especially in the roams and the jungles that we have, fights are expected generally. Yeah.
I think overall it's just NIP Flash. They had that better start, right? Like Kurtisi was actively using that diversion to kind of get these off-tempo plays. First it was pickoffs, and then suddenly he was using it mid-fight to kind of catch up to CFU and pick off stragglers. But again, it's the same issue, the same hurdle that NIP Flash needs to get over from the series we watched just now. Or actually, no, the first one, when there was a Bruno on the other end, is how do you reach the Bruno, right? And NIP Flash at one point just didn't have the reach to get to Sing.
And even when they did, he had the Purify, right? He had the possibilities to still kind of get out of whatever the Tigreal brought, get out of maybe, you know, the get out of the proccing the
yin yang.
That's not the duality. That's the name of the passive. Getting out of the duality and just being able to continuously backstep. And the final cherry on that is that number 6 item, which didn't really come in until towards the end there. He gets the Wind of Nature, he's able to juggle it along with the Immortality, which gives him even more sustainability in these team fights where he can actually pop off.
Yeah, but then as we went on a little bit longer, we started to see the strengths now of NIP Flash. Again, for CFU, they have a roam mid combo that shines with the micro pokes. But then for the side of NIP Flash is for the big wombo combos, and that's where they were able to get their victories. Although for better or for worse, let's focus on the combination of Courtesy and Hades with the low E diversion and the Spear of Alpha from Hades.
Yeah, and it's the Spear of Alpha is always a very good tool. If not for damage, it's for crowd control.
Evolve very new there. So for our Latin American fans, or maybe fans of Argentina and Maycam Evolve, share with the people in the comment section what you know about the team, so that everyone else around the world gets to know them better. Because yes, they were the Imperio Esports lineup from Wildcard that popped up, and they also at one point they didn't go through the NTT7 route, but yeah, there's also a few members there who has international experience. I believe Marquinho. So Maycam Evolve, I feel like they have a good amount of experience internationally. Nothing compared to like Team Spirit, of course, but they might have enough to just cross them on over to the next stage of their evolution as competitors in the global scene. It's the draft now. Let's see. Again, the biggest question is the YSS of Maycam Evolve actually gonna come through?
We'll see. We will see. I mean, we're still halfway through unboxing this box of meta that we're in. We're pulling out the styrofoam peanuts right now. We'll see what else is in there. I don't know if the YSS is, but for Husky's sake, I hope so. Into the bans, though. Suyo is going to get banned out first here.
Lui as well. It's been a staple in that mid lane. 2 out of 3 games picked. But I do also want to see a bit of diversity in that gold lane. If Bruno makes it through, it's going to be a first phase pick for sure. It has been the same matchup in Go, in fact, for all past 3 games. Bruno into Granger.
Yeah. Real quick, we also have to mention that Maycam Evolve, they are used to playing under a Swiss format, as the MPL LATAM Season 2 was under that format. So this is nothing new for Maycam Evolve. That they just have to think of it as, just imagine we're playing at home, but against the world's best.
Another thing to mention about LATAM is, it is essentially the whole country playing. It is multiple different, or the whole continent playing with multiple countries.
Yes.
So it's essentially a small international. They're very comfortable on big stages. They're very comfortable against multiple different regions. And yeah, so they should be ready for this.
Yeah. And they decide to go with Comfort, a very stable first pick. Nothing too crazy right now. They got the Gata Kacha. Again, the flex option is always available for that one. You'll just adjust it based on the matchup that you see.
Yeah, usually the Khalid Cho or Valentina +1 would be a response on the red side. We've seen, I think, Ofanar went for the Bruno as well in the first phase on red. See if that's going to be the case. So, Hylos Alpha.
Yeah, I mean, with the Suyo gone, the Alpha is one of the next best things to come up. The thing about the Cho is we don't really see Sawo on it that much. It's not a popular pick for him. But on the other hand, Kid Bomba can play it, so it could be something that we could see flexed over if...
Whoa! We get it. We get
Bow down to Husky.
Bow down to Husky.
Bow down to
Thank
Husky.
you, Aurora.
We got it.
Maycam Evolve.
And you know, honestly, I was thinking that they wouldn't even consider it, because High Loss and Alpha, when I think about it, it's like, oh, would I want to be a YSS here? But apparently Aurora says, yes.
Yes. He says YSS.
Yes.
So where do we go from here, right? What does Team Spirit do? We saw Ruby Way earlier. Could be something that could be decent against a YSS. Also the Cho, any kind of real frontline CC that can catch him when he tries to dash in. You want to really try to hook him, hold him in for just a second, and take him out.
There's one that I can think of, actually 2, but one I prefer, either the Kaja or Franco. If you want suppression, right, that could be a choice. We've seen another option that the Mongols pulled up in the wildcards, which is the Baraz XP, although that one is a lot less favorite. But when you talk about long range, Beatrix is kind of the next in line after the Bruno.
As we look into the bans now for the second phase of Team Spirit, with them picking the Beatrix, they get to match Marksman for Marksman. You still have the picks of Fashion up in the air. Faramis is one of its noteworthy pickups, and honestly, with a team mid to late game team fighting comp with a double Marksman, YSS, and Bruno, Faramis would actually slot in very well with their lineup.
Throws a Cho ban though. On the EV side, they still need to ban out a possible roamer, possible EXP laner, and a mid laner. But they need a mid laner, so both teams kind of in this position right now where they have to think about what they're banning, and I think in more of a sense look for trades. And with Team Spirit getting the first pick after this second phase of bans, they kind of have an advantage.
One thing that Team Spirit can do is... Oh no, excuse me, they already have the alpha, so they're not going to be looking for a jungler. I almost got excited about that. But let's see. They get creative with their EXP lane picks, honestly. They've shown that they are willing to consider heroes such as Akai in the EXP, even Belleric in the EXP lane, something that they showed up. But with Maycam Evolve, seeing that there is no 100% pick yet for Sawa, they took away the Matilda, one of his best.
I mean, if you see that there are two marksmen on the enemy side, and you know both of them are relatively short range, well, probably a Malefic Gun for Bruno. Big setter like a Terizla could be considered as well if you're Kid Bomba, since there is still that a high loss flex on up in the air. Though a wild one would be the Savo Diggy. I know I'm asking for too much. You know, we've already got YSS, but
I think since Team Spirit is banning out roamers right now and willing to go head-to-head with all the roam bans, I think they're showing that this Hylos is most likely staying roam. I think at this point it's EXP lane for both sides, but I think they hold that EXP lane until last pick to try to maybe get some counterplay in there. So mid laner coming up is my guess, and they go for the Valentina.
All right. Now for Maycam, Aurora slots into their lineup incredibly well with the high loss, the alpha, with how close range Valentina would get. That just means you're going to be giving the Frigate Glacier to the Valentina of Team Spirit, but at this point I take it. Good amounts of crowd control. You don't need to chase damage for your mid laner. You already have lots of damage with the YSS and Bruno. You just need to help set up that damage.
It's about the utility, right? Again, you talk about the Faramis, that could be an option too, but I personally would prefer a bit more control so that Aurora looks quite nice for Maycam.
What was that?
That's
Aurora. That's Aurora.
Aurora?
The KOF.
That's a KOF skin.
That's a KOF skin. I was like, what is that noise?
Yeah, every time I hear that, I'm always thinking Kagura. Oh wait, no. It'll be Aurora.
Aurora.
Yeah, and Phoveus is there. Phoveus. Interesting. Maybe because Team Spirit doesn't... No, but into the Alpha and the Beatrix, Phoveus might actually be quite sad here.
Yeah, I mean, it's something. It's a frontliner. I think you can go toe-to-toe at least with Hylos, but the problem is I think when you're up against the Hylos, you want to try to... Your advantage is the rotation because he's a slow hero. So if you can outspeed, that's the goal. But you kind of lose that picking up the Phoveus. So, but you still get this box. You get a nice protection for YSS. You get a nice protection for Aurora and Bruno. Last pick, Glue for the side of TS.
All right, real quick, how are we feeling about the draft? Maybe the biggest question mark for me right now is the Phoveus of Maycam Evolve, and Team Spirit. It looks like they wanted that Glue because Kid Bomba, he was calling the shots at the end of that draft.
Yeah, I think you got to be able to peel away from the front line from TS.
All right, let's toss it over back to Brigida and Mirko to call game number 4 of today.
We're nearly halfway through the first round of the Swiss stage, and I must say, we're seeing quite a pattern happen for the first few matches. I don't know anymore what to expect for this upcoming match.
It's been a route full of upsets, right? In day number 1 of Swiss stage, and to be fair, we kind of expected best of ones to be bombastic, volatile. I think we've gotten more than our fair share of volatile or volatility. But then we see Maycam Evolve. No, we haven't had enough. It's time for Aurora to make his debut on M6 on a Yisun Shin.
I think this is way more than innovative, but we're about to head into game number 4 between the former M5 Dark Horse and the new gem of Latam. So let's see who will be taking the upper hand this time around, or will the upset still proceed to happen for the 4th series in a row?
Let's see if the volatility continues here with the picks as well, man. Aurora, I would love to see more picks like this. Just signature picks all around for all you guys to get. But there's something signature that you guys can get too. It's the M6 Pass that's available from the 18th of November all the way to the 29th of December. Go get it right now, boys, because you guys can actually complete all active tasks during the event to reach level 75 for free.
Yep, you get a lot of amazing rewards. You get Claude's Battle Emote, M6 Glory Avatar Border, a lot in store for you, and even the Prime skins, of course. You don't want to miss that. And the figurine. Like, you saw it in the panel area. If you haven't, just check it later on. But there's a Claude figurine you could also claim for yourself if ever you reach the maximum level. So now we're heading back into Make 'em Evolve versus Team Spirit. Another thing I like to bring up was how you mentioned the trend of the teams who were put in the blue side, right?
Yeah.
And right now it's Make 'em Evolve who's also on the blue side.
Hey man, they have a lot of things against them. Like Spirit, they're on red side, 0% win rate. They're also against the Mirror Curse somehow. So I don't know, man. It's a tough job for them, especially because right now Aurora is doing a good job at farming, and Super Nahuel with Marquinhos. We were looking at these picks. We were thinking about, all right, how are they going to set up for the Yi Sun-shin? It's so far been get Prio in lane, rotate over to give space for Mr. Aurora.
Yep, farming has been the focus for the first few minutes of Make 'em Evolve, and I'm not entirely sure if you'd want to let them freely do that if you were Team Spirit. At least I'd expect some sort of disruption coming in from their side, especially with the glue in their hand, so I'm assuming that we're bound to see a very chaotic team fight take place later on, but it seems like Make 'em Evolve, they're really sticking with that idea. They just want to go for the farming in the early stages of the game, and so they'll just let Team Spirit take the early objectives for themselves.
It's the calm before the storm. We're going to have a lot of calmness in the early game.
Right.
Team Spirit, they have such a massive advantage when it comes to just neutral objectives, right? That's an alpha. They have the glue, the Hylos. So, Prio, for sure. For Make 'em Evolve, they got a Yi Sun-shin, so it's all really about farming for him. So as long as Nahuel is able to get some space for Aurora, and as long as Aurora continues to farm this way, I think Make 'em Evolve are actually pretty happy with the trades. Turtle for farm.
Yep. Could this be potentially the game where we find our first blood, the longest
first blood?
First blood? I don't know, because we're seeing the tempo being very, very slow, and these teams just being very, very patient. So it's not impossible that they don't really choose to go for a team fight, not unless Kid Bomba, Kid Bomba, but Make 'em Evolve, they're just really avoidant of all the team fights in the early stages of the game.
That's a first item Melfic gun for Hiko. Marquinhos walking up, Kid Bomba with flicker, slap, pass, finding him back. Session still able to flicker out to safety with the Frigid Glacier to stun Kid Bomba down. But there will not be a full initiation. Hiko will get the double wave in the mid lane, shoving it in and getting a few good shots onto the turret.
Yeah, so Team Spirit, they have their own ways of also making sure that they get the necessary farm. And you're right, they get the Malefic gun priority here for Hiko, but Yurikotsu really just wants to go for all that sustain and that potential extended or long team fights we might be seeing later on, because as we're seeing it right now, nothing's really happening just yet between these two teams. So I'm starting to believe this might really be the longest game before we see our first blood.
I think that's fair. This is the battle of farm so far. I mean, for Make 'em Evolve it is. For Team Spirit, it's all about just playing their game too. It's neutral objective control, waiting for the mid-game power spike, and maybe that's why Hiko went for Melfic gun. He just wants to clear the way faster with more range. Yeah, you can actually be in a safer distance when you actually go for the shot. So Prio over the Turtle for Team Spirit. Hiko's already on it. He's the one leashing the Turtle. One shot will be able to just take it away. They don't even need to go for the Retribution. But they're not going to be able to use the Retribution to invade anyways. Make 'em Evolve already cleared out the entire top side of the jungle.
And I'm wondering, what are the trades that are in mind for Make 'em Evolve? What are their plans heading into the next few minutes of this game? Because they haven't been really getting the trades. They haven't been really contesting these objectives. But this might be the first attempt towards an engage for both sides. Bennett's Rage also committed. But then the only priority for Make 'em Evolve is to defend. And this is the trade that they're probably talking about.
This is why he went for the Melfic gun. It's all about getting the shots outside of turret range. Aurora getting a lot of gold though in the bottom lane. That was a trade-off. Spirit still has the gold lead, so it's not really that massive, but man, the sieging potential on Hiko, he's not stopping.
No way. Could this be a better way to brute force our way in? But Aurora! So, okay, 5 minutes in.
Clock it in.
We get our first blood.
First blood in 5 minutes. Clock it in. I don't know if that's the longest first blood in M6. It probably is, right? At M6 so far, but in all-time M series? We'll have to check again. Team Spirit are doing a good job. They punish Aurora somehow. I think that was a split.
Oh no, oh no.
Range! Oh, Fashion loses the passive instantly. Sawo has her revitalized. The Mountain Shocker comes down, but Team Spirit, it just tickles them. One shot. The orange buff was to secure the... the Mountain Shocker secured the orange buff. I think Aurora got it with the ult.
He still got it. And
W-Mans, I guess.
He didn't use his retribution either way, but could this mean that Makeup Evolve, they're just really trying to wait for those potential counter engages that they'll be doing up against Team Spirit? Because I think we slowly have to acknowledge that Team Spirit, they're really trying to play this aggressively. They know that farming is the idea for Makeup Evolve, but as you've mentioned, it seems like there's just this abuse of the Malefic gun that's happening right now. This tier 1 turret might just fall down, but then... Okay, the damage is also there. Forces out the Revitalize.
We saw the Granger versus Bruno. Now we're seeing Hiko on the Beatrix just going for turrets. Going for turrets, man, with the Malefic gun. Turtle number 3 will spawn in the game. 3,000 gold lead in 1 kill.
Yep, that's a super fast wave clear we're seeing also. And they might just continuously transition from one lane to another.
The double snipe landing. Fashion will fall. And Sunset Lover is the one who picks up the kill as he steals away the Frigid Glacier. And all in that time, Spirit was able to get one shot over to the Turtle to solo it. Now it's a 1 level lead for one shot. And we can finally see the goal difference. 1.7k on Hiko.
No way.
That's the range advantage.
And if Team Spirit just continue with this, they're gradually going to decrease the areas where Makeup Evolve can look for their farm, and that's not going to be a good sign. Definitely not going to be a good sign if that's the entire idea, or if they just really want to hold everything out until the moment they know they're capable of fighting. Because Team Spirit, it seems like they're also very disciplined with whichever kinds of team fights they try to look after in terms of this point of the game. So they seem like they really want to force this mid lane turret. Will they attempt? Okay, that's still the defense from Makeup Evolve.
Literally a pure siege. Spirit they're playing with their catapult. Hiko is the catapult to their siege. Everybody else is just posturing up. They're letting Hiko throw those catapults down and slowly but surely tear down the castle of Makeup Evolve. And so far, the king of Makeup Evolve in this metaphor, Aurora, I don't think he's at a point of is this a power spike, war axe? I don't think so. I don't think it's enough just yet to go for fights.
Yep, and he's 2 levels behind of one shot.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things to consider for Makeup Evolve. Clearly, trades might be the way to go for them, but Team Spirit, they really want this mid lane control.
Fashions already going to be cut off there. AOG, great usage of the split, and Bamba just flickers out. Hiko, the catapult keeps on catapulting. Look at that. A lot of the boulders coming down. Ooh, Yurakatsu toned away. And it's all about hitting it right now. Hitting the turret slowly but surely. Hiko, you're going to get it one day. 1, 2, 3. There you go.
I mean, shouldn't be such an easy task for like Team Spirit. I mean, there have been adjustments to turrets recently. They really increased like the turret defense whenever there aren't any enemy minions within range. But then Team Spirit, they just constantly force these objectives. I don't think it's even considered as converting objectives because they're just forcing the objectives.
They're just sieging it out. Now it's another neutral objective. It's a clean game for Team Spirit. 2-0, full control around the map. One Shot might actually live up to his name here. He's 3 levels ahead. He might be able to one-shot Aurora by the end of the game. It's a crazy lead. And Yurokotsu, I don't think he can actually melt down anyone right now, right? He still has to wait for a few more items. Not even Berserker's Fury yet. So they're getting suffocated really hard right now, just from the siege potential.
Yeah, and they might no longer be able to take hold of these buffs, not unless they really try and help Aurora, but there's the Avatar of the Guardian.
Sunset Lover got caught there by the Son of the Eastern Shin. That's going to be a trade 1-for-1. Marquinhos falling. Super Nahuel, though. You already used the AOG earlier. Kid Bamba able to zone them away. What was that? Hiko just shot him down with a Bennett. Crazy range. It's a sniper at this point.
And it feels like it just goes out so fast. Like all of those bullets from Hiko, he's just spamming it onto the necessary targets, onto the turrets, onto the members who are just even slowed down a bit. And I think it works well, right? If Saul just uses the Glorious Pathway in such a way where it slows down the members of Makeup Evolve, that's just a lot more easier for Hiko to target them down, even using the Bennett. That's not usually the way you see the Beatrix trying to take on the targets. You want the more secure Nibiru or like even super close range.
My goodness!
no.
Yurakatsu almost got 3-shotted. Hiko, you should have got Sky Piercer, man. That would have been a kill. That's 1 stack down. 2 shots got him that low, man.
Oh no, this is a 10k gold lead. Almost a 10k gold lead.
They gotta go in. Hiko pops in a better range. He's a bit too ahead for them to survive. And Sunset Lover's the one who picks up the kills. Oh, it's just nasty from Team Spirit. Now with a shot, he gets it. Threading the needle, fashion. Oh, don't escape. Sunset Lover will be punished by Yurakatsu. But the base turret in the bottom lane has fallen, and Team Spirit, they are showing no signs of stopping this ridiculous siege.
All I can say, Team Spirit, they're really setting records now for the first day of the Swiss stage, taking down 2 out of 3 inhibitor turrets in 11 minutes. And still, they have that respect for Mayhem Evolve. They're not going to force things as much. There's clearly discipline from their side, and they're playing this in a really, really great manner. They're just so clean in terms of execution.
The execution has just been clinical from Team Spirit. They have... This is literally a siege. You just starve your opponents to death, man. They can't even walk out their base. Finally, they get to. By the way, like... thank goodness they do, Aurora. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
That's the clearest pathway to slow him down. Oh, it's the Fear of Alpha. It's not a one-shot, but... Hey, it's Aurora down. That's a win for them. 3 seconds for the Lord, too. I don't know if Team Spirit even want to go for the Lord. They might just go for the end.
And that was the only time that they tried to go out for a bit, and it was not a great sight for them. Out of the Guardian, knocks upon!
AOG to his demise. Now in the backline, Sawa just zoning them around. It's the Infernal Pursuit, but Hiko loves the Infernal Pursuit. That's the Bennett to deal with it. Look at the range. Yurakatsu zone, Fashion zone. Yurakatsu gets a kill. The horse is down. But can they keep this up? Fashion, does he have it? Now Hiko's walking up. He does have the win of nature. The Spirit of Alpha comes down and Fashion just gets deleted. Aurora will be next. One shot is doing it in the back line, zoning the 2 marksmen away. And look at Hiko. He's just going for the damage onto the base without the minions even. The Bennett's rage will be able to capture Yurakatsu. He walks into it. A quick game for Team Spirit as they just suffocated Mayhem Evolve.
Ended the game in less than 13 minutes and set records for this day. It seems like Team Spirit really came into the series well prepared, and they're gonna celebrate that victory. They're gonna switch things up a bit for the first day of the Swiss stage.
Finally, we get a red side victory. Finally, we get a favorite victory. It's all been about the underdogs. But Team Spirit from EECA, they got it done. It was up against 2 Auroras, technically, you know?
Yeah.
Like the double Aurora setup. Aurora the hero, Aurora the player with the Yi Sun Shin. I thought it could work. I thought the volatility could work, you know, could maybe curveball their way to a win. Unfortunately, Spirit were so calm, so composed.
We're yet to see more from the new Gem of the Town. For now, let's break things down together with our panel.
After 3 straight surprises for the Swiss stage, suddenly here comes the stronghold of EECA saying, you know what, let's bring things a little bit more closer to the reality that we expected. Dominating from Team Spirit, the champions of EECA against Mayhem Evolve. I'm a lot lost for words. I'm flabbergasted with how fast that was.
Yeah, I mean, dominating feels like an understatement. Right? It was a landslide. It felt like from the get-go, Team Spirit already got half the game, half their foot through the door. And when we just look at the first half of the game, it's pretty much confirmed that Team Spirit is going to walk away with a win.
Yeah, went from a big YS yes to a why no no. Please no.
No, yeah. I think that's close to the mental inner monologue that we're going to be hearing from Aurora and Mayhem Evolve. Hopefully we get to see them bounce back, but now it's time for Team Spirit's shining moment and interview on the stage.
One of the first fan favorites to win today, and of course, one of the fastest games also today.
Game's been hot.
It's been spicy. So Vamos versus Twisted Minds. Look, Vamos respecting the Matilda, and I know we still have room in the meta to actually rush Cho blue side.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very few teams have done it, but it is doable. Vamos actually did flex the Cho before back in MPL MY. It didn't go their way though. Smooth was uncomfortable at that point of time, but if they have practiced with it more, I think it's a very solid first pick for Vamos.
And I think banning out the Matilda shows that that is definitely a possibility here, right? Taking away some movement for Twisted Minds and then bringing in some of their own. Hilda also getting banned out. Twisted Minds last ban. Yeeve's still open. I think it's a major ban here.
Yeah. All right. I would actually appreciate a long-range mage ban here, as you mentioned, Eve. I'd like to see that considered by Twisted Minds, but no teams would actually want to rush Eve. Surprisingly enough, though, it might be difficult what would follow after if you decide to pick Eve as one of the first 2 picks red side.
Yep.
Still could be counterable, but maybe something Twisted Minds would want to consider.
Yeah, and you look at Warlord's hero pool, it's actually very huge, right? If he wants, he plays a lot of Valentina, but if you want more utility, there's always Faramis. If you want long range, he plays Farsa and Sicilian, which is one of the pocket picks that Vamos does go for.
Yeah, they go for the trade. They're going for the trade. So maybe give up Cho and get the Eve and something else, or give up the Eve and get the Cho and something else. Suyo still open. I mean, Suyo banned out. Alpha still open. Chip though. First pick Chip.
And we get Chip. And Soren, if I'm not mistaken, was one of the first players to play it.
He's a
once it was available. Fun fact, by the way, happy birthday to Nets. It's his 20th birthday. IOI, round of applause and make some noise for Nets. Happy birthday, Nets!
So you get the birthday buff.
Birthday buff.
It's a birthday buff.
All right, next picks on the side of Twisted Minds here. Like we said, we got the Eve open, we got the Cho open, but now we have to think about this Chip and how we're going to deal with it. Do we go for the Lu Yin? Or do we just
match it?
Like big AoEs, you know?
Ruby would be a decent answer. Tigreal.
Yeah.
Something that once they're on you, you're ready for it.
Gato Gacha is also not that bad. You got Bruno with quote-unquote the Wally. It'd be an AoE as well. What is this? So Zorn claims he could recall 5,000 times if Moonton had a
In
track
one
gun.
match.
In one match, 5,000 times. So there's this running joke, right? There's this inside joke. We say that you know that Vamos respects you, the lesser they recall. The lesser Zorn recalls, the more respect he's giving to you.
My question to you, is it respect or fear?
Oh.
Don't
talk about fear.
But they did say respect.
Yeah, they did say respect.
They did say respect. Yeah. All right. So respect from Vamos to their opponents if we don't see Zorn recall a lot. But this first 3 picks doesn't show respect. It shows we're going to dominate you.
And those first 3 picks also, first time they've been picked today.
Yeah.
These are all new picks right now to the Swiss stage. We have not seen the Nolan, we have not seen the Harith, and we have not seen the Chip.
You're right.
Which is pretty cool. The fact that Vamos are coming in and already heavily switching things up. Even their bans with banning out the Matilda, just kind of showing the possibilities in the meta right now.
Especially that Nolan, right? It was what gave Chibi the record of the highest global GPM before Skylar overtook him last season. So he still plays number 2, and Nolan is one of the fastest clearing junglers in the entire game. You give him an inch, he will take a mile.
Yeah, everything about the first 3 picks of Vamos just say speed. We rotate and get around the map fast. We scale up our gold laner fast. Our jungler rotates fast. That for the side of Twisted Minds, it's now the question of can you actually match that? Because one of the reasons why Chip has been constantly bad, even though he did get nerfed, was with how difficult it makes for the opposing team to actually catch up and farm.
Yeah, there are very few heroes in the game that completely changes the dynamics of a team composition and how you play against it, right? Chip is one of them, thanks to the portal. He can bring his whole family with him if he wants with a shortcut. But Tilda is another one. So I think in this case, most teams that try to match the tempo of Vamos have unfortunately failed, but with Twisted Minds draft, it feels like you have to with the Joy.
Yeah, I mean, with Twisted Minds draft right now, we're heavily leaning into mid-game right now, and they're going to have to be ready for the onslaught of Vamos that is heading at them at the level 4 spike for essentially all 3 of the first heroes they hit, right? Level 4 looks good on all of them. First turtle, second turtle looks good on all of them. Last ban coming in from the side of Vamos here. Is that Yves going to get taken out?
I'm thinking the same as well.
I feel like there's one pick that Vamos should consider banning. Not the Eve. Sicilian.
Sicilian
would be the best mid laner right now that could hold on. They banned an EXP laner.
They banned Phobius.
Okay,
I mean,
makes sense.
Dashes.
Harith and Nolan. But Twisted Minds, this roster competed in IESF a few weeks back, and they play a very mean Sicilian around Cuffin. So I feel like they can replicate that. and just accept that this early to mid game might not go their way and just turtle it out for the mid to late for when the Sicilian hits their power spikes.
Vamos can still continue to add more tempo, more nitro to the draft with like a Faramis, right? If you really want to go fast and hard, you want that extra layer. I think Faramis is also a decent shout. Of course, the Yeef is still in the pool for Warlord if he wants to. This is kind of what we talk about behind the scenes, where Vamos is very one-dimensional, very linear, but they kept polishing on that, right? That's what they are known for. And right now, it doesn't help that base HP at level 1 has been reduced, so all these big ticket damage from Vamos can easily allow them to snowball.
Yeah, Trek, they need something tankier here in the EXP lane, right?
Yeah, I mean, we saw the glue earlier, we saw some possibilities. They could just go full in aggressive and pick up something like the Benedetta instead, you know? Instead of going tanky, they could just get crazy. I'm not completely against it. They go for the Khalid and the Edith, which is both solid, and there's those tanky heroes.
Is it Edith mid?
Is it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, wait.
It has
been
Harith. Oh, it's a Harith mid. I know Warlord has played Edith mid before back in season 12.
Interesting.
He has done it before, so this could be that. It could be a throwback.
It could be the same idea of why glue mid became a thing at one point. Fast clear mid in the first wave, then invade right away with a Khalid mid.
Yeah, it could be Khalid mid, really.
Yeah, Khalid mid. And that's why, I like the last pick for the roam for Twisted Minds, because if ever they go full aggro, yeah, it's Warlord in the mid with a Khalid. The Tigreal and the Aurora might be able to stop that.
Yeah, I mean, you also have to remember, Khalid, one of the biggest damage dealers on level 1. If they throw that in the mid, it is dangerous.
Okay, what a draft between these two teams. Pure aggro by Vamos, but it seems like Twisted Minds might be able to counter. Bring it up, Mirko. Let's go.
Thank you so much to our panelists, and this seems by far the most unique draft we're about to see for today, right, Mirko?
Is it the most unique? We saw Yisun Shin, right? It's definitely unique. We saw Khalid in the mid lane, and you know what? This brings back to what my friend Husky from the panel said. If Indo is brawl meta, Vamos is hyper brawl. They like to go in for the fights in the early game. So I like it. I really like this extra aggression for Vamos, and Twisted Minds, it seems like they actually want to match that aggression.
If not match, they actually drafted a composition that responds well to all those potential aggressive plays that could be provided to us here by Team Vamos. So we're about to witness what might just happen between the Twisted Express and the anti-heroes, as they say. Still, we're about to see this is Vamos versus Twisted Express.
Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Into the land of Dawn we go. Zorn on a signature pick. Warlord on a signature unique crazy pick. It's always with Warlord. He's the guy who played the Grok in the mid lane too. Yeah. Warlord just really likes going for these crazy picks, and it works for Vamos. The hyper-aggression works so well for them.
I remember the moment wherein the patch suddenly decided to prevent all these early game invasions and say that, no, you go too aggressive in the first 2 minutes, you get like an increased, or at least the ally jungle, you get an increased defense and you like get less prone to these invades. But Team Vamos right now, that doesn't seem to be the plan just yet. They're really keen on doing these early game invades, but more members of Twisted Minds.
Oh, sort of the flicker out. One last shot should do it. Troll faded in, forced to flicker as well. So it's a flicker for a flicker. Trades in battle spell.
I wonder when will the recall start coming in for Soren, honestly. As of now, we've just seen him forced to use the flicker and a very quick rotation from Twisted Minds as well. And I think this was also touched upon by our panel earlier. That's one thing you really have to take note of when it comes to the lineup of Twisted Minds. They can rotate really fast, and that might just pose a threat for Team Vamos, especially if they don't be as quick on their feet to actually set up the plays that they want to make.
Puffin now actually sent towards the XP lane.
Yep.
Almost will be able to cut the lane here, so level 4 already for Smooth. Sanji, AOG Warlord will flicker out. That's another shadow connecting on the Troll, and also the Crash Course coming out. Smooth gonna be taken down, but Troll falls as well. Now the Frigid Glacier is a 3-man Raging Sandstorm. Hoda with the steal. The Magi just dashing in, retributioning, and now Warlord is stuck in a tough place. He does have the sand surfing thingamajiggy to get out though.
I mean, you would have thought like Warlord did such a great job in zoning the members of Twisted Minds, but like the most important member, he got through, he got past all that zoning, and he was just able to steal away the turtle from Team Vamos. So things are starting to look quite good for Twisted Minds, even though we're expecting a greater level of aggression from Team Vamos. I mean, they still have that presence of mind even to send Coffin towards the XP lane just to get that level 4 and that precise early game rotations, so they don't feel as reactive just yet, even though they really drafted in a way to respond to Team Vamos.
For those of you who don't know, this is why Hoda was given the nickname of Hold Up Troll, coming down that implosion and the electrifying beats. He does get the shortcut down, but it's not in time. But back to the point, Hoda, he was called the Twisted Savior after coming in middle of the season, actually into the playoffs, and getting Twisted Minds from barely making it to playoffs to winning the entire thing.
Yeah, this is the storyline that you really have to pay attention to for Twisted Minds. They have such a great storyline, but Warlord, I don't think the. Oh wait, will he?
Sandstorm, Sanji's chasing the 3 melee heroes are TC Warlord, and he gets away just barely. Oh man, Warlord, you're a miracle worker.
I didn't think he would still survive all that. Those were 3 members, if I'm not mistaken, from Twisted Minds. But still, we're not seeing the successful plays coming just yet from Team Vamos, not unless...
I don't know if you want to be going in onto Hoda. Torn, caught in the electrifying beats, can go in again, but Coffin provides excellent peel there just by throwing out some ice, yo.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder, honestly. Wait, okay, we know Team Vamos to be a team who typically in the early game really plays around Sorn. The aggression that he does, the plays that he creates for his team, but we haven't seen successful plays just yet coming in from Sorn or led by Sorn. But wait, Reggie Sandstorm.
Reggie Sandstorm only onto Sanji though, still able to sustain back up. GB wins the retry battle now as Hoda goes over the electrifying beat, but will be chased down by Nets, who dives in smooth, shatters the earth, gets a kill, and Coffin, his passive has been procced, and now it's a triple kill for Smooth. Troll in a 1v3 on a Tigreal. Not too sure he can survive this one, buddy. It's Warlord with a kill back, and Vamos with the momentum shift back towards them.
Oh, I think that was the wrong base. Troll and Coffin taken out here by Team Vamos. And finally, they find their way into the game. Things were completely different when Nets was finally able to join in. Like, they had a lot more damage on their side, and Smooth getting a triple kill. That's a really great sign right now for Team Vamos.
Very. Thorn gets a crash course down. Hoda's actually going in here.
Whoa, there you go.
That's a respect. That's a respect, right? How many respects was that? How many recall did he go for? Did we get a counter?
4 and counting. 5,
4 and
6.
counting. 5 because he already recalled before Warlord. Reggie Sandstorm. Oh, look at the implosion. That was a combo. Frigid Glacier, Avatar of the Guardian. Chibi is down. Warlord might be next to the chopping block as he tries to run away as Sanji continues the chase but will not be able to. From the crash course, Hoda clearing out the mid lane.
Yeah. It's not just the shortcut, the portals. Oh, wait.
That's a solo kill in the bottom lane.
What is happening, Nets? He's been performing really well so far. The only moment we saw him join the team fight, that was a huge advantage for Team Vamos. And now, in the laning, 1v1.
Ridiculous stuff from Nets, man. This guy in the lane on a Harith. It's just Nets, man. Sanji even here. That's playing with angles. Poking him down, popping him on force. He wants all the smoke. Waiting out the revitalize from Sanji.
Happy birthday, I guess.
Happy birthday. It's a great birthday gift to win in front of the home crowd, right?
And I mean, like, he's playing very aggressively, but wait.
Chibi on the other hand, though, gets caught by the implosion of Troll. The timing could not have been worse for Vamos. 18 seconds he's down for, and the turtle is up.
Yep. They might just go for the trade instead towards the top lane, but Team Vamos, they're still not letting go of this turtle pit. They are trying to engage Twisted Mind, but oh no, wait, Hoda is here.
Okay, comes in the electrifying beats. The shortcut comes down as well. The Earth Shadow will be able to get Troll and Sanji knocked up. That's a conceal backwards, Smooth with the onward, and now the Primal Rat Troll. So able to survive. Meanwhile, on the back line, Sanji dealt with by the rest of Vamos. Even with Chibi down, the shortcut is there to provide help for the rest of the team.
Great timing and usage of the concealed Troll survives that, but still they lose Sanji in the process. And I think that was a very efficient game plan from Team Vamos. Smooth was able to shove the lanes or the waves high enough to be able to secure a tier 1 turret down on the top lane and eventually transition to this turtle fight. So they were still at an advantage, even though we thought that death which happened onto Chibi would have costed them at least an objective. They were still able to get the upper hand.
It's all about understanding the resource game, and so far Vamos has understood it really well. even though Chibi, someone of high priority, got picked off, they know that the Flicker and Implosion, the only source of actual reliable catch, was already used up. So they were happy to just go in. Nets didn't even have to use Purify, right? So, and now it's a recall battle. We saw that from Zorn earlier. I don't know if Twisted Minds wants to, try to out-recall Zorn. That seems like an impossible task.
I mean, I think they were very vocal about wanting to do that. They
Can you do it though?
But can you?
Can you do it though?
At this point, Zorn just waiting for someone.
Ooh.
But wait, he gets spotted out.
He flickers over. Everything used up. The onward actually catching Cuffin. Oh no, he flickers out. The AOG coming down. Nets is going to be caught in the electrifying beats. And he will fall. Hoda in the midst of it all. Caught again. Chibi trading him back now as Troll goes in for the fight. Sano still free hitting. Smooth doing the same thing. Troll caught on the crash course. And now it's Chibi walking up the implosion. Finds two. Sanji with a ton. And now the freeze. Gets Chibi down. Sanji with another. And the Bruno is still free hitting. That might just be Warlord falling down as well. But he's a bit too fast. The Turret though will take him down, and Sanji's the one who picks up a double.
Sano just went unnoticed during that entire team fight, and Troll able to preserve that implosion just at that moment when Chibi tried to go for an attempt to still proceed with the team fight. They were able to get the advantage and win that. So now clearly they're chasing, they're catching up towards the lead that Team Vamos has in their hands. They're gradually gaining access to these objectives, which earlier seemed inaccessible for them because Team Vamos, they were taking complete control of the map. And again, it's something you would expect. They have the chip in their hands and they're really quick to respond. So now we may potentially see like a closer team fight or a much more intense team fight towards this upcoming Lord.
Definitely, because for Twisted Minds, now we can finally see those power spike items being bought. It's a holy crystal done for Hoda. Right. If you were already respecting the damage from Hoda the last few fights, you gotta extra respect it now. The electrifying beats is going to burst you down. Troll going in, having a shortcut, raging sandstorm, the catch Hoda. The AOG comes down as well as Warlord, who picks him up in the midst of it all. That's Troll actually baiting it out so that the taunt comes in from Sanji and Sano gets the kill. So in the end, it's a 2-for-1, but Vamos did get the Lord, so it becomes equal.
Yeah, and there was an attempt from Troll. Clearly, he was able to look for the targets on the back lines here for Team Vamos, but he wasn't able to just pop the implosion as quickly. But even then, Warlord, he secured the normal wave.
Oh no, Chibi's running away. Okay, he has the dashes. He gets away, but you can see the Holy Crystal damage.
I can see it. I can feel it.
Now you can see Net's Holy Crystal.
I wouldn't want to go near Hoda at this point. He's been making plays for Twisted Minds since earlier, but they might just lose a huge chunk of their map from this point onwards. Ooh, but Nets, those Synchroficials are starting to hurt as well. Really have to respect that if you were Twisted Minds. But for now, I feel like the focus is really just taking out all of the outer turrets and possibly inner turrets. But wait.
Oh my god, Hoda just almost got picked up. Nets, he doesn't have to purify, dashes out of the stun. And he escapes, almost taking down the turret up top too. Sano, by the way, now that's the power spike for the Bruno, the Malefic gun. Now he can shoot those balls from a longer range.
But I am feeling a different level of confidence from Nets today. I don't know if it's just the birthday buff in action but he's even confident enough to take on Hoda really at this point, even despite the amount of damage we already see from Hoda. So we're looking at the goal differences right now, particularly significantly higher for Nets as well as Smooth. Of course, he got the triple kill earlier and has had quite a great game as the XP lane here for Team Vamos, very participative in the team fights. So we're waiting, or we're looking at Twisted Minds just holding on to their defense. I think it's something possible. We've seen these kinds of compositions with the Joy as the jungle, really just look for the cross-map plays and then just relying on the Bruno to work on the defense. Their counter-engage potential is really up high as well. They have both the Avatar of the Guardian and the Implosion. So I think a lot of possibilities are out there for Twisted Minds.
Yeah, and I think you raise a good point. Twisted Minds, to add on to the point, they might actually do better as a reactive team. Like, they're pretty good as a proactive team, as an initiator, because obviously the combos are ridiculous. But if Vamos use their resources, say like the Zaman Force, then that's it, right? That's a window of opportunity for Twisted Minds. And Bruno doesn't really have a big ult like that. He just basic attacks, man. He just shoots the balls down, just keeps on kicking. And as the Lord spawns in, I don't know, when it comes to poke, doesn't really seem like both the teams have any poke. It's literally just a battle of
Yeah.
Who all-ins better?
It feels like it's just waiting for whoever commits first and gets out more successful from it. And it doesn't seem like poking will be the game plan here. Team Vamos, they have this option to just really wait for whoever might just show the top lane for Twisted Minds. But Twisted Minds, it seems like they made a decision. They collectively made a decision. They just really want to take on the team fights here, acknowledging the fact that there is that chance that Team Vamos might just play the macro game. And they're trying to play around with it right now. We're seeing like Chibi just showing himself towards the top lane. So if you were Twisted Minds, you wouldn't be as sure as well. If you wanted to like take on the Lord as early as now, you have very limited information regarding Team Vamos.
See whether they decide to actually go and control the Lord. Nolan has been spotted up top. What is the decision for Twisted Minds? Half HP on the Lord. It'll be resetted again, but no one's there to catch the wave up top. So getting a few hits. Chibi's rotating already. Sano's got to be very careful here. He's a marksman against that assassin. No Wind of Nature, meanwhile. Smooth notices that, goes in, now Reggie Sandstorm, catching the Frigid Glacier, catches two, and now it's Electrifying Beast that catches Nets! Sano gets the Rose Gold as he rotates over. Chibi's gonna be caught at the top spot right now as Hoda continues the chase. Chibi, he's got Rose Gold down, but he gets taunted down. Chibi's one, Sano gets the ball down, and now the shove over to Warlord, who's able to take him down, but still, Hoda's on the chase. Immortality still intact for Warlord, and the Lord will just be the main focus of Twisted Minds. Zorn, what are you gonna do in that bush?
It seemed like it was set up for Team Vamos. Zorn just using the Y-Walk, transitioning there, but then right now he might be the next target. Sano, will he make it? Zorn survives, but still the Lord. It goes into the hands of Twisted Minds.
Beautiful stuff from Twisted Minds. They've completely twisted Vamos minds in this game. The chip that was supposed to give them a macro advantage. They were all caught in the Frigid Glacier. The Purifies were baited out, and that's set up for the combos that followed through. And now it's getting real tough for Vamos. How do they defend? When it comes to defending, do they have good wave clear?
Yeah, and actually at this point, if you were to look at the items here, for Zorn, he really invested in that bleeding time, has a Radiant Armor, but what can he use in response to this gradually increasing damage output from Sano? They need to actually serve as a reliable front, but at this point in time, where we're starting to feel the damage come in, and where they're limited in terms of the plays that they can create, how reliable would the defense from Team Vamos be? But we are seeing both Chibi and Warlord have different plans in mind.
Because the explosion to shove two baits up to Purify. The AOG will whiff. Tanti goes in for the taunt. Sword on the back line now. Reggie Sandstorm over to Cuffin. Let's see if he can pop in the Frigid Glacier in time. No, he does not. Sano still kiting back. Chibi will be able to get trolled down. Sano still free hitting though. Zorn's going to be taken very low. Hoda gets the kill. Now chasing out the Chibi. He needs one last shot. Zorn. The concealed cancel, and Sano gets the Mega. Now it is the mid lane that Twisted Minds set their sights to.
Oh no! Just when we thought Team Vamos had complete control, took advantage of that shortcut placement and the way that Chibi was able to force a reaction out of Hoda. Hoda just the same, uses the shortcut to quickly catch up to the team fight. And when we thought Team Vamos already had the advantage because again Hoda wasn't there, he just suddenly showed up and he shows up again!
That's Hoda! That's the Magi! With a solo kill as the AOG comes to aid him. Twisted Minds are reading through Vamos.
I cannot believe the mechanics we're seeing from Hoda. I don't think it's just the mechanics even. It's really the in-game presence, all those decisions, those clutch decisions that he decides to go for in terms of like holding out everything for his team. And now Team Vamos, they really have to defend this.
Mid lane to be taken down. Hoda again with the electrifying beats, zoning them away. That is two big base turrets taken down. And now he has the Divine Glaive. Man, I thought he already had the Divine Glaive.
Oh, so that the earlier damage still didn't have that? And now, Twisted Minds, they're taking complete control of this game. It seems like they're just so unbothered about all those macro possibilities that can come in from Team Vamos. Like they just find their way to play around it, play through with it. They also get to take advantage of these opportunities themselves, like the shortcuts.
Oh my lord.
All those things, eventually we find them favoring Twisted Minds. I don't think this is the kind of situation you want to be in if you're Team Vamos.
They don't have the macro advantage now. The wave in the bottom lane is actually shoved in by Twisted Minds so they can actually make a move on the Lord. If Vamos shows nets there, Twisted Minds might go for the fight. Show with the implosion and the flicker. Now they're gonna go for the pickup onto Warlord. He will lose the immortality with the Verticulation, but that's a lot of resources. Burnt down Warlord, taken out mid-air with the Raging Sandstorm. That's the green light. Twisted Minds don't care. They wasted some resources. They want to go straight for the Lord.
And what a perfect time to engage in a team fight. Nets was far away, but now Sword!
In the back, Hoda still able to kite away. Sano, one last hit is all he needs. Sanji gets the taunt smack smooth into the ground. Chibi and Nets running for the hill. Sano gets the monster. Oh, the crit. Chibi gets the shielding for the rose gold. Twisted Minds. Now, do they want to end or do they want to Lord?
Oh no, Sword and Chibi are the only ones remaining for Team Vamos. They need to hold this game, but how will they do that against 5 members of Twisted Minds?
Warlord is back off. The shortcut comes down with electrifying beats, deals with it. The Frigid Glacier used up. Warlord goes in with a Raging Sandstorm, catching Hoda, but only Hoda. And with a crown bot again, Chibi will fall. Warlord has the Winter Crown. He's swapping it in, but it's not going to be enough. Malaysia, once early, it was SRG, now it's Vamos. Twisted Minds with another upset victory.
The amount of teams stepping up. The amount of regions stepping up. What a day one it has been. It's not even over, but the amount of action, the amount of upsets. What a way to start the Swiss stage!
Absolutely ridiculous stuff.
Oh my gosh! I cannot believe my eyes. I honestly cannot believe my eyes. I want to check on the panel. What could they be thinking at this point in time?
Well, that's revenge for sure. That's Twisted Minds getting the revenge over what was once the Homeboys roster. They took it against Vamos, and that means in the very first day of the Swiss stages in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, both teams from MPL Malaysia are going down to the 0-1 column in Swiss.
I'm telling you, Malaysia's worst nightmare has come true, but it's also something that I tried to prep everyone, Malaysian or non-Malaysian fans. Before the game started, right, we talked about Vamos being a very linear team that kept on polishing what they're good at. We saw that happen right in front of our eyes. They kept sticking what they're good at, which in the end bit them in the back. I'm speechless. I know I talk about the possibility of Twisted Minds taking the win, but to witness it happen, it's a completely different feeling.
I hate to say it, but I don't think that was the worst nightmare. I think both Malaysian teams facing against each other tomorrow could be the worst nightmare. I hate to say it, but that is a possibility now.
I mean, they'll still be later for the draw, but for now, MENA and Saudi Arabia can be very happy.
Plays here, and because the drafts aren't identical, like mirrored in a sense of laneage, it just kind of switches things up here. Rora, what do you think? Do we think mid or do we think gold right here? Or maybe even.
I just want reach. Reach. Oh, there's some reach.
A little bit.
There's some reach, some anti-dive also. I mean, like you look at Falcon's first 3 picks, sort of already covers most of the bases, right? You have a good front line, good peel, good sustain, great range with both Jusin and Bruno. You kind of keep most heroes at an arm's length, not to mention again the Malefic Gun, which has been a hot topic today for Bruno. So either way, Falcons have this solid foundation already with the first 3 picks.
For the gold laners here, Trex, there's 2 that I'm looking at for the hands of Domeng. It is either the Beatrix, again, we dub him as the next standard, as of course, as a little shout out to Keller as well, and how Domeng plays. But at the same time, he's actually proven to be a very reliable Clint player.
Oh yeah?
I think I've seen that. And Clint has had this weird place where, especially with a team that knows how to play the box like Aurora, is able to kind of hold around.
Yeah.
A Clint can just sit there and play safe, be protected by his team. And we already see the Suyo, we see the Gatot, we see an Aurora who can kind of stiff arm very well. It could definitely work here.
There's one thing that Falcon needs to consider banning, and it's... Oh, okay, they banned the Beatrix. They also have to take away the Edith of Edward. That has risen to be his most iconic pick, especially in the last season of MPL Philippines.
Yeah. Depending on where this Hylos goes as well, I think Edith overall is a very safe pick for the XP key lane. I feel like Falcons might not focus on that too much. At least I don't see the need just yet. The Joy Band from Rora again trying to stop Dax. There's still Nolan, Hayabusa, Ling. Probably not Ling, but Nolan, Hayabusa still up in the pool for the Falcon.
Yeah, I mean, Alpha also still open for Falcon if they just want to go
Alpha
something
fight.
Oh, Alpha's banned out?
By Aurora.
By Aurora. Never mind. Correction. My bad. On the side of Falcon, though, I don't know if you ban out the Edith. I don't know if you ban out EXP, because the thing is Edward's pool is deep enough that it's like
might be too tough.
You know, it's like why do you even? Just let him have the Edith, because he's going to pick up something else and still play amazing on it, right? And that's the thing about a best of one is you can't really adapt, right? It's not like we come into game 2. Okay, yes, that hero was too much. We need to ban it out now. You kind of just have to ban what you ban, but they do. There it is. There it is. There it is.
Yeah. You gotta respect it. So up next at the docket, with the Phovius gone as well. Now, well, I mean, they can still go Khalid. Khalid got all together. It provides a space that we mentioned, and if ever they go for the protect the marksman style of lineup, it would be okay.
So Domain Moskov comes out. There's also the tank Benedetta that we saw. Like Edward can play that hero.
Oh yes.
First time Moskov today.
First time Moskov, yeah. We've seen the Tamus also. It was picked in a wild card, I believe, once.
So at this point, Falcon needing to wrap up their draft. They still need a jungler. They still need a EXP laner or roamer. Can definitely flex either way here. For jungle, you mentioned some assassin picks. Ling, Hayabusa. The Joy is gone, but it's definitely down. The Bane! And a Hilda.
Yeah, got let through.
Great pickup. The aggression that Falcon is showing, the team fighting, they want to control Aurora in multiple aspects, whether it's in the center of the map or in the team fight itself. The Aurora need to time their entries here. I think another frontliner is warranted. It cannot just be the Gatot.
The Tigreal. I mean, there is still the Renegade Tigreal. It is open.
Oh, that's true.
You could put Edward on the Gatot.
Okay, this might not be an Edward pick. There might actually be a Renegade pick that they're picking last.
Definitely a possibility. Overall, Falcon, I mean, you want to try to do something that can stop the forward pressing of Falcon here with the Hilda, with the Bane. At this point, they have a very, get in your face and just keep pressing in. And they are going to wrap it up with the Gwyn. Here's the question. Is it Roam? It is going over to Renegade. Roam, Gwyn. Now, we saw this a little bit in NACT. Shark actually picked this up, and it worked well. It was a nice cheese pick. Do you think it'll work well here?
I like it.
I like it too.
Yeah, good amount of control, good amount of combo. Let's see, this might be a much closer battle than we expected. Here's Miracle and Brigada.
Thank you so much, panelists. I feel like in as early as the draft, it was already a very close fight which happened between two of these teams. It was a surprising pick on the Jushin, but the response showed to us by Aurora for their last pick. A Guinevere debuting on the first day of the M6.
That's new. So we get confirmation here. It is going to be Renegade on this Guinevere. We'll see how he's going to make this work. This is a pick that we've never seen before in M6. So it's another debut pick. We've just been rolling.
Yep.
The volatility of the drafts. Here it is.
Yep. Honestly, I want to throw all of my expectations out of the window after all that has happened today. But how bright will the Northern Lights shine for tonight? They're going up against the Burmese Falcons. And we're down to the last 3 series for the first round of the Swiss stage. Let's see what happens between Aurora MLBB and Falcon Esports.
We're going to get straight into this jungle matchup. The Bane is something we actually haven't seen as well. I think we saw a lot of it in our playoffs, but unfortunately in M6, wildcard, and the last 4 matches, we haven't been able to actually see the Bane a lot. So Dax, it's already something new here from Falcon Esports. Benny on the Bruno, though, that's a signature pick. That's what he used in the Myanmar qualifiers, actually, to get through and to beat Mythic Seal. So I'm already expecting Benny to do wonders.
Yeah, and that's
Bruno.
Honestly the playstyle for Falcons Esports, right? They usually really want to funnel everything onto Benny, and this is a Bruno, so it's all the more reason for you to want to do that. But I'm really curious as to how Renegade will make use of this Guinevere. Like, what would be the ideal targeting? How particular could they be with the usage of this Guinevere? Is it really a pick-off eccentric approach that they want to use. Oh, that's a Blade Surge, connects onto Kidex.
The spatial migration, that's a flicker from Yue. Unfortunately, unable to get the stun, but the damage is enough. Renegade picks up first blood for Aurora.
Oh, that's some early game presence Aurora MLBB is trying to show us here. Not even bothered by the presence of a Jushin trying to control the mid lane. Even the Hilda, I don't feel that Aurora MLBB is threatened by the presence of these early game heroes from Falcon Esports just yet. They're working really well together, and we're seeing a 4-man rotation as early as less than 2 minutes into this game.
Yeah. Aurora doing Aurora things, you know? This is how they like to play the game. Renegade actually going to be sent down below to soak in the wave, I believe. Alright, that's an interesting one. Edward already level 4, clearing out the mid lane together with you as Royal Milk tries to poke him down, but I agree with you, it's not that much pressure that Hilda can assert right now, but Dax is on the turtle.
Yep.
No response as of yet. Humankind can be pressured down by Royal Milk. Oh, the wilderness, power of the wilderness as well as the deadly catch finds him. Dax has fed him into the sharks and the turtle will go to him. Spatial migration with the Violent Requiem. Renegade gonna be caught now. Juicin picking him up. Renegade low, taken out again. Dax still surviving as Kidex zones you away. That's the peel from the Crimson Beacon. That's another Lantern Flare, and Edward is down. Falcon Esports starts off strong.
And I'm not entirely sure if it was the best decision to proceed with that turtle contest, knowing that Demon Kite was poked really low. We were talking about how Royal Milk and his presence wasn't really felt in the first few minutes of the game, but he just made a statement with how he was able to poke Demon Kite really low, and PX7 was ready to do the follow-up. He dealt enough damage as well, and Aurora MLBB were unsuccessful in taking that turtle.
Now it gets eerie. Now it gets real eerie, Brigitte. We've been saying, you know, there's been a lot of upsets, but it should change. You know, Aurora, we've been hearing the rumors. Sounds like they're a different team, but so far, you know, the early game has gone to Falcon Esports, and man, that was impressive stuff. They literally just played it so well. Dax forced him into that pit, got into the deadly catch. Demon Kite goes in for the stun. The damage, Frigid Glacier, the combo. Demon Kite shoots the arrow down, and PX7 gets caught in the mid lane.
Alright. So gradually, they're taking steps towards regaining control of this game. Renegade, though, forces out the Purify from Benny. So now they're rotating towards the top lane. And honestly, I really agree with what you previously mentioned. If it's Aurora MLBB, you know that they're a team who really comes into every single game prepared. And I think that's the difference for day number 1. For day number 1, at least, you know who you're going up against. Because you can't say the same for the next coming days here in the Swiss stage. Like, at least for today, they know that Falcon Esports, they're a team who really wants to rely on team fights. And maybe that's why they prepared this much damage.
Great combo, amazing combo. Finding the kill onto Dax. He's taken down now. There's nothing Falcon Esports can do right now.
There's been great layering from Aurora MLBB. Whoa!
Spatial migration from Renegade. And it's instantly comboed with the Frigid Glacier. Now Royal Milk trying to run away, gets stunned up again. The glorious pathway to get him out. The 2 tanky members of Falcon Esports will be able to escape, actually going back into the fight. But it's not enough to even get Edward low.
You know, I honestly forgot that there was a thing. There was a spatial migration flicker combo that existed, and Renegade reminded us of that. He's actually been playing a really great early game in terms of applying the pressure against Falcon Esports and finding the targets, if not even finding the full pickoffs, forcing out some really important resources such as the Purify from Benny. So in as much as we wanted to see Falcon Esports really funnel everything into their gold laner, that doesn't seem to be the case right now. They're yet to get any conversions or anything out of the first few rotations.
Sky Piercer now already for PX7. That's a first item, Sky Piercer.
For the Jushin?
Yeah, usually we see it as a second item, first item. Oh, Renegade. Oh, migration forward. Very close to the Lantern Flare. Crimson Beacon forward on a Purify 2 as Edward peels for him. Renegade gets out. The Glorious Pathway was already baited down, and Falcon Esports won't be able to get a kill despite using 2 battle spells there.
Yep. So there are some attempts still from Aurora MLBB to try and look for the plays, but at this point probably they really want to go for the macro overall, the PX7.
Yeah, really good poke.
Okay. Alright. They want to go for the turrets at this point, but how could you do that? Look at where Royal Milk is actually. He already cleared out the waves from the topmost portion of Aurora MLBB, and he also finds Demon Kite in the mid lane. So we're seeing some really interesting rotations here from both Falcon Esports and Aurora MLBB.
Yeah, good damage, Renegade. The Bush not gonna go for the spatial migration, knows that Aurora, the rest of them, wants to just recall. And now it becomes a game of chess, really. How do you set up for the next neutral objective? It's all about setup here. Aurora have ways to, when they click, when they pull the trigger, it is an all-in, by the way, right? It's a combo that they need to commit to. So for Falcon Esports, it's all about how they can disengage from that combo, if they can.
Yeah, and I'm honestly wondering about where actually is the global presence just yet? Like, where's the macro control from Aurora MLBB? Because Falcon Esports, they seem to be looking for the ways to deal with that, but now that as soon as I bring it up, Domeng responds with a tier 1 turret into the hands of Aurora MLBB, but Demon Kite though, Royal Milk, here he goes again, trying to pressure the jungler of Aurora MLBB.
Well played to Falcon Esports, staying decisive, knowing that Domeng wants to go into the weak side to play for the push. Now he'll recall, he'll pull some of the resources there. Oh, that was great from Domeng, taking the Spear of Destruction, PX7, escaping away from the spatial migration as Royal Milk is tanking a whole lot of damage, but the Frigid Glacier will lock him down with the AOG. Now, they go back in. Benny is in the midst of it all. Pops in a Purify. Now kiting back as well. Demon Kite walking up and gets shut down. Benny is kiting away on the Bruno. And that's a double kill for him. Domeng making quick work of the turret in the mid lane. Will be able to get away. Now Spear of Misery to disengage.
The sustain was there for Benny. And honestly, the Soul Silver, the damage wasn't enough just yet. He wasn't really able to take out Benny, even though he really went for the chase. So now Falcon Esports, they're also able to look for the turrets for themselves.
Oh!
And that's some insane damage from the Crab Claw Cannon. I think it was also the exact same skill which took out one of the members of Aurora MLBB earlier in that previous clash.
Oh, that was a massive AoE for sure. On top of that, the Gold Crab as well over towards Dax. What does he have in his item build, man? It's a War Axe and a Brute Force Breastplate. It's not even like pure damage and he's doing that much. The Crab Claw Cannon, man. Something you have to definitely respect. Yeah, get to see the items here as well. Haasclaw's Berserker's Fury. So already power spec, building towards a Milfic gun. Already has the Fury Hammer. So okay, pretty fast for Mr. Benny.
Honestly, I think when they really go for the team fights, a lot of their skills really complement each other well. Like the worldy, the amount of defense that goes down for Aurora MLBB during the team fights. Even Royal Milk, whenever he just goes in and looks for the targets and tries to go for some stacks. So it might be a question for Aurora MLBB, especially if they're consistently unsuccessful in trying to take those slow pickoffs or those single targets from Falcon Esports for a moment, because we're seeing Falcon Esports really take advantage of the team fight so far. Not unless Aurora MLBB are able to layer their skills really well, because there were moments we've seen like really great layering. The Avatar of the Guardian and the Frigid Glacier, but Falcon Esports, they can just play around so much with their lineup. And now the Lord, who will get the Lord?
Oh, it's Domeng with a Spear of Destruction all the way from top lane. Now Demon Kite running away. Benny getting the kill onto Edward. Renegade going to be stunned up as Domeng takes the tier 2. How did he do that? How did he snipe it from downtown? Falcon though, they got a big win and the team fight is a 3-4-0. Only the Lord to Aurora.
It really seems like my macro is the plan for Aurora MLBB. Falcon Esports, they're going for the micro though. It's the complete opposite that we're seeing from their side. But Aurora MLBB, they're fortunate enough to get that Lord using the Spear of Destruction. What a well-timed Spear of Destruction. I mean, I couldn't even recall if they had enough vision or information regarding the Lord at the time, or it was just randomly thrown out there by Domeng. Let's check it out here in the instant replay. I think they had some sort of idea. Edward was close enough to that Lord.
Oh
Domeng
my goodness.
timed it so well.
Both of the junglers went for the prediction, right? They both of them just went in. So Demon Kite tapped it, Dax tapped it. It was a gamble at that point, and Domeng won the gamble. The guy with, I mean, that was what are the odds on that, man? Domeng shot it from so far, and the damage definitely doesn't, compare to the retribution, yet he got it.
Yep.
This man, now with the Lord, it's only the first Lord, so Falcon should still be able to defend this one. Cadex can be taunted up, the combo there as well. They're not going to commit fully onto that. The Holy Defense will be procced as well. And it will be Edward taken low. Great spatial migration onto PX7. The Spear of Destruction to the backline as PX7 goes in with the Crimson Beacon, and Royal Milk baits out the Frigid Glacier. No more fights.
But PX7, he was so careful. He didn't use the Purify at that moment. Not until, or not while he knew that he had all of his teammates around him and that the other damage dealers from Aurora MLBB weren't as close. So Red J, he's been doing a great job in finding these targets, but then Falcon Esports, with this much pressure with their front lines, they're able to actually separate the members of Aurora MLBB really well. Like, they're trying to disrupt so much of their positioning, which I don't even know if Aurora MLBB wants to take on the team fights at this point. They've been working for the macro for the first few minutes, but could it be time that we see them actually engage in a 5v5 team fight? I mean, Doming is also here, but we're still 40 seconds away from the next Lord, and they seem really careful about the succeeding decisions that they're about to make.
So now it's a battle of scale, right? It's a scaling battle. So if we take a look at the item builds again, the Melfi gun's done. Falcon Esports have that power spike, and we know the Bruno.
Yep.
You know, this has been pretty good, man. That Bruno. 300 power spike though for Doming too, so should be all right from Doming. He should actually be the one for Aurora to actually. He's the X factor at this point, right? He's the main carry. Aurora, they need to utilize Doming, and Doming really needs to pop off here in the team fights, but also in the split pushes.
Yeah, he also has the Wind of Nature ready, just in case Falcon Esports finds a way to deal with him. But they're setting up for this upcoming Lord. They know where the members of Falcon Esports are coming from, but they're gradually making their way to the Lord pit. Who will be able to get this time?
Spatial migration already used up earlier. Revival as well. SOD did not connect now. BX7 gets the kill in the backline. Kidex is zoning them away. Dax wins the retry battle. Benny's going crazy. Doming able to escape. Benny frozen. But that's just Benny ice cold on the Bruno.
And Edward wasn't even able to cast his Avatar of the Guardian. Now it's Falcon Esports just making their way to Aurora MLBB and their base. They take down the mid lane inhibitor turret, and that's without the Lord. They still have the Lord. It's about to spawn, and Aurora MLBB, they have to defend. What?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Swiss stage of the M6 World Championships. I thought the upsets, they would end sometime, but Dax, Falcon Esports, Benny, they want to continue the train. They want to have a 1-0 bracket of full underdogs of the tournament. 4.3k gold lead, enhanced Lord in the mid lane. They're going to go for it with the Glorious Pathway, the Deadly Catch as well. Aurora will have to respect this. Doming is pulling the Lord over to the turret up top, but that will mean the base turret will be taken down below, and Aurora will be able to defend it.
Honestly, I just thought of it now, like the entire Bruno Bane connection, or the Bruno Bane concept of the lineup of Falcon Esports here. They're just really so focused on taking the objectives with the right amount of micro, even though Aurora MLBB were consistently making attempts to deal with it with the macro as well. How could you face against the Bruno and the Bane when they gain access to your important turrets, to your objectives, and now they might just take out all of the inhibitors?
Oh, that Crab Claw Cannon, Royal Milk into the stun down, Doming very low, so able to escape the spatial migration, gets in, turret falling, Benny still surviving, Royal Milk dead, Edward walking up, Kidex will fall, PX7 with the Lantern Flare, Demonkite able to escape, does he get picked up, and Dax gets him with a Crab Claw Cannon, PX7 grabs the Sky Piercer stack, Falcon Esports, they walk away with another good trade. That was another base turret to their name.
All inhibitors down for Aurora MLBB. At least they were able to slightly surround Falcon Esports. It seems like they were really going for the end there. But now they prolong the game a little longer. Checking out the damage dealt ranking, still UL takes the lead. But in terms of impactful, like one-time, big-time damages that are dealt, you have to really respect Dax and the amount of damage he's bringing out to the table right now. But that's all aside the fact that Benny also has completed his items.
Dax is a Chad. He is a Giga Chad. Look, you see that item build, man? I thought War Axe, Brute Force, Tanky build. No,
Tanky build,
he goes War Axe, Brute Force, full damage. He doesn't care, and that's why the Crab Claw Cannon has been going through the front line. Yue, he started off that fight in the defense with 1/4 of HP. The Crab Claw Cannon dealt that much. And now Falcon are just pressuring them, not letting them breathe. Doming is caught off. Oh, good dodge from Royal Milk there for the SOD, but they won't be able to push forward anyways here. The Lord will be spawning in the bottom lane, and Falcon have 3 base turrets down, so they're going to have super minions pushing and shoving towards Aurora at every given moment.
Yep. How will Aurora MLBB deal with all this pressure? Benny and Kidix slowly are about to make their way to the Lord, and definitely Aurora would want to contest this. This doesn't look like an ideal situation if you were Aurora MLBB, if you're left to defend with literally no inhibitor turrets left in your base. But how could they gain access towards the Lord? How will they engage this? There's the Lord back by a Doming!
Oh! The X7 gets the Sky Piercer! The execute comes down! That might be the way for the end angle. Dex got the Lord earlier. Edward jumps in to peel for Yue, but BX7 gets another. And now it's Royal Milk who wants to push forward. Aurora, 2 members left standing. It's a Smiling Demon and Renate. Falcon Esports don't care. They want to go straight for it. It's another Sky Piercer stack for Renate. BX7 got the monster kill, and the day of upset continues.
Falcon Esports! They were so well prepared for this. They stuck with their identity, but were still able to pull through up against Aurora MLBB. We thought of it to be one of the most challenging matchups we've witnessed today, but they prove us wrong. Time and time again, today we just keep being proved wrong by all of these teams.
Throw out your predictions out the window, your expectations. Be damned. Welcome to the M6 World Championship. You gotta be greater than ever, and so far on day one, the opening day of the M6 World Championship, we've already gotten greater than ever. This has already blown all of our expectations out the window, out the roof.
Who would have thought the Swiss stage would be this interesting? That the stakes of each best of 1 series.
Brigida,
what?
you have to see the 0-1 bracket. You have to see the teams there, man.
I'm not
my
sure.
lord.
I'm not sure if I'm ready to see our 0-1 bracket just yet. But let's head over to our panel and let them dissect that game.
Well, even though our predictions didn't show it, we were discussing it. Just Falcon Esports, Myanmar teams really have a history of taking it to the Filipino teams, and they get the revenge. One of the first, not one of the first, but one of the more iconic victories of a Myanmar team against a Filipino team in a major tournament. Congratulations to Falcon Esports. That Jushin on PX7, the damage of Falcon was way too much.
Yeah, Jushin, 2 power picks, right? Jushin, actually 3 power picks. Jushin, Bruno, and Hilda.
Yeah.
All went through to Falcon Esports. You know, Jushin with the Sky Piercer as well, really catching Aurora off guard in that late game. They execute damage, really making life for Doming hard. Edward as well getting executed when they needed him the most. And of course, Benny, you give him space. We talk about Benny. I talk about him being able to deliver the Gold Link experience, and he did just that.
We just dropped into Earth 2024, a whole different multiverse where anything can happen right now. I mean, it's looking like insanity, and I couldn't say it any better than the casters, because that lower bracket right now, that lower group, is looking scary.
Yeah, the 0-1 column. Again, Falcon Esports, congratulations yet again for their victory against Aurora MLBB. Let's hear from Falcon on the stage with Rose.
The first day of the Swiss round, back to back, jam-packed with surprises. And this is Falcon taking the win against Aurora Philippines. Now, I'm here with Dex. First of all, Dex, how are you?
I'm fine.
You're fine. How does it feel like winning the matchup against Aurora? He's really happy. Now, as we all know, Aurora is actually a fan favorite, right? Did it give you guys extra pressure, or did you feel scared knowing that your first round of the Swiss stage is going up against Aurora?
Aura တင်းကြီးရဲမှာအဲ့လိုမျိုးကောင်းနေတဲ့အတင်းနေတဲ့အတင်းမို့လို့ပေါ့နော်ကျွန်တော်တို့နေနဲ့ဟိုပထမပုံပွဲမှာတည်းကစတွေ့ရဆိုလေစောရမယ်ဆိုတော့ထိတ်လို့ရှာပါ
It's the so seeing Aurora is one of the really good teams, a man out of all. So to be meeting them for the very first time, they were excited.
Okay, now I agree with that. Aurora is a powerhouse, especially coming from the Philippines. But since you said you're excited meeting up Aurora, how did you guys actually prepare? What preparations did you guys go through?
screen တပွဲကြီးကျင်းစီတိုင်းကို focus ပြီးတော့ 100% အပြည့် train ခဲ့ Aura အတွက်ပြင်ဆင်ပြီးတော့
So they really play screening stage and train 100% to meet Aurora team.
Okay, I like that. They're giving respect to Aurora. Now, it's been a while since Myanmar has actually won a match against the Philippines, with the last time being in around M4, if I'm not mistaken. So that is around 2 years. What does it mean getting this win against Aurora, and how does it improve or help you guys with your momentum in the upcoming Swiss stages?
Jushin as well. Mirko is already happy about the first 2 picks on the side of RRQ Hoshi, and this gives them a quick scaling marksman that can dominate lane and a mid laner that might actually stop KBG rotations.
They might have to take the Hilda now, because we saw what happened when Hilda, Zusin and Bruno are on the same team. Literally the previous game, power picks, early, mid to late, incredible pressure, insane late game scaling. So if you're KBG right now, you gotta select these next 2 picks very, very carefully.
Yeah, that's just scary, man. Just seeing those 2 picks alone on RQ's side. I was already questioning if Bruno should start getting banned. Jushin definitely needs to stay banned. And right now they're both in the hands of RRQ. KBG, what do they pick up here? Do they go for EXP Roam maybe? Mid and Roam. They get the Valentina, they get the Hilda.
Of course, they gotta get the Hilda at this point, but with KBG's first 3 picks, they are lacking range. They need a little bit more of that into the second phase.
Something just crossed my mind, right? Remember I mentioned a bit about Fredrin, and Susujin was sort of like the first guy that played Fredrin in a long time in MPL ID. Looking at what KBG has right now is not necessarily the worst of options as well. It definitely can be something that I think RQ can consider moving forward.
Oh, you called it!
That's the King Susujin. Fredrin is out again.
Okay, but how will it... So it worked very well against the Joy earlier today. How is it going to work against a slightly harder hitting hero in the early game? You know, going up against the Suyo, like, will it still be able to just completely outpace the Joy like it did? Or is it going to have a little bit more trouble in the early game?
This Fredrin, I feel like with what it's paired with Jusin, and then at this point, the last possible best pick for KBG, if they want to be aggressive and mash that, it's either going to be the Alpha or, well, they're actually quite comfortable with the Lunox. Those are going to be very expensive picks, and it's a very solid first 3 by RRQ Hoshi.
Yeah, at the same time, you are not bothered about the Hilda invading you, that's for sure. You got great peel alongside the Jusin, so it keeps Skylar insanely safe.
Yeah. By the way, fun fact, there's a very funny link between KBG and RRQ. So Saksa and Susujin both played with and allegedly has been scolded by many times by Sasa, the stern Kage. And Susujin agreed that Sasa is very strict, but he claimed that he got better because of his own hard work. Of course, that is Coach Sasa now of Dianfang Yagua.
Pretty funny, because Sasa in an interview said that as a coach, he's angry. He's less angry because, you know, he's not playing as much, but, you know, he got to control that anger. He ain't young anymore, but that strictness is one of the reasons that he became one of the Kages, the first player to win in 2 different regions.
Yeah, I like it. So now RQ with their last ban coming in. Do they just take it? Maybe they take out the Beatrix here. Maybe just keep on hammering into that gold lane. They took out the Granger already on the side of KBG. 1 more ban as well. Focus on into the XP lane. Maybe take out the Hylos.
Yep, could be. If RRQ Hoshi decide to ban something like a carry, I'm gonna find it quite funny. But of course, they actually respect another pick on the side of a power pick for KBG. They like playing the pick off, and Tracy is very good in that Kaja.
Yeah, even last year during their first wildcard experience, Tracy has demonstrated the Kaja as well. And you don't want to be isolated, right? If you're Susujin on the Fredrin, if you're Jusin, the last thing you want is to be pulled away from the rest of your team. It kind of defeats the whole purpose of this protect King Skylar composition.
Most definitely. So now at this point, RQ is going to get first pick in response. Still need an EXP laner. So far, I mean, their draft is very telestrated, right? We know exactly where all of these heroes are going, but they are powerful heroes, so they don't need much flexibility. I think at this point, maybe get one more strong, tanky frontliner, something that can really just make sure that Jushin and Bruno can hang out on the backside.
Let's see if they are going to get that tankiness, either in the roam or the EXP. The picks of RRQ Hoshi means they can actually go for a duelist in the EXP lane. Nothing too soft, but something that might actually be able to punish in the lane. They go ahead and pick up a Cho, still flexible, but this is probably going to go into the hands of iDoc. One of the reasons why we actually don't have a lot of data on iDoc's Cho is because the times he's shown it, well, it did really good in Indonesia, and teams would rather take it away from him.
And it's not a surprise, so plenty of pickoffs and you can move fast. If RQ Kazu wants to have more mobility, the Khalid is still up on the table if they want to. If you want sort of like a big AoE presence, there's always the Gatot as well. So I think this draft is pretty, the flex pick is pretty open for RQ. I think they're definitely less worried than KBG are right now.
I think RQ could literally just pick about any EXP laner. With the draft that they have, just anything will work. KBG, on the other hand, do lock in the Beatrix and the Belleric.
Whoa, up against
the Fredrin. Is that the idea here, right? You can run in, you can kind of get the big stun here, look for something.
Juice and
the
Bruno.
CC, okay.
The CC comes in interesting. My brain is kind of going crazy a little bit with the matchups right now, but to be fair, okay, you know what? We gotta be fair to Trex. I was going into this thinking.
Wait, is that gold lane? Wait 1 second. I'm looking for the swap. Tracy gets the Belleric.
Yeah, it's a roam Belleric. To be fair, KBG, I did also consider KBG. More about that later. Mirko, bringing that draft. Crazy, right?
I don't know why we're progressively receiving and seeing crazy drafts as time goes by, but it's not a bad thing. It's really exciting to see these kinds of drafts come up on the first day of the Swiss stage for the M6 World Championship. And now we're about to find out if they would cement the narrative that the underdogs have been taking over, or will RRQ switch things up as well this time around?
I guess we'll just have to see, man. At this point, no predictions, right?
No predictions.
Hoshi, though, I will say their draft looks stellar, but also KBG. I love the Belleric pick.
Yep, we've been hearing a lot of things about KBG, but now they're going up against the King of Kings. So we're about to find out what's going to happen. This is KBG versus RRQ Hoshi. I can't also believe that they're hearing the Kingdom. They're making a lot of noise all the way here from Malaysia.
Hey man, the fact that it's in Malaysia, very close to Indo, hey, there's a lot of them that actually flew out, right? So definitely a lot of the Kingdom here in the building. You can hear them after every single win, probably. Every single trade, probably too. That's how they are in Indo too, man. You know, W fans. But let's take a look at this. Oh, Rins! It's a Brave Smite on the Juicin. That's an odd emblem to go for. Master Assassin for Skylar. It's Master Assassin 2 for Lexi.
Why am I feeling that this is potentially a very aggressive Jushin that could come in from Riz? Even picking up the tenacity for one of his emblems. So they might just really want to face off against Keep Best Gaming as much as possible. And I think they have the resources to do just that. But wait!
Rins with a flicker out. Very low, but still is able to escape. Skylar in the bottom lane in the 1v1 against Lexi. It does look like he's actually going to lose out on that trade. Lexi winning it out for now. Skylar will have to respect it. And KBG, they get the early control.
Honestly, we're just getting to know KBG and the way they really want to play things out. But it seems like what they're planning to go with or do in this game is to just really take on RRQ Hoshi as well. It's just to be equally aggressive. And we're seeing it from the lane-to-lane matchups and all the way to the invades. Look at Saksha, Trazy, and Lumu really being aggressive in the early game.
Well played, really well played by Keep Best Gaming right here. Stopping the level 4 from Sutsujin, and this is one of the weaknesses for the Fredrin in the jungle. Your clear speed isn't that good, especially up against a Suyo here that's online at level 3. You for the Fredrin, and you want to control neutral objectives, you still got to be level 4. He should still be able to get it with purple buff, but I believe Saksa will have the lead coming into the first turtle. Tracy knocked up at Lantern Flare, Skylar walking up as well. Tracy popping Revitalize. It should be a kill over to RRQ. The slide tackle, and that's a kill to Skylar on the Bruno.
Alright, Bennett's Rage also committed for BLexi, and it seems like they're going to focus on the gold lane for now, acknowledging the fact that they may potentially be slightly behind in terms of the jungle matchup, in terms of the red tree levels. The Saksha, I think he's already, one level ahead up against Sutsujin, but they're yet to start the turtle, so we'll see what RRQ Hoshi will plan to do from now, because Dyron is still holding it, and they're getting information bit by bit regarding Keep Best Gaming, but both teams, they have full resources.
You can see the Rapid Dryad already online too for Tracy. Win return going to be chunked quite low. Edok also chunked by Luo Mu, stolen the curtain call. Lantern Flare again to Tracy, win return going in as well. Rapid Dryad plays down the curtain call. 2 Appraiser's Wrath coming down. Tracy's going to be very low. Pops into Rapid Dryad as Edok goes in from the back. Sutsujin winning out the red tree battle, by the way. Edok with the Jikundo. Luomu going to be caught. That's a Crimson Beacon from Rins aggressively. Luomu taken down. Win return getting a trade over to Edok, but it will be win return also taking down the trade in favor of RQ. Rins flickering forward, now the pull back, BLexi, ball down by Skylar.
Now I believe you, they're reacting to every kill, to every trade that's happening across the map. And honestly, this is an all-out aggressive gameplay we're seeing for both of these teams. With RRQ Hoshi, they're managing it better so far, the way we're seeing it. They're ahead 5-1 in terms of kill score, and this might just be an attempt to convert it gradually. But then Keep Us Gaming, I must say, I'd also like to commend the way they're holding on to these objectives and to these potential pickups for RRQ Hoshi and Saksha.
That's a Rapid Dryad to catch Skylar. Edok unable to help him. Good kill back from Keep Best Gaming as they look to play for BLexi.
Yeah, that was a very decisive rotation towards the gold lane. They knew they had to shut down at least or prevent Skylar from just getting all that farm. He's got 2 kills already. But I think another thing we have to really take note of is the way Rins and Edok have been rotating so far. I can feel the mid control coming in from this mid duo, and there's 100% kill participation in the hands of Rins. So it's proving to be quite effective. Like the way you pointed out, the Brave Smite and all that tenacity, even in the first attempt of Keep Us Gaming to take him out, if it weren't for those two, I doubt he would have survived up to that point.
Rins is the type of guy in indoor, right? We call him just crazy Rins also, you know? It's kind of like the Sans thing, Gila Sans, but Gila Rins, because sometimes he actually does go Gila mode. Crimson Beacon forward, flicker forward. We've seen it twice now, Crimson Beacon and flicker forward from Rins. So maybe that's why they went for the Brave Smite. He knows that he's going to be in a vulnerable spot a lot of times, and he will probably be punished if he doesn't have the Brave Smite. So this time he's like, yeah, if I'm going to go crazy, might as well have some safety lingers.
Yeah, he needed something to complement all those crazy plays that we could potentially see from him. And now RRQ Hoshi might just take control once again of this turtle pit. Oh no, will there be a Wrath of Dryad once again?
Edok gonna go for the way of the dragon, but it's gonna be cancelled by Saxo. Pops into the blink, Sutsujin with the red tree, wins it out. Meanwhile, Tyron gets rid of Tracy. Win return might be next on the chopping block, but RQ will just be happy with the turtle. They'll play around the mid lane with Rins and Skylar.
Skylar's here. They're definitely going to attempt to take this down, but there goes Win return once again. Oh, Sutsujin. Flicker for Win return, but they're forcing the mid lane turret.
Oh, Win return might be picked up again. Sutsujin pops him up, but Rins, unfortunately, what happened up top? It's a solo kill. Tyron with the vengeance gets it done against Saksa.
I can't believe it. Like, is this the most kills we've seen so far? Like, is this the most action-packed game we've seen so far? We're only 6 minutes, but once again!
Tyron with another solo kill! In Indo, there was a line from Ghani. The guy made a deal with a devil to make a defense happen. He might have made another deal with a devil to get 2 solo kills. Tracy kicked back with the way of the dragon. Now over to Skylar. Is it Wrath of the Dryad bringing him back as Rins goes into the back with the Crimson Beacon, getting the Lantern Flare as well. BLexi zoned completely. Tracy to be knocked up and now zoned away. Skylar gets another 2.2k gold lead for the Kings.
They're managing it well. All that sustained from Keep Best Gaming. They aren't really able to capitalize on it much. They don't allow the damage dealers to get any closer to RRQ Hoshi, and now they successfully take out the tier 1 turret in the bottom lane. Even the top lane, it might fall anytime soon. So we're seeing control from RRQ Hoshi. This is a 3k gold lead in their hands, but BLexi, okay. We've seen this earlier. The Malefic gun in the Beatrix. But how effective would it be this time if you can't even gain access towards the turrets of RRQ Hoshi?
think it should still be good as a way to defend, right? It's great at sieging. It should automatically be good at defending too, because you have that range extra for the Bennett to hit these waves and to poke it down before, you know, RQ could siege.
Guardian helmet priority here for Tracy as well. But what is the plan? What is the plan for Keep This Gaming? RQ they're controlling the turtle. The potential last, or actually the last turtle will be seeing, and there's a way of the dragon.
Beautifully done on the success. Sujin walks up, Rins picks up a killing spree. That's a vengeance from Tyron. The curtain call already down earlier. And Keep Best Gaming, they've just lost 2 members. You can see the Kingdom here supporting RQ in Malaysia. Front stage, Rins. Red Lantern Flare, very low. Skylar, with a flicker forward, gets the ball down. That was a worldie for sure. Win return. Stuck in the tier 2. Gonna go for the chase out to Skylar. Let's see how he deals with it. Skylar gonna be taken down as a big shutdown. Win return. Not gonna be chased down. Tyron should be able to get that kill. He's going mega.
The amount of team fights that are happening, Mirko. I mean, they let go of that turtle. Now it's an 8-minute Lord. So they just completely let go of that and fought against Keep Best Gaming, but it wasn't the best situation for them. Once RRQ Hoshi gets successful enough to take out both Tracy and Saksha, I think they're really trying to play around these 2 players, but once they're the first to fall, things just keep getting difficult for Keep Best Gaming.
Makita, you keep bringing up the kills like you forgot. You know the server. This is the Brawl server, baby.
The Brawl server.
This is RQ Hoshi in the Brawl server. It seems like they're going to get this Lord for free. Nothing KBG can do while being 4,000 gold behind Edok is so annoying. Just always baiting KBG and screening him around, and now Skylar has the Mailpick gun.
Yep, I don't think they're even having second thoughts about looking for Tracy at this point. Even when he successfully gets to use the Wrath of Dryad, they have multiple ways to get out of it, and there are other players from RQ Hoshi who just make sure. There's Tyron, he can just dive into the back lines and make sure that Bilexi won't be having the best time of his life trying to get those free hits, unlike Skylar. Not unless we see a similar situation where Skylar's left alone or left behind, but from this point onwards, now that RQ Hoshi has complete control of this game, this might be very, very difficult for Keep Best Gaming to defend. Multiple resources are forced out just to clear the incoming minion waves. And mind you, RQ Hoshi, especially Edok, he still has the flicker way of the dragon.
Crazy brought back Edok! Goes in for the kick. Bilexi's gonna be caught there, and Win return will be able to escape for a bit. Rins picks him up. Skylar takes him down. It's another mega kill pick for Rins this time. 7,000 gold lead. They've dealt with 2, and they still have a Lord to play with.
All right, so that slightly wasn't a successful way of the dragon attempt, but still
Skylar! From downtown, he gets the shot. That was a goal. Half court. Moonton the fan, again the lantern flare from Rins. LMU is down. Skylar gets another. It's a shutdown now as Tracy tries to bait the pick over. Dyer with a yo-yo. It's him taking down Win return. He has to try to survive the curtain call, locks him down. Rins goes in with the flicker forward. He knocks him out of the base. And Tyron takes him out. It's a shutdown in the end. Can they go for it?
Is that what you call a crazy Rins play? Because I'm starting to believe it right now. They're gaining access to the base of KBG Gaming. They might take out all inhibitor turrets right now, and they have a lot of minion waves incoming. The death timers aren't that long though, so Keep Best Gaming, they might still be able to defend this.
They will be able to defend, but they have lost all of their base turrets with the first Lord. Now that is some ridiculous stuff.
I'm starting to realize just how action-packed, how active the Brawl server is actually.
Yeah.
Like, we're seeing it in action right now from our RQ Hoshi, and it's very exciting to see this kind of gameplay. And like based on what's happening right now, it's so hard for Keep Best Gaming to find their way back in this game. Not unless they really get to set up a perfect team fight here. They have a lot of AoE, if it's just that. The Wrath of Dryad, the Bennett's Rage. But you really want to reserve that as well for all those potential Lord Sieges that might happen later on from our RQ Hoshi.
You still can't take Keep Best Gaming out of this game just yet, right? They have defended. It's an 8,000 gold lead, but we've seen gold leads like this go away with one big fight. It seemed like RQ, though, they're playing the discipline game really, really well, and that's RQ for you. They play the Brawl server really well, but then they have the discipline to actually slow things down.
Yep, actually, this has been such a great game for Dairen even. Like, he hasn't died not even once in this entire game. And to think that he's actually the person from RRQ Hoshi who really dives toward the backlines. But speaking of diving, speaking of looking at the targets from the back, Edok, he's positioned himself really well, and that's the Crimson Beacon in once again from Rins.
Okay, Edok goes and kicks ByteDance back. Edok, you're a mad lad. The worldie comes around and the AoE's there. Skylar's gonna be able to free hit all around. That's a double kill for Skylar. Slide tackle to win return. One last shot to take him down. Will he be able to get the triple? Now RRQ going in. Skylar gets the triple. KBG trying to defend with ByteDance with a male pick gun. Rins, will he go for another Gila play? Flickers forward. Now Skylar looking for a kill over to him. Skylar gets another. It's a maniac technically. The Savage gets taken away from him, but RRQ stay in form as they win in a day full of upsets.
I thought KBG would have still had a chance. The tactical reposition saving ByteDance, but it wasn't long before another crazy play was shown to us here by Rins and the rest of RRQ Hoshi, dominating this game and putting an end to all those, or actually, they don't plan to continue all these underdog stories, not at least for today.
And also, they avoid hell. That 0-1 bracket is literally hell.
I cannot imagine what everyone is feeling right now, but let's break down this game for you and head over back to our panel.
RRQ Hoshi just transcends trends in what has been a day of surprises. RRQ Hoshi came in and said, nah, it stops right there. Let's get this W and let's get the expected result. As the crowd here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia thunders RRQ, dominant is the performance of the Kingdom.
Honestly, I thought one of my favorite animes, Bleach, has a Hell arc, but apparently at the M6 Swiss stage, we also have a Hell arc coming up as well. KBG joins the unfortunate pool of decked out teams in that 0-1 bracket, but this was just a dominant win. I think we can sort of agree that the draft itself made the life of RRQ Hoshi so much easier.
Yeah, KBG just gave up way too much there. Too many pricey picks given over to the hands of RRQ. And, you know, whether we had hoped for KBG or not, RRQ definitely came in as the favorite. And to just give them the Jushin, give them the Cho, give them so much comfort and power, it was too much to stand against.
Tremendous draft by Coach Kezcute and RRQ Hoshi as we head now to the stage for the winner's interview with Rose.
RRQ Hoshi, one of the very few teams today defying the odds, winning their first Swiss stage game. First of all, Skylar, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, now Skylar, how does it feel to be back in the M Series stage?
Merasa lebih baik aja. Nah.
You feel good?
Yeah.
He feels good being back in the M Series stage. Do you miss playing in the international stage?
Yes.
Wow, all right. He said I can speak to him in English, don't worry. Okay, now Skylar, we know that RRQ Hoshi is the only franchise with the most M Series appearance, but you guys haven't won yet. How confident are you, Skylar, that RRQ Hoshi can bring back the championship to Indonesia this time around?
18%. 80%.
80%,
Yeah.
Kenapa? Why?
We still try hard because this is the new game.
So you're still trying.
Yeah.
Belum bisa lagi, not yet used to it. All right. Okay, now we know that you used to play back then. You were in M3, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now since you have experience as an international player, how do you cheer up your teammates when they're down, or how do you make sure they're not nervous for the games?
I just ask my friend, just confident we can do it.
Wow. Do you trust your team?
Yeah.
You trust them?
I trust my team and then my team trusts me.
Aw, that's so cute. They trust each other. Okay, now we already have 6 teams with a 1-0. There is S2G, BTK, CFU, Team Spirit, Twisted Minds, and Falcon. Who do you want to meet tomorrow?
I don't know, because random, right?
Random, yeah, but if you can pick.
Only one?
Yeah, one.
I think BTK.
BTK! Why do you want to meet BTK?
I want to meet MOBA because last time in M3.
Oh, so like a revenge.
No, just play fun.
Rematch.
Yeah, rematch.
Okay, now we can see that although RRQ is playing in Malaysia, the Kingdom came in full support. What does Skylar want to say to the Kingdom who are supporting Skylar and RRQ?
Thank you yang sudah support kita di Malaysia, yang sudah jauh-jauh juga dari Indonesia yang support kita. Makasih banyak. Kita masih dapat pertandingan semua dan tetap support kita lah. Makasih.
So Skylar said thank you to everybody who came down over in Malaysia to support them, and of course thank you very much to those in Indonesia as well. They will do their best and just keep supporting them. Thank you very much, Skylar. Congratulations on your win today. And with that, let us throw it back to the panel to break down what happened in this game against KBG.
2 kills a minute. That's the average for RQ Hoshi. At that game, it was 13 minutes and it was a 26 total kills for the Kingdom. Welcome back to the panel again. Thank you, Skylar, Rose, and congratulations to the Kingdom and RRQ Hoshi. My goodness, RRQ, Trex, I think you said it best. They got a lot in the draft, but I really want to appreciate what Coach Kesgud and RQ Hoshi pulled off here with a surprise Fredrin 3rd pick.
Was it really a surprise? I felt like I saw that coming from
You did.
quite a distance. Yeah,
Oh yeah, you saw that coming.
I've been talking about the Susujin Fredrin for quite a while. So even during MPI my playouts, I've been kind of harping on that a little bit. I'm just happy to see Coach Kesgud put it out again. But yeah, when they got the Jusin and Bruno, because KBG decided to first pick Suyo, me and Trex just looked at each other and we went like.
Yeah, I feel like they got everything they wanted. They got the whole deal.
Yeah.
They got the box offer, right? They got Christmas Day on day 1 right here. You got the Cho. You got. I mean, it's rough. That was hard to see happen right there.
Yeah.
And RQ. I mean, I don't even think you come in. I thought they were gonna trade. I think RQ thought they were gonna trade.
Yeah.
But they got it all.
Yep, they got everything, and Valentina with the IMU could not get much. Looking up the lineup of RRQ Hoshi, it's tough for a Valentina. It's a great individual pick, but when you end up with not much to get, like, you diminish the value of the Valentina. So a great draft by RRQ Hoshi. And something that we got to point out here for KBG. Again, they mentioned and admitted that they are a team that love to take small team fights and skirmish. They're doing that against the Brawl server? They're doing that against RQ Hoshi? That is not the right call. They tried to take trades. They got a few of them. But at the end of the day, RQ showed just how much better they are with the small fights.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we are seeing KBG try to speed it up. I think the mid trio, right? They were moving as a unit pretty early prior to the first turtle. But unfortunately, like you said, Remar, this Valentina didn't able to use that IMU too much because she is in fact not him this game. There's really not much that the Valentina could steal and utilize.
You know, and you mentioned how they were rotating as that mid trio. The problem with that is it was very telegraphed. It was bottom, top, bottom, top. And yes, they did get some pickoffs here and there. They got 8 kills on the map. I mean, it wasn't a complete wash, even though it was still kind of a complete wash. But they were able to get some pickoffs, but RQ felt comfortable with it. Even with Skylar taking to death, he still had a huge lead of 12.5k gold.
I think now we also got to see that, and confirm rather, that teams who are willing to play into the Fredrin, supplement it well, and be able to execute well around it will be rewarded. I don't think it's a full return to the tank fighter meta, but it's definitely the return of Fredrin.
Yeah, absolutely. At the same time, it's been quite a while, but people tend to forget how good Fredrin is in peeling for his team, soaking up damage, and just kind of being one of the guys that step on the gas, right? You keep on going. He got reduced cooldowns for his abilities in recent patches. He's a lot more beefier in the meta where everyone else has reduced base HP.
Yeah.
Fredrin feels like the man that can frontline.
Not only that, but it gives space to be able to pick up something like the CC that isn't exactly a crowd control EXP laner, right? It gives space to be able to play with your EXP lane a little bit more and maybe pick up something more dually, as you like to say, Renmar.
Yeah.
You know, something a bit more aggressive, something that wants to get in their face because you have this tanky boy with crowd control, with taunt, that can play that role itself.
Yeah, with the Vengeance, it's a great pickup there with the CC there at the end. It's not the roamer substitute, but it is a disruptive dually. Thank you. EXP laner for the side of RRQ Hoshi. And yeah, they just ran away with it in terms of the objectives. They were taking buffs. The gold lead almost ballooned up to, at some point, I thought it could have gone to like 12 or 15, but RQ Hoshi were willing to give up those bounties because they knew it would press the advantage. And I think that's the best thing RQ did here. Once they smelled the advantage, you got Skylar flickering forward. You got Rin saying, I'll go ahead and join you. Idol coming in from weird angles, perfect weird angles.
Yeah, I mean, Idol getting the final wave of Dragon onto Bilaxi to really seal the fate of KBG, even though it's sealed from the very start. And then you have Skylar, right? Like, we talk about him leading this young bunch of new blood, but him as the veteran also is the MVP.
We have seen from so many games today, Joy getting banned out. I mean, just overall, and that just leaves so much open behind it.
Yeah, that's based off of their previous matchup when they faced each other in SPS. It was there where King Kong himself was starting to show Joy in the jungle, and I guess the LID is respecting the heck out of that because of what Joy can do once it gets to access the backline, the instant damage that you get once you get her items. Fnatic Onyx Philippines reading into it, and they're respecting the Jushin. The Bruno is open for them to first 2 picks on the red side.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, we have seen teams go for the Bruno first pick, albeit incredibly rare, but with so many options, like the Suyo is still on the table for Fabian if he wants to go for that as well. There can be a trade. The Alpha is also available for TLID if you want to go for Flex. There's always Todd
gotta
and
go for
Khalid.
Bruno.
You
got to, bro.
Just rush it?
It has won most games today, right?
You have to.
Yeah.
You cannot give that to Killer right now.
Yeah, 5 out of 2 wins today.
They don't.
Hold on.
Mr. Renmar.
Of course they're going to be rushing that Angela, and again, that opens up the potential of the Angeling, meaning Fnatic Onyx Philippines. What if they overreact, you know? What if they just suddenly go, Ling Bruno right now?
No, I think they'll
Bruno.
go Suyo, right? Like, this is
Suyo
it's a
Bruno,
treasure trove,
Cho
but
Bruno.
Cho Bruno, yeah.
It's tough.
It'd be crazy if they pick up Ling now.
Definitely Bruno, but they might even actually consider
Super Prince Valentina, you know, like the hard guard is still.
I'm thinking Alpha Bruno.
Yeah,
you know?
Alpha.
For the
Oh, they go Hilda.
Hilda?
Oh, they respect the Hilda of Aran. Again, he is the Hilda guy, so
To vanquish the shadow.
Yeah, Suyo.
they're giving
this
Bruno.
world.
No Bruno.
No Bruno. No Bruno.
We don't care about no Bruno. We got a Kelra.
We got we got the gold standard, right?
Yeah, if the LID pick up the Bruno here, it'll be perfect. And then Beatrix might actually be the answer of FNOP.
Okay, so the Bruno's
Milos?
still open.
One cares. All
But
right.
there is some nasty dive from TLID that can reach the Bruno, right? Like the entire day has been who do you pick to reach that backline and take out the Bruno? Right now, TLID already have some tools to make it happen.
Yeah, so now they have to think about it, right? What gold laner do we really want? We want something that can definitely move around. We want something that can escape that attack that TLD might just try to put pressure on.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that they pick up this Hilda, kind of knowing, because once you see the Angela, you know the Link's coming. You know some sort of assassin is coming, so they pick up the Hilda, someone that can be aggressive. It's kind of worrisome though. You see the Suyo, you see the Hilda. How does Ling deal with that type of pressure in the early game?
Whoa.
And now a Lu Yi, just to add even more aggression behind it.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, they're giving each other signatures, man.
That gold lane is so open, right? Like, I think you just start hammering gold laners at this point. You got 2 bans on each side. Both teams haven't revealed any of that kind of main carries yet.
Yeah, you go for the gold lane matchup trade. And I have this feeling that we're actually already seeing the roam of Brusco. So whatever the EXP leader of FNOP is, it's either going to be something along the lines of a CC or something along the lines of a Terizla or an Edith later on. Another thing you have to consider for FNOP is when they have the low E, they love pairing that up with a Claude. If it's not going to be the Claude, which, I mean, if they decide not to go for the mid to the late game strat, they might actually pick up something like anyone that deals magic damage really might be okay.
Yeah, I think just about. I mean, there's plenty of options when it comes to gold. And at this point, it's like, at this point, knowing that they're willing to put Bruno so far back where so many teams have prioed it up front, we know that either of these gold laners are very comfortable with whatever they end up with. Whatever ends up in their hands, it's like, listen, we'll make it work. Let's prio everyone else instead. Let's make sure our mid is ready to go. Let's make sure our mid trio is ready to go, because that's essentially what we're seeing from both teams here. I do agree the Hilda, most likely in her own position, it works well to maybe invade, put pressure onto this Ling. It's a nice answer to it.
Yeah, and that's why they banned out the Gata Kacha. It would have been the perfect partner alongside the Hilda, who might need the help with another tanky frontliner.
And that is why this is one of the most anticipated match, right? Even the drafting, the flavor that they give us is very different from what we've seen in the first 7 best of ones. For now, they have their priority pick in the second phase, so they are gonna go for the CC ban. You guys kind of called it. It can be an option.
All right, so they're the ones to take out the CC, and now it's great that you actually see these two teams saying that, you know what, we want to win the gold lane. We'll save the last picks for our gold laners as much as possible.
There is still Cho for Brusco if not wants to go for it, right? Like, you ban the CC. We've seen how CC deals into the Hilda once that War X comes online. We've seen that Vengeance from the side of RQ Hoshi early on as well.
This might actually be a tell by FNOP though. If they ban CC going to the second phase, there's a chance that they're actually going to just roll with the Beatrix already. Again, CC is one of the best picks that you can pick up to give Beatrix a difficult time. And that's why they ban it.
There goes the Beatrix ban.
10 steps ahead.
But that's a decent counter to the Bruno. So if FNOP does end up locking that in here, we're losing some possible options there. TLID may be working against themselves possibly with that ban. FNOP,
Your team
fourth pick,
is picking.
coming in. They pick up the Cho. There it is.
That's the Brusco
TLID,
Cho.
how do they answer back?
They're saving the Keldra pick for last.
They are.
That's how comfortable they are with literally the only team that I think has pushed gold lane all the way back into their number 5 choice. The only team that is willing to take that risk right there.
You know, Granger has a good amount of dashes, and I feel like having a lot of dashes would be good against a Hyla, Sling, Angela. You know,
I like the Claude. Like the Claude, you get that BMI, you get that, you get the Purify with him because you always want to pick it. But also, we haven't seen him much. Where does he really fit? They do have the Hylos. A Shredder could work. But it kind of depends on what TLID picks up here.
I suppose if the Bruno doesn't get picked up, then we would have a more classic gold lane matchup, right? Than a ton for TLID, which means that there is a chance we go back to an era where there's just no Malefic gun purchase.
A very TLID lineup, and a strong one at that. Fighting, controlling the map all around for the young squad. It now falls into the hands of Coach Why Not to set up his gold standard for success. What is the gold? With a Nathan on the other side, TLID might balloon this. They have to match it. They might actually just need to go for the Bruno.
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely see the Natan pick does come in for TLID, and I love how you said this whole draft is very TLID. I mean, it's very reminiscent of the things they were picking up in their grand finals. The Natan was pivotal in so many of their strategies, the poke, everything that goes along with it. FNOP, though, final pick comes in. It is the Bruno.
Give me a team. Give me a team.
FNOP.
FNOP. All right. Husky.
I'm feeling FNOP.
All right. I'm the panel host. So I don't need to give my prediction. I like both. You know what? I'm not gonna go do that. Something about it tells me the TLID lineup is very it's fierce. I'll give it that. So, Mirko, bring it up. Why don't you give us your picks? Who won the draft?
Thank you so much to our panelists. We're down to the last match for round 1 of the Swiss stage. Give us our choices according to Remar.
What do you think?
I'm gonna have to go for FNOP.
Wow, that's surprising.
What about you?
I will also say FNOP.
Oh, that's surprising. No. Oh.
Yes, sir.
No.
If you know, you know.
Well, I mean, again, this still is the battle of the champions, the much anticipated game for today. So we'll see how it goes because the panel has already mentioned it. They seem very comfortable with the picks that they have, Mirko.
Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Into the land of Dawn we go. Fabian on a signature link, King Kong on the Suyo that got him the championship in MPLPH. Oh, it's so crazy that both these teams are like, you know, the meta? Let's go with our comfort.
Yeah, and don't forget complete...
With it?
Oh, wait. Brusco Brusco, wait, goes for the flicker.
Also going in right now, looking for the Jikundo. Witty's gonna try to get level 2. Aaron Shiki will get level 2. Now trying to cut away Brusco. Shunpu forward, last hit, first blood to Brusco.
I should have prepared myself for all these action. I mean, look at RRQ earlier with the way they were able to play the game, but Fnatic Onyx Philippines, they get the first blood. And we were cut off when we were supposed to mention, but don't forget to also check out the entrance pass. You guys complete all the active tasks during the event to claim all these amazing rewards that you could get, including the statue, the figure. Yeah, but then, all right, going back to the game. Fnatic Onyx Philippines, they were able to draw first blood against Team Liquid ID. Very decisive from Brusco there, burning the flicker.
Really solid stuff here, starting things off for FNOP. This looks like for the emblems here, that's the Master Assassin, so Kelra really wants to get the lane going. Also, the Bargain Hunter for Aaron Shiki to get those items a bit earlier, but it's a weakness finder. So Aaron's very confident in this laning of his as well. You know, usually we see a bit of a safer choice, especially up against a boy like for Aaron, it's all about that witty. Very good respect there. It just flickers out, you know?
I mean, if we, or if a lot of fans had a choice, I mean, I think they'd really want a solo camera just focused on the laning for the gold laners here, for both Aaron Shiki and Kelra. I mean, calling all the things they've said prior to this matchup before meeting each other here, the Fnatic Onyx Philippines might just get hold of this turtle uncontested from Team Liquid ID. It seems like they just let it happen. No trades whatsoever even coming in for TLID so far.
It looks weird, but this is actually how TLID play. Just like their draft, you know, not really the super meta draft right now, it's super unorthodox, and that's the way they actually won MPL Indonesia. For FNOP, they're doing what they did to win MPL Philippines, right? They're controlling the neutral objectives, controlling the early game, and getting tempo around the map. For Team Liquid ID, it's all about waiting for the power spike of Aaron Shiki and Fabian. Once they have that, they will decide to fight. But before that, they will not fight. They will give away, concede all the neutral objectives that they have to wait for that. Patience is the key.
And this could be an impatient play from Fnatic Onyx Philippines, though. They go for Witty. And that's 2 kills now for Fnatic Onyx Philippines.
And that's what's dangerous when you're up against FNOP and you play the style. Kelra pushing out a lot of damage. Brusco walking up. The Jikundo will lock him down there. It's actually going to be an entropy forward there. King Kong trying to go for the sun. Will be able to get it. But Fabian now against 4. Goes in for the blades. Will be able to pick it up. And now escapes as well. That's the Usurper in action.
And that was Fabian deciding that he wanted to fight. Surfrin's diversion play, but Kirk!
Power Wilderness, Kirk will be able to get the kill, gets out as well. Now he has kill and Witty against Super Prince. It's gonna be the healing coming down, stunned up as well. Witty desperately trying to stay alive, gets out with the flicker as Aran on the horse comes into the mid lane.
I cannot believe all those clutch kills coming in here for both Fnatic Onyx Philippines and Team Liquid ID. Imagine transitioning all the way from the gold lane to the mid lane and still seeing the action take place. But could this be another potential turtle that'll go into the hands of Fnatic Onyx Philippines, or has Fabian already decided that he really wants to go and fight from this point onwards?
I think they should be able to actually fight it out, right? It really depends on the position that they have here. Fabian's obviously going to be more concerned about the camps and getting that level lead. But I just noticed the Super Friends Brave Smite on the Lo Yi, by the way. That's something new. So far, Lo Yi, we've seen what? Impure Rage, mostly Lethal Ignition. So he's going for more sustain on this.
Oh, it seems like it. I think we were able to see this from Rins earlier, but that's the true shit.
Yep.
So you could like play around it a lot more. But this is a Lo Yi though. Securing the Talisman as well. So I'm starting to believe that that might just be the game plan here. But Kirk able to sustain everything. Diversion behind Aran. What?
Okay.
He gets away. So now they know which resources are down for Fnatic Onyx Philippines.
Kirk having his way against Witty. Oh, chunking him low. But that's the Khalid right there. Just can heal back up very, very easily. Both teams, it does seem like for FNOP too, they are aware of Liquid ID's game plan. They are aware that Liquid ID might have actually hit their power spike, and they might be comfortable enough to go and take the battle. So FNOP are playing the long game too. Fabian decides to go in for the Defiant Blades onto Kirk. The Yang reaction will hit onto Aran. Both teams just hovering around the turtle.
And Aaron Shiki might be joining the fight as well. King Kong takes the turtle though.
Raging Sandstorm to the back. Fabian's able to claim the blades there. Super Prince will be slashed down a bit by Witty. Kirk will still be able to escape for a bit here. Pops in the sprint. 2 gets immobilized. And that will be the chain CC to lock him down. Fnatic Onyx Philippines got the neutral objective. TLID get the kill.
Alright. And they try to go for a diversion towards the bottom lane, but Kellra on the top lane takes down tier 1 turret. And that's the entropy as well. Was it? Yeah, it was you here by Aaron Shiki. So Kellra takes the first turret up top lane.
Defensive from Aaron Shiki. All he needs to do, because I think right now he's in the game plan of, I'm just gonna farm, right? I'm in a ton. I'm not gonna hit the power spike anywhere near as fast as Kellra on a Bruno. Might as well just play it safe. Fabian now soaking in the mid lane. Superfin's gonna be caught on the raging sandstorm. Not attempts to play. Su could flicker out there. Fabian looking for the play over to Superfrinz. Does he get it? It doesn't look like he can. Stun around. Fabian kicked down. Superfrinz gets the kill. Aran now coming down as well with a glorious pathway. 2 members down already. Aran gonna be stunned up with a revitalized. Kellra still doing a lot of damage. Put down, Kellra with the flicker, finding the kill. Now a stun over towards Aaron Shiki. It's a triple kill for Kellra, and Yehezkiel is forced back.
Oh wait, there's a diversion there. There's a diversion still. Wait, yes. Okay. Yehezkiel might be able to survive this, but still that was a triple kill going to the hands of Kellra. And I must say, Superfrinz being able to survive all that, I mean, he went for the warrior boots as well. That's aside from the brave smite and all the shields that he got from spamming his rotation diversion. But oh wait, all right.
Wow.
Oh, this is insane pressure coming in from Fnatic Onyx Philippines.
It's ridiculous pressure. They have so much of a power spike here in the 7th minute mark. And again, due to just them hitting their power spikes much earlier because they got the first 2 neutral objectives. And Team Liquid ID, despite the fact that they've tried to go for these plays, they are just not dealing as much damage as FNOP at this stage of the game, and FNOP know it.
Yeah.
Now it's time for them to start going onto the turtle and forcing fights over against TLID.
Who will be getting the turtle? Oh, Kirk blocks Fabian!
Very clean. Kellra gonna be caught. Sliding tackle out again. Aaron Shiki goes in for the entropy, but gets caught.
Diversion.
Not a diversion. Fabian's in the diversion. The Yin-Yang reaction catches him. Flavor Fave taken down by Kirk. Brusco gets the Jeet Kune Do on Yehezkiel, and it's another 3-0, making a 4-0 as they secured the turtle too.
And something tells me Fnatic Onyx Philippines, they're very particular with their timing. So long as they know that the hard guard's up, that Yehezkiel used it on Fabian, and that they're looking for a team fight, they try to avoid and position themselves in areas where it wouldn't be as ideal for Team Liquid ID to pick these team fights. And now that they have so much to consider, the bounty that's in the hands of Kellra for sure at this point in time, even King Kong, things are becoming gradually difficult, and it's another way of the dragon!
Brusco catching him on the wall. That way of the dragon. Oh man, Fabian is not getting space to farm. King Kong is already 3 whole levels ahead of Flavor Fave.
Look at Brusco just being able to position himself like that. This is actual aggression coming in from Fnatic Onyx Philippines. Kellra has all the space he needs, has all the space he wants. And I really have to commend Kirk. I really have to commend Brusco for creating all that. All the while we thought that Team Liquid ID, they were just really waiting for their timings. Now, would they be able to still find that at this point?
Look at that 4-level lead, man. That's a juicy 4-level lead. He's doing so much damage, even to Aran. Diversion? Okay, to the back. It's a scare tactic for FNOP. They're literally just playing. They're threatening Team Liquid ID with every diversion.
And it's discipline, of course, for Fnatic Onyx Philippines. Right now, taking hold of that 8K gold lead. Now that they're able to deny Fabian of his most important resources, this isn't looking too good for Team Liquid ID. Even if they do decide to get out of their base, if they do decide to attempt for the macro, the global presence that Fnatic Onyx Philippines has right now, their ability to just find their way towards those targets whenever they gain even the least or the slightest bit of information, it also probably gives Team Liquid ID a lot more things to consider whenever they actually want to think and go for a play. So now, it's an uncontested Lord that'll fall into the hands of Fnatic Onyx.
Man, not even in their own jungle can they farm up. He's been stuck at this 4-level deficit for a while now, and they're Fnatic Onyx Philippines, they're showing no signs of stopping. They want to continue to just suffocate Liquid ID inside their own base. You can see there was another attempt there to actually steal it. Fabian will get level 12 though. Finally, it gets out from that 4-level lead back to just 3-level lead. But now you can see the player heads ahead.
Oh no!
Ouch!
I mean, KDA, kind of a given. We're seeing the kill score, but then the gold per minute, the damage per minute. So they really were able to limit Team Liquid ID and reach the plans that they had in mind. So now, Oh no, this isn't looking too good for all the remaining base turrets of Team Liquid ID. They get one down, possibly even all. So Team Liquid ID, they got their base exposed.
Oh, Brusco gets the Jiku, no way, the Dragon. Witty with the Raging Sandstorm onto 2. Now Tempest of Blades, it's a flicker out from Kelra. The hard guard on Aaron, and Witty just evaporates King Kong, going for the stun. Aaron still able to space out King Kong. Gonna be taking some shots now. The waves in the mid lane. Yin Yang reaction from Super Prince. Yehezkiel and Aaron, the two members alive. Just Yehezkiel in the end. FNOP, make it quick.
I could not confirm if that was actually the fastest we've seen for today. But I cannot believe it. We were looking forward to this match, but Fnatic Onyx Philippines, they just took it like that. They seemed so prepared, and they seemed to know what TLIT had in mind.
They were read out like a book. FNOP knew every move, every little thing that they were able to abuse in MPLID. FNOP knew. They had done their research, and you saw the research play there. You see the faces of FNOP, just the confidence of these players too. They knew what was going to happen, it seems.
What a showdown. Still, we're looking forward to more of this. Who knows, this might not be the last, but for now, let's break down that very fast game together with our panelists.
Super family. That's what we call Fnatic Onyx Philippines back home in the Philippines. And you got to see why if you're not familiar with their game. Every one of them knows the role that they need to fulfill to win the game. And against friends, they show them the power of family. Just wow.
I mean, you know, like Vin Diesel once said, family is everything. You have family, you can come back to life even if you wish to. But I just want to quickly kind of call back to a question you asked me earlier, Renma. You said that, is it good or is it good for TLID to go for the Angel Link? And I express my concern with the patterns of drafts we've seen today. It's all about fast draft, go early and end the game. Angel Link plus Natan screams late game, and Fnatic didn't let TLID even get past mid game.
Yeah, I mean, FNOP did what everyone else has been doing so far. They picked the picks that have been working. TLID did more of a throwback back to their championship types of drafts, and it came up a little bit short. Am I counting it out completely? Do I think the Angeling is not a possibility in the future? No, I'm not. I think it's definitely something that could be picked up, but it needs a little bit more around it.
Yeah, and congratulations to Team Fnatic Onyx Philippines. Let's go on over to the stage to hear from them.
The most awaited matchup for M6. Fnatic Onyx Philippines going up against Team Liquid ID. And with me here, we have Kelra. So first of all, Kelra, how are you?
Okay naman.
Okay naman. Are you nervous? Were you nervous just now?
Hindi.
No,
Okay naman.
not nervous. He said he's not nervous. Okay, now, like I mentioned, your match against Team Liquid ID is one of the most awaited matches this M6. Most awaited head-to-head. How does it feel like taking your first win in the Swiss stage against them? Alam natin lahat na isa to sa laban na pinapaka-antay or anticipated ng mga tao. So anong pakiramdam mo na ang una niyong laban is against Team Liquid ID tapos nanalo pa kayo?
Pakiramdam ko, nung kanina medyo mainit, pero ngayon, kalmado na.
Okay, he said just now when the game was about to begin, it was a bit hot, but now he's calm. Everything has calmed down. Okay, now, we know that prior to the matchup, you and Aaron Shiki has a lot of heat. That one is mainit. That one is a hot. So, now that you've won against him in a best of one, what do you have to say to Aaron Shiki?
Masabi ko lang sa kanya, hindi ko pa napapatunayan yung sinasabi ko, pero alam mo na kung sino ako.
Alright. Okay, so he said that he hasn't really proven his words yet, but it is time that Aaron Shiki knows who Kelra is in the international stage. I like that. It's pretty nice, pretty subtle, pretty humble. Okay, now Kelra, we know that there's a lot of upsets today. Okay, a lot of the favorites lost, right? Who do you want to meet tomorrow? Those that won, who are you looking forward to meet? Because the draw will be happening after this.
Kailangan talaga.
Yes. Sinong gusto mong...
Specific lang.
Yes.
Gusto
tournament. Yeah. So I think Team Spirit is the dark horse in this tournament.
All right. Well, thank you so much.